Welcome boys, what's good, how's it going? This is going to be the most valuable and most in-depth video on growth operating, on info product agencies that you will ever see on YouTube. I can pretty much guarantee you that. There's no need to go buy these shitty courses or anything like that. This is going to be everything you need to get from where you are now to where you want to be. The full info product agency course is going to go through exactly how I close deals with 3+ clients and scale them all to at least 5+ figures per month, every single month. And by the way, this 3 number is going to be way higher. The only reason it's at 3 right now is because that's all we can scale to with our agency size and where we're at right now. But we're currently in the works of scaling to at least 5 to 10 clients per month, every single month. And you're going to come into that, which is why I'm kind of creating this video, building this whole thing. We're going to give you kind of a piece of the pie. You can come on, work with these creators, help us scale, and make you a lot of money in the meantime. But we'll get into that later on. For now, let's just stick to the straight, no BS, no fluff value. And just to give you an idea of what's inside of here, I can't even fit it all on the screen, but yeah, you can see tons of value, tons of examples, strictly no bullshit. You're going to learn everything. And I do recommend you watch this in order because you're going to get the value all the way through. But I will have timestamps and stuff below because if you want to click off the video, come back to it later on because it's going to be a pretty long video. That's all good too. But just make sure you're taking notes. This is going to be full of value you've probably never heard before. So, first when we go over what really is an info product agency, I'm sure you've got a concept in your mind of what you think it is right now, maybe what your friends have told you, what some other guys online have told you, but I'm going to be going over a full explanation over what it really is, right? Enough of the bullshit concepts that people use to market and sell you a course. I'm going to be breaking down exactly what an info product agency is, and trust me, it's been around a lot longer than you think. Secondly, who am I? Why you should listen to me? You probably know this if you're already on this video, but in case you don't, I'm going to break that down too. Really quickly, don't worry, I'm not going to be wasting any time on that. Next, we've got finding the perfect clients. A lot of you struggle with this because people cry about not being good at outreach, but they don't even realise the people they're outreaching to aren't even good clients anyway. So even if they did land them, it'd be no good, they'd make no money. So first, you need to focus on finding the perfect client, which is choosing a niche, validating that niche, defining your ideal client on who you should work with, researching through platforms, building your value proposition, and then building a prospect list. Then you're going to sign your ideal clients. There's no point finding them if you're not going to sign them and work with them, right? So you need to choose a strategy, how to actually message them, some real outreach examples of how I would do it. Loom video plan. I'm actually going to show you 2 Loom videos I've actually recorded for this too. Follow-up strategies, your pricing offer / structure. How do you actually charge these clients? And then closing call strategies to actually get them on board with you. And I've got 2 closing calls after this video too. So yeah, it works pretty well. Executing 7-figure launches, client onboarding call, market and audience research, beta launch strategy, crafting the offer, sales process, launch execution, and the post-launch analysis. That's pretty much all you need, right? And then for all of you lot that are already doing this, you're ready to scale, that's when we're going to get into this. Scaling clients and offers, software stack, client retention strategies, upselling and cross-selling, expanding offer types, marketing strategies, leveraging data analytics, building a killer team, automation systems. I'm going to actually be adding more to this as well as we go, to be completely honest, because I'm going to be recording this in parts. So yeah, it's going to be very, very valuable. But that's pretty much everything we're going to go over. So let's get straight into it. What is an info product agency? First, you need to understand that you've probably heard of these 2 terms. You've probably heard of growth operating and you've probably heard of IPGA. If not, even better, because you're not already kind of got a pre-concept in your mind. But chances are you already have, right? You've got Eddie Cumberbatch and you've got Sander Stage. So his model was 50% deals, working on skill communities, and obviously that was kind of his pitch, right? Because it just seemed very, very easy. So it's easier to sell you on a course to learn how to growth operate, which is kind of a stem off an info product agency. So he had Creator Accelerator, and then he had the Inner Circle as well. And then now he's transferred into doing something completely different, clip curating. Kind of comes under the same umbrella, but he's pretty much like clipping for creators and teaching how to do that as well. He's kind of just got another course, so he's moved on from growth operating. Sander Stage, similar, very, very similar, but he's working with professionals. So instead of working with creators and setting up school groups, instead he's looking for all professional types of careers, dentists, doctors, lawyers, whatever it might be. He's working with all these type of guys and then teaching them how to launch their own info product. So he was working with them originally to launch their own info product and then teaching you how to do that, how to work with them. But it wasn't working very well because obviously, how do you actually market for these guys, right? They don't have any brand. They have nothing to push them. They're not an online coach. They actually spend their days doing the job. They don't have time to be doing this other stuff. So it didn't really work for many people as it should, but some people definitely made some good money. Now, he's kind of changed his method. Instead of selling to you, trying to scale these professionals, I guess, these consultants, instead, he's now just working with them directly. He's now got his own course for these professionals. So if these guys want to go on, leave their job and start a course, they'll go pay Sander Stage, learn from him. And then he's also started here, course creator core. He's got tons of different stuff. Create, launch, and scale an online course. And then he's also white labeled High Level, which if you don't know, it's like a SaaS platform. You can just white label it for free. So it's buildable, that's all that is. And he's selling that to these guys as well. So he stopped kind of focusing on you guys. He started selling directly to the professionals to help them launch their own course. But these guys aren't tech savvy. They're not marketing geniuses. They don't have a brand. So how are they going to sell it, right? That's where you come in, which is where the whole info product agency model comes from. So what really is it? You're an all-in-one partner. You replace the need for a content agency, copywriter, funnel builder, sales team, manager, all of that, right? You become an actual business partner rather than a basic freelancer absolutely slaving away doing everything. You build an info product for them, like a community, a course, mentorship, whatever it might be, and then sell it to their audience. And because of this, you have a huge earning potential and actually own part of the business on a revenue share. There's some other models as well, but strictly on a bigger basis, most guys in this space do revenue share. You can get into retainers, build and release, profit shares, but in most cases it will be revenue share. I'll be explaining the different systems as well. And just to go back as well, like look at these guys, right? Do you think this doctor here, do you think he could go do his doctor job, then come home, build a funnel, do copywriting, do sales, do all of this? Probably not, right? And then on top of that, he has to do marketing and build his brand. It's not going to happen. So even if he wants to buy this and learn how to do it, he still needs to hire someone like you. So info product agencies are going to stick around for a long, long time, and it's only going to get bigger. So what are the responsibilities? How does this actually work? So the client who you're going to be working with, all they have to do is consistently post content across all their active social platforms. So pretty much whatever they're doing already, right? There's nothing extra for them to do. Keep posting on Instagram, YouTube, X, TikTok, whatever it might be. Build social proof and trust on the platforms through their content and structure. So they can't be posting any like bullshitty entertainment content. They need to be actually building social proof, getting people to trust them and wanting to invest with them. Push all their traffic, all of it, from the platforms that they're on, like Instagram, TikTok, etc., into their new offer or funnels that you build. Because there's no point building an offer if we can't drive traffic to it and actually make some money. So that's their job, to just put the links, push it, talk about it, that's it. Then they need to fulfill the paying clients by attending one-to-one coaching calls or group coaching calls every single week. Pretty easy, right? All you're asking for them there, hey man, all these people who are paying you money, are you happy to actually help them a little bit? Yeah, and that's all they have to do. Now, what do you have to do? Here's some examples. Obviously, some of these you won't need to do all the time, but this is just like a full list. Develop a content strategy for the launches that pushes maximum traffic and brings in the most revenue. Build and refine sales funnels to effectively convert traffic into leads and customers. Oversee the complete setup of back-end systems. Obviously, you might not understand that too much, but we will be getting into that, so don't worry. Including a CRM, automations, payment processing. There's way more as well, but everything on the back end that they don't understand, you'll be building that without showing your face, just invisible in the back, setting everything up. Facilitate the one-to-one coaching sessions or the group calls we just spoke about, ensuring all materials are prepared in advance. Obviously, you won't be doing these coaching calls, but you need to just be there to make sure they're recorded, help out, make sure everything's running smoothly. And then also before the calls, you can sort of prepare a bit of a sort of, what's going to be spoke about in this call. If people are asking a lot of questions in the chat, you can then say, okay, in this call, we're going to go over this, this, and this. And then the creator or the client can do so. You just kind of have to be a helping hand in that sense. Manage audience interactions on social media, promoting community engagement and connection. So things like ManyChat would help with this. So their job is to post the content, right? Talk about the offers, things like that. But it's your job to actually funnel people into the offer. So you can set up systems like ManyChat with lead magnets and things like that to actually drive people into the offers. Analyze performance metrics and provide the client with insightful reports on content effectiveness. Hey man, this type of content's not doing well. This is whatever, because views don't always equal revenue, right? And there's no point getting millions and millions of views unless they're trying to build top of funnel audience. That's cool as well. But chances are there's no point creating a top of funnel audience if they're just trying to make revenue and push the offers. So in that case, you need to find out which videos, which content is performing the best to actually make the money and provide them with that and help them build that out. Building out the full offer and product for launching. So the community, the course, the mentorship, whatever it might be, any sort of digital product, info product, you'll be actually building that out with their help. Then client support and management. So when people pay the client to get onboarded into their program, you'll be onboarding them, dealing with issues, payment problems, anything like that. And lastly, building out and hiring a full sales team for the offers and the products. You're getting other people on board to do the sales, right? Just so you don't have to do it. So yeah, you're outsourcing, keeping everything that you need to do really slim because you're outsourcing to other people. And the best part is you aren't even paying these guys because the client is. So it's just, yeah, it's perfect. And you can literally start with $0 today. But pretty much what that explains right there is there's a lot of work. It's not easy, right? Surprise. If you thought it was easy, you can click off now. Let me just be completely honest. But it's not easy because you're an actual business partner. If you want to get paid like a business partner, then you need to work like one. You're a full stack agency. You handle everything A to Z on the back end. Eventually, you can scale and outsource easily, so the business pretty much runs on autopilot. But day one, that's not going to be the case, right? You actually need to put the work in, and people will lie to you with different business models, telling you it's easy. But every business model is like this, especially this one, because you're going to get paid in relative to the success you bring, because you're on a revenue share, a profit share. So understand there's a lot of work to do, and if you want to see the successes, you do need to do that work. Now, who am I? I'm going to go over this really, really briefly, so bear with me. But this is me. I started building and scaling digital products at 13 with COD teams, literally selling and the kind of drop servicing, I guess, to Call of Duty teams, and I ran my own Call of Duty teams. I actually joined a pro Fortnite team, let's go. Esports at 15, launched and managed a dessert shop at 16 during COVID, which is pretty crazy. I started from my grandma's house, and then we kind of scaled it up, so I had a sweet shop / dessert shop. I'll show you in a moment. Created my own online ordering system for deliveries for this delivery dessert shop. Drop service, different services for clothing brands and resellers. I had a lot of IRL friends setting up these Discord communities and different things, clothing brands, all this stuff, so I helped them do that. I launched my own crypto group at 17, which did okay. And then from that point, I leveraged these skills in these parts to create cook groups with bots for resellers in the UK. Create my own cook group, Jolt Notify, and partner with a creator to market that. So I kind of did what we're doing right now, but backwards, right? I set up the offer, it was my offer, and then I kind of hired a creator, but give them a revenue share, but I had the majority, and they did all the market, and they built it around their brand. I scaled my clothing brand, dial up to 10k per month in revenue. That's actually still running. I have people running that for me at the moment. Then I launched Beyond Startup, working with creators to launch brands through print on demand and white labeling, which is very similar to what we're doing now, but it was more focused on physical brands rather than info products. Sold digital products to brands and resellers such as suppliers, manufacturers, mockups, guides, built multiple Discord communities for resellers. Then, getting into the high ticket stuff, worked with the crypto creator, generating 37k in 7 days, and added 15k MRR to their offer, which is still going right now. Worked with an e-com brand owner and scaled them from 5k per month to high 5 figures. Ran sales team for a 6-figure trading offer. Scaled an aesthetics offer to 5 figures in just 14 days. And the best part is I've actually not been bringing on any new clients. I've been super busy with this stuff and my own offers as well. But right now I'm running another sales team for another trading offer, so hopefully this will say ×2 soon. Pretty sure. And I'll be dropping videos about that pretty soon too. Anyway, just give you some examples beyond startup. I know people talk about bullshit, but this is actually true stuff. Crypto, NFTs I've done, like pretty much a bit of everything. Worked with the resellers, the crypto group, Pitua, Dial Up clothing brand, actually got a warehouse for that. You can see Braden from Power. What's that? £8,000, which is like 10k dollars. And then digital products for clothing brands. I actually started this clothing brand a long time ago when I was younger, but then it didn't really work out, so I started building digital products around clothing brands. As you can see, I had a website for it, things like that. What else have we got? We got the dessert shop, the sweet shop. A lot of people think this is bullshit. It's an actual shop. Sweets, desserts. I used to do deliveries on a moped. Pretty fire. Digital products. What else have we got? I don't really like materialistic things, but I went out to buy a pretty cool car that I liked when I was younger. Bought a cool watch, different bits and bobs like that. But to be honest, I spent most of my money just traveling around, going to different places. As you can see here, did some pretty cool stuff. What a sick car. Rome, lovely. Jet skis, Dubai, whatever it might be, right? Just kind of enjoyed stuff because I don't really like buying things, so I like to spend the money on doing things instead. Anyway, here's some of my results and my client results. Proof of us printing straight cash, right? So not all of these are mine. Most of them are, but it's me, my creators, and then also my students that I teach as well. It's some of their results. We have a lot more coming as well, but as you can see, it's all just straight cash printing. You can take a look for yourself. Zelle, Warp, whatever it might be, Stripe, Fanbasis. But yeah, printing cash. And not only am I running up numbers, I'm literally working with people like Tamek, who's 17, and we made 40k in 3 days. Obviously, here's how you can go check the video if you want to. But it's not just me doing this, it's no bullshit. I'm actually helping people do this today, right now, without any like guru course bullshit. He's literally came to me, we helped him run it up straight away, and he made 40k in 3 days. And he's literally still in school, living in Poland. And he did that with an American creator, so yeah, pretty sick. All these growth operating and info product agency gurus aren't going to tell you to find a creator that isn't selling anything, they're going to tell you to do that. Build an offer for them and sell it to their audience. Usually a bullshit school group or Discord, whatever it might be. This makes sense, right? Easy money. And it kind of does. Like if a creator's teaching trading, but they're not selling an offer on that, obviously it's going to be pretty easy for them to make money. But the thing is, how many creators or coaches do you know not selling anything? Why would a trader be making content online if they're not going to sell anything for it? That's the whole reason they're making content. So it's extremely rare. And although it could make you huge amounts of cash, there's no denying that, you don't want to rely on something that may never happen, which is highly likely. It's highly likely it's never going to happen, because why would they be pushing content if they're not selling anything? The only people who don't sell anything is entertainment creators. But what are they going to sell? That's the whole point, right? So what do we look for in InfoScale Lab, my agency? We work with creators and coaches, consultants, whether they have an offer or not. If they do, fire, we build them an ascension ladder with different offers, and or we find the gaps in their current offer and we improve them. Now, finding the perfect clients. This is section 1. How do you actually find these perfect clients to work with? How do you spot them? Choose your niche, validate the niche, define your ideal client, research on platforms, build your value proposition, building a prospect list. I'm going to fly through this. No bullshit, no fluff, like I say. You can pause it, take some notes down, but let's just dive right into it and show you how to do everything. First bit is a little bit basic, choosing a niche, right? There's 3 core markets. Most of you will know this. There's wealth, there's health, and there's relationships. So wealth is focusing on making or saving money, finance, real estate, whatever it might be. Health, physical and mental well-being, so fitness, nutrition. And then relationships involves improving personal and professional relationships, like dating, marriage counseling, coaching, whatever it might be, right? Niching down further allows for more targeted marketing and less competition. So you can't just do, you can, but dating advice is very, very hard to sell because you compete with huge, huge creators. So instead, you go into sub-niches. These are random examples, but let me just show you anyway. So wealth, health, and relationships again. Wealth, you've got real estate for first-time buyers, a little bit more sub-niche. Print-on-demand business for young entrepreneurs with less upfront capital. That's a very more like kind of sub-niche thing, which is a lot more rare, right? But if you have something more sub-niche, there's less competition, it's more niche down, it's a lot easier to sell. Fitness for busy professionals, nutrition for athletes. Because here's an example, right? If you join a fitness offer as like a busy guy, they're going to tell you to go to the gym, this amount per week, this amount per day, eat like this for 3 meals, meal prep, cook it in your microwave at home. But if you're a busy professional, you're out of house all day, you don't have time to go to the gym. So they're going to teach you how to do home workouts when you get back late on a night or in the morning. They're going to teach you how to meal prep with cold meals or whatever it might be to take it to work and eat it there. Like, random example, but it's a complete different offer. A busy professional can't then go and buy a random fitness offer that's going to tell you to work out 3 times a day, because they literally can't do that. So you need to get more niche down, because then if you're a busy professional looking at 2 offers and one is like, lose how this amount of fat as a busy professional, or you just got get ripped, you're going to choose this one because you know it's targeted at you. It's going to make more sense for your life and kind of your whole scenario. Dating advice single parents, marriage counseling for newlyweds, same exact thing I've just explained. But just to go over as well, there's a clear ROI, there's a clear return on investment in the wealth niches, as people are willing to invest more money if they can potentially gain money. So if they give you 5k and they have the chance to make 100k from that, it's a no-brainer, right? Whereas with the health and the relationships offers, they're sick. They do work in a lot of instances, but especially if you're starting out, it's hard to sell fitness for busy professionals because once they pay you 5k, that money's gone. There's no getting it back in no way. You're not even trying to sell them on that. Obviously, they can get to the transformation they want to get to, but it's a lot harder to sell. Whereas if they're investing to make more money, it just makes a lot more sense. Now, so that's why we focus on the BizOp niche, the make money online niche, finance, career, all this type of stuff, because people can earn money directly from paying. So it just makes a lot of sense, especially when you add guarantees in there. If they don't make this amount of money, then they get the money back or you carry on working with them. It's very, very easy to sell. So some random examples I've put here, you've got dropshipping, which is make money online, SMMA, which is a business opportunity, trading, investment, Airbnb arbitrage, business op, credit repair, BizOp, YouTube growth, make money online, car flipping, BizOp, tech job placement, career, education, Amazon KDP, make money online, debt reduction, finance, LinkedIn growth, BizOp, cybersecurity job placement, career, education. So that's some random examples. I'm not saying take these, but it might stem your brain a little bit to think of some different ideas, but we will be going over more ideas as well throughout the video, so don't worry. But here's some cool kind of wealth sub-niches to work on. So that's all good, right? I can give you some examples. Anyone can give you examples. You've already seen some online. You understand what a niche is, right? But how do you choose a niche for you? You need to choose a niche that genuinely excites you and aligns with your interests or skills to maintain long-term motivation and authenticity. Don't just go choosing a random niche that's popping right now. Find something that makes sense for you. If I was to describe you as a person, if I knew you, and then I knew what niche you're doing, it should click in my head. It should make sense. Research trending topics and growing industries to ensure there's sufficient demand for your chosen niche. Use Google Trends. Find out how it's kind of looking right now. Are people in this niche or not? Select a niche that addresses clear pain points and serves an audience with a financial capacity to invest in your services. So, two quick examples. You've got video editing. These are just random examples, by the way. So, mainly, the audience might be in India, like 16 to 18. It's going to be very highly competitive. There's going to be a low perceived value and a very limited budget, because a lot of these guys in India and the third world countries who are younger, they're not going to be able to pay for any offers. So you're going to have to do sort of low tickets. It's not going to work very well. But if they do have clear pain points, financial capacity, you're looking at something like crypto investing in the USA, UK, Canada, Australia, 25 to 45, high purchasing power, growing demand is only going to get bigger. And it's a very high perceived value because they can make more and more and more money. So they're going to be willing to invest much more into this. You do high ticket offers. Do you see the difference here? I hope you do, right? So we're always going to aim to do offers like this, at least for me personally. So, how do you actually validate a niche? Hopefully, you have some ideas. If not, you can write some notes down, and after this, you can go check it out and find some. But find a niche today, right? There's nothing to worry too deeply about, because go work on a niche for a week. If you don't like it, it doesn't work out, you can always change it. But you're better off spending that week working within a niche and finding out more than just umming and ahhing, deciding which niches to do. So, figure out what niche you want to do. Then it's time to validate. So research methods, you've got Google Trends, social media insights like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all this stuff, and then competitor analysis as well. Engagement metrics, so check their likes, their shares, their comments, follower growth. That's pretty common sense. And then finally, beta testing. We're going to be going over that in depth later on. Test your niche with a small project. Now, you want to be looking for niches like this. On the uptrend, very, very steady over long term. So like an example of this might be real estate. An example for this might be AI right now. It's absolutely popping off. So that's an uptrend that's on real estate. But then here's something that's dead. You can maybe say dropshipping, but it kind of still is popping right now. But if something's going down and down and down, chances are it's going to keep going, right? And hit a floor. So you don't want to start investing and working with creators when they're here if it's only going to go down. So make sure you're working with niches that are going to go up or going to be steady over a long, long time, like something like real estate, like something like trading. Now, if the niche isn't good, there isn't enough prospects inside the niche, or you've already dominated the niche, you can leverage AI to find niches in a similar space. Now, this is something not many people know and not many people do. They sort of pick a niche and stick to it, which is definitely my advice, right? But it's not always the best thing to do, because if the niche literally doesn't work, there's not enough people to sell to, or you've already worked with people, you've already sold to everyone, now you need to find new people to work with. And to do that, you need to find new niches. But you don't want to go from trading to dropshipping. It's like completely different. You want to work with niches that are very, very similar, have very similar creators, very similar prospects and audiences. So to do that, you just leverage AI. So you can use something like ChatGPT to do this. I'm reaching out to creators and coaches in insert niche to sell an info product to their audience. I can't use this niche because insert reason. So I need more niches to reach out to. The niches must include a skill/strategy or education that can be taught in a course or mentorship, obviously, because you're selling info products. The niche must be in the same or similar space to my current niche so I can leverage my knowledge and interest in the new niches. Give me a list of X niches, obviously put a number here, I can use and reach out to, include some unique and rare niches. Okay, so that's the prompt, right? Now, most people just leave you here, but let me show you some actual examples of how this works. I filled this in before this video, it's pretty random, but yeah. Cybersecurity jobs, I've already reached out to everyone inside the niche, so I literally can't go on any further. Any more niches to reach out to? Give me a list of 10 niches. Then ChatGPT fired these back at me. Obviously, you can then go on to get more in depth, tell it the ones you like, you don't like, so it can feed you more. But I just wanted to give you a quick example for the video. Your ethical hacking and penetration testing, cloud security and DevSecOps, AI and cybersecurity, threat intelligence, bug bounty and exploit development, digital forensics and incident response, right? These are mainstream niches, supposedly. Then you've got rare and untapped. So smart contract and blockchain security, open source intelligence, cybersecurity for small businesses and freelancers. This is actually probably a really good one, by the way. Physical penetration testing and red teaming, government, military, cybersecurity, career prep. So that's some cool ideas. And then we've got another example here. YouTube growth niche. It's not currently trending or making money, so I need more niches to reach out to. That's not true, but I was just giving an example of ChatGPT. 8 niches. So here we've got high ticket sales for coaching consultants, authority-based personal branding, monetizing X for creators and solopreneurs, AI automation for coaching course creators, profitable newsletter growth monetization, LinkedIn organic growth, micro influencer monetization, course funnels and webinar optimization. So some pretty cool ideas there, right? And you could go on further to get more and more and more. But I want to give you that example. That's pretty sick, and not many people show you stuff like that. So definitely leverage AI. And can you see that if you're working with cybersecurity jobs and then you want to work on this niche, you can leverage your existing skills and existing clients you've got pretty easily. So that's why I'm telling you to do this, rather than just go and pick another random niche. Now, all you need to do is come up with a niche idea, research the niche, validate it, gather feedback, and then, finally validate it and work on it. And that's literally as simple as it is for choosing a niche. And then once you've got that, you're good to go. Now, I did want to go over this as well. I have a better chance of landing a client if I go after every niche. I hear that all the time on calls, all the time in the comments. Everyone thinks this. If I go after everyone, it's so much easier to land someone. No, that is completely untrue. Focusing on one niche actually makes you way more attractive to clients. You become their guy who gets their specific problems. When you try to serve everybody, nobody feels like you're talking directly to them. Plus, once you land one client in a niche, you'll naturally discover tons more through their connections and circles. And I'm going to be showing you how to leverage those connections and circles to land so many clients so easily after your first one as well, later on in this video. The deeper you go into a niche, the easier it gets to find new prospects. And going back to the niche examples earlier, if you target someone and their problems exactly, they're going to want to work with you way more. If my offer is for you, but then I also had another offer that was just for anyone in online business, you're always going to come to me for the growth operating info product offer because it just resonates more with you. It makes more sense, right? You're going to get some broad, shitty advice in a make money online offer, or you come here, get some really in-depth, valuable advice and exactly what you want to do. It just makes more sense. Now, another thing a lot of people have been wondering, niches are way too saturated. A crowded niche just means there's money to be made. 100%. Why would so many people be posting content, doing different things, working with these guys if they're not making any money? It makes no sense, right? So don't stress about finding some magical empty niche. They don't exist. Just bring your unique spin to an established market. Most of your competition is just copying the same guru bullshit and creating mediocre offerings. Do it better, which I promise you is not hard, right? Focus on actual results and you'll crush it even in a saturated space. And this is proven because I've worked with so many niches that were popping on school with these 50% bullshit growth operating deals. I go in, launch a high ticket, make tons of money for them, and it's so easy to land more and more clients. So I promise you, there is no such thing as saturation as long as you do it right and you actually have the skills, which you will if you watch this video. So it's all good. Now, it's all good finding a niche, but how do you actually find prospects and clients within that niche? How do you find leads? So you need to define your ideal client. Who do you actually want to work with? Look for creators or coaches, but mainly creators in this instance, with engaged audiences but poor monetization. They need you the most. Check their content consistency to gauge execution speed. Assess communication style and personality fit through their content. Cross-platform presence indicates seriousness. Are they everywhere? Are you seeing them on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, everything? Remember, high engagement beats high follower count every single time. Followers do not matter anymore in 2025. I promise you that. If they've got high engagement, they're popping off, it's all good. As long as they've got a little bit of following, they're perfect. Now, the main stuff, do they have an existing offer you can improve? How much money can you help them make? Will they move quickly and get things done? Do they speak your language and understand your approach, which is huge, by the way. Especially if you're English and stuff, obviously most people speak English, that's all good. But if you're not English, leverage that. You can go work with a French creator, a Spanish creator, and you can do something that most people can't do. Because I could go work with a Spanish creator right now, but you'll be better at it because you can communicate better with them. It'll work better. You can also communicate with their audience better. So it just makes more sense. Can you build a friendly rapport for a long-term partnership? Can you actually become friends with them? That's a big deal here. This isn't some bullshit freelancer, Upwork, Fiverr thing. This is an actual business partnership. So you need to really get on with them and be friends with them. Which social media platforms are they active on? And what is their follower count and engagement? If you can answer all these questions about the creator and you're happy with the answers, they're an ideal client. That's fine. It's perfect. But yeah, you need to build up what you think an ideal client is and have kind of pre-existing answers to all these questions. So then when you find a new creator, just check them against all these questions you've got written down. And as long as the answers make sense, that you're happy with the answers, then they're an ideal client. It'll work fine. Now, how do you actually find these people? You've got the idea of the niche you want to work with and the type of person in that niche that you want to work with. Now it's time to actually go out and find these people. Most people's videos start here, right? I've kind of flew over everything else as well. When most people make videos on growth operating, info products, they're just showing you how to find these people, right? But don't worry, we're getting into that now. So you've got different platforms: Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn. You've got WAP or School, Facebook, Twitter or X. There's tons of different ways. With Instagram, you can use the following tabs and suggested accounts to discover creator networks. Create a niche-focused account to train the algorithm. Sort feed to analyze. So sort feed is just this. It's a Chrome extension that pops up and allows you to sort their different posts, like the last 25 items, by the most liked, viewed, commented, all this, and you can sort by date as well. It just allows you to check their engagement. But Instagram allows you to do tons of different things. The suggested accounts feature is absolutely sick. You follow them, it throws up all their suggested accounts, and you can find people just like them. You can also check their account for their following, people who are commenting, to find similar creators and coaches like them too. And a cool one is just creating a kind of burner account, a new account, where you just follow people in that niche, so it feeds you more and more people in that niche. And there you go, you're getting creators fed to you. And another sick way as well is click on ads in that niche, because it's going to feed you more ads for that type of creator as well, and that type of coach. So that's some different methods for Instagram. Next, you've got TikTok. Great search feature, despite young audience. So find sponsored reels to identify monetizing creators. Search niche terms and use sort feed. So again, use this exact same Chrome extension for TikTok and Instagram. Algorithm quickly serves similar content. So TikTok doesn't really have the similar creators feature, the suggested creators feature, but it's kind of built in, right? If you create a kind of a burn account on TikTok, it's going to feed you so many people so easily because their algorithm is like no other algorithm. So anything ads wise on creators and coaches in your niche, like it, click on it so it feeds you more. Any creator you find in your niche, like it, follow it, engage with it, but it's going to feed you more and more people just like that. Then a big one, searching niche terms. You could just type in, 10 ways to become a whatever, 10 best business models to start in 2025. And then once you have a niche in mind, you just start searching really, really niche terms about that niche. How to find creators as a growth operator. I mean, that's quite broad to be fair, but if you search very, very niche terms on TikTok, it's going to feed you what you're looking for because their algorithm is sick. Then, I'm not saying you have to stick with those creators, but it's going to allow you to find a baseline of creators. You can then go to other platforms like Instagram to sort of search and find for more. Next, we've got YouTube. In my opinion, my favourite and the best platform with highest engagement. Sort by the newest videos, use vidIQ for keywords. SimilarTube finds emails and related channels. Once you found one creator, SimilarTube will help you find more and more that are very similar. Identify rising creators before they blow up. Take a look, you've got vidIQ here. It allows you to search for keywords. It all pops up and you get a score here, so you know whether to work with them or not if it's green. Obviously sounds good. Then you've got SimilarTube. You literally click on here and it allows you to see other creators just like them, so you can outreach to more and more people. So every one creator or coach you find, you're going to find 5 to 10 more through SimilarTube. Now, next you've got LinkedIn. Perfect for professional coaches. Create a focused account to infiltrate money-making circles. One good lead connects to entire peer groups. Easy to connect, but deals take time. I'm not a big fan of LinkedIn, to be honest. It is cool if you go in kind of the more IPGA route. You're working with more like actual professionals. But it's quite easy to reach out to people. But people on LinkedIn are reaching out to people all day. They're setting up these business deals all day. This isn't a big opportunity for them. It is, but they don't realize that. They're not going to move with speed. So everything just takes a long, long time. Nothing's taken seriously. It's just very hard to do. But it's very easy to find them. So you can find someone on there that's willing to put the time in and actually get this done quick. Then it's a great platform. I just don't use it much. Next, you've got WAP and School. Find creators with existing offers, serious prospects, easy to filter by niche, hard to find their other platforms sometimes, but it's excellent for identifying committed creators. You literally go on WAP or School right now, you click on the niche at the top, and it's going to show you all these low ticket groups or whatever, or the free groups. And then if you can find the creator from that group that runs it, easy, done. You find them, they're already interested, they're already running an offer. Now you just help them build out more, which we'll get into soon. Lastly, we've got Facebook and we've got Twitter or X. Facebook is good for older niches like real estate. It groups yield prospects, but require filtering. So you can go find people who run groups on Facebook, kind of similar to WOP and School, and use the exact same process. Check their engagement on posts to gauge their audience quality. Check their engagement in their groups as well. But if they're usually popping with a big group, that's pretty much the same as Instagram following. They've got a huge dedicated audience willing to invest into them. So they're a good creator to work with. I, again, don't work with Facebook creators or coaches often, but it does work really well if you're looking for those older people to work with. Lastly, TwitterRx. Quality audience for online niches like crypto. Many faceless accounts which you can't really work with, in my opinion. But there is some people with faces on there, so you could work with them. They're often not serious about launching, to be honest, because there's so much stuff going on. They're kind of playing around. It's kind of like ran like a bit of a gaming community rather than a serious making money community. These crypto guys are crazy, but they're absolutely pumping cash. It's a high quality demographic for certain niches, so it's sick. But it's kind of hard to filter through the good and bad ones. But if you can make it work, it can definitely be good. Now, you need to build your value proposition. It's all good finding a niche, finding clients, but now what do you actually offer to these clients to make them want to work with you? You need a unique selling point, your USP. So your USP should clearly answer the question, why should creators or coaches choose you over competitors? Why should they be working with you rather than me, right? And obviously the clear answer, just as a base point, is that you're working specifically with them in their niche, whereas me, I'm working with different people in different niches. You need to focus on your niche, on your type of client. It's going to allow you to be set apart. It could be your unique approach as well, specialized expertise, or proven results in that niche, which again, this is why you stick to one niche. Articulate your USP in 1 to 2 impactful sentences that highlight your distinct advantages. So instead of using generic claims like quality service, focus on benefits, such as I specialize in doubling course sales for fitness coaches using a proven launch strategy. And if you can also explain what that strategy is in a sentence, like not fully explain it, but give them kind of an idea, that's even better. Now, how do you actually build your USP? I'm going to briefly go over this. You can pause, write some notes, take it all down if you want to. But all you need to do pretty much is identify your core strengths, your skills, your unique qualities. What do you excel at that other people may not? Where's your unique advantages? Analyze competitors. So research people who are doing your niche as well. What sets them apart? Identify gaps in their offers that you can fill with your unique approach that you're going to do. Understand your audience. Define your ideal client. We've already went over that. What challenges do they face? What solutions are they actively seeking that you're going to give to them? Define the transformation. What measurable results can clients expect from working with you? Quantify the impact whenever possible. Craft your USP statement, which obviously we went over earlier. You can literally follow this exact formula. Keep it concise, clear, and compelling. Then you want to test, right? You need to test every single time. Test your unique selling point. Share your USP with potential clients to see if it resonates with them. Ask specific questions about what stands out and what might be missing. This is even better if you have kind of a direct contact. You may be friends with someone or know someone in your USP. It's going to be a lot easier to test it. Finally, refine and iterate. Adjust your USP based on feedback to ensure it effectively communicates your value and addresses your audience's needs. Cool. So that's how you build a USP and actually have it to build your value proposition. Next, you need to make sure you're always focusing on benefits over features. Focus on outcomes, not processes, right? Just someone who lists features, it just sounds like bullshit. 40 hours of course content, no one cares. Transform weekly strategy calls into weekly sessions that uncover hidden revenue opportunities. Clients invest in results, more money, time savings, reduced stress, greater freedom, not your services. They don't give a shit they are going to build a back-end CRM and go high level. They don't even know what that is. They don't care, right? They just care about how much money they're going to make, how much time they're going to save, the lack of stress because they're saving so much more time. They don't have to worry about it because you're doing it, and they can literally work from anywhere. They're not constrained to working on this stuff anymore because you're doing it. That's what they care about. And then quantify whenever possible. So like a 60% increase in conversion in 30 days beats, you're going to get better conversions. No one gives a shit, right? Address core desires, so revenue, impact, freedom, and reduce workload, everything we spoke about here. Make sure you address these core desires and their pain points. And remember, clients buy outcomes. They do not buy services ever. It just makes sense. Don't do that. Don't be trying to sell your features. I will do this and this and this. No one cares about that. Just sell them on what they want. Now, lastly, social proof. If you have no case studies yet, no problem. Don't worry. Just funnel hack successful creators in your niche. So look how creator X makes 30k per month with this funnel. I can build the same for you with these specific improvements. So, look at this guy's funnel. I would change this, this, and this, but build out a very similar thing for you. But for you, we would change this and this and this. You're instantly building credibility. because you're funnel hacking people, showing how they do it, showing how you would do something similar. That shows your expertise. Show you know your stuff by breaking down what's working for others. This proves your expertise without needing your own results. It just allows you to step in, because everyone cries about this, like, oh, what do I do if I've got no results? Everyone started off with no results. I think people forget that, right? Everyone started off with no results. So to get that unique advantage, you need to do this. Funnel hack people. You can offer pay on results with no setup fee. Offer just a strict revenue share. When clients risk nothing up front, they're more likely to give you a shot. Of course, it's literally a no-brainer. And remember, proving you understand what works in the niche is often more valuable as well than showing past results. My trading creator doesn't give a shit what I've done for a dropshipper. What they care about is me being able to go to a bigger trader creator and breaking down exactly what they do, why it's good, some parts that are bad that I would improve. That means a lot more to them. Getting your first case study. So you need to obsess over one case study, right? It's all good doing this, 100%. But what's even better than that is actually building a case study in your niche. So you need to obsess over it. It's your literal golden ticket. Partner with smaller creators for discounted work in exchange for results documentation. So you basically agree that they're going to create a case study with you for whatever you do for them. You could take a really small revenue share, whatever it might be, and then you agree that once you make them some money, you can then, change the deal. You might take a little bit more of a split. You can do a case study with them. You can do videos about it to leverage that to get more clients. Break down successful funnels in your niche. We kind of went over this already. Analyze what works and how you'd improve it. Present these breakdowns as expertise demonstrations during your outreach. You can join paid communities, become value, then pitch collaboration. You don't even need to be the lead operator. Even moderation counts if you're contributing. So you could come into one of my offers right now. I'm not saying do this, right? I don't really need anyone right now, but you can come into one of my offers literally right now and pitch me. I will manage the Discord for your offer. I don't want to be involved in the offer, but let me manage the Discord and moderate it. Then you're a part of the offer. That becomes a case study for you. I'm not telling you to go out there and lie, but if you're involved in an offer, that's a case study. I worked on X creator's offer that does 100k per month. There you go, that's your case study. You don't have to be an operator. You don't have to be an agency to do that. Start off where you're at right now, and then build up slowly from that point. The first 20 hours are the hardest, by the way. So everyone that's struggling right now, you're not really working, you're just watching these videos one after another. The first 20 hours are the hardest, just put the work in. Once you break through, leverage your first client's network for warm introductions to similar prospects. That's what you need to do, and that's going to equal just consistent clients and consistent cash. So basically what I'm telling you to do right now is take these notes, but straight after this, just get to work and put the work in. Now, once you've got your social proof, you've got your first case study, you're ready to go, you need to build a prospect list. Quality over quantity every single time, especially in my opinion. I do want to say as well, I know some people will tell you to go and build a huge prospect list and then use automations, VAs, whatever it might be. And we can go over that a little bit. But in my opinion, especially now that it's so saturated and it's not really working, what you need to do is just identify perfect people in your niche that you want to work with who are absolutely perfect, aim for 25 to 50. Then you can literally just find one creator making money, explore their ecosystem through follows, suggested accounts, and engagement. So let's say you find one guy in your niche. You go through their full ecosystem to find 25 more guys, and then you've built up your prospect list pretty easy. And these are going to be perfect prospects, not bullshit where you've typed in a key term and just saved every single person. Actually dive into their account, find out the problems they've got. Scroll through Reels to find sponsored content. These creators are already monetizing. Use specific keywords and sort by new, like obviously using the sort feed that we spoke about earlier, to find emerging talent. When you close one client, just tear apart their network. Look at who likes their posts, who they mention, and who they collaborate with. These warm connections convert 10 times better than cold outreach. And I'm going to be going over very, very soon how to actually do these warm connections. And I'm also going to show you how to do cold connections and how to leverage that using my exact strategies. Organize the leads in your CRM with notes on offer gaps, engagement metrics, discovery source, mutual connections, and outreach history. Basically, take notes on absolutely everything. So when you come to actually outreach these people, you already understand everything without having to go back and check. So pretty much, you're putting the time and effort in up front, so it's going to be a lot easier for you in the long term. Focus on monopolizing one sub-niche before expanding. Do everything you can in that niche. Work with everyone you can. Leverage every single group before even trying anything else. The best prospects often aren't the most visible ones. Look below the surface to find hidden opportunities others are missing through all the different strategies we spoke about earlier and in the top half of this. Now, it's all good having all these ideas for different prospects you're going to go to. You've got a niche in your head, all this stuff. But without a CRM actually track this stuff, you're going to get absolutely nowhere. That's a promise. You need something like this or like this in Notion to track everything, because it's going to go through your new leads and you can track every single message sent. If you're just reaching out to 1 to 2 to 3, 4, 5 even clients, it's pretty easy to track, right? But once you start scaling, actually making money with this stuff and wanting to put a real effort in, like the 20 hours we spoke about, you need one of these, right? You need to be able to put their name in, their link, then stage, follow-ups, dates, and notes. And if you can leverage something like this, it's going to be so much easier for you to scale. And you usually have to set this up. It'll take you a while, but don't worry. You can get one of these for free in the link below. Just join my free group below. You can get all my free resources. Don't worry. There's no sales bullshit. I'm not trying to sell you anything. Just click the link below, join the group. You're going to find one of these CRMs inside the WAP, and you can just download it and start using it today. Now, moving on. What's good, boys? We're back for part 2. I've got the iced coffee here. We're good to go. We've got signing your ideal clients. It's all good finding a niche. It's all good finding some good clients to work with, building out a lead list. But how do you actually outreach to these people and get them on board with you? So, no fluff, no bullshit. I'm going to cut straight into it. That's how we're going to be getting on with today. But first of all, I wanted to explain to you where I'm at, right? Because I know a lot of you see all the guys over in the US, in Miami or whatever, all the guys in Dubai and everywhere like that, landing clients left, right, and center. And you're just thinking like, okay, I'm at a disadvantage here. I can't land these clients. I'm not meeting them. I'm not in the space. I can't leverage it. Whatever you might think, right? Because I know I was in a similar position to you. But I just want to make you aware, I'm landing clients left, right, and center. And I'm here in the middle of nowhere. You might have heard of London, most likely. But if you're not from the UK, you have no idea where I'm at up here in the northeast. Just in kind of seaside towns, surrounded by grass and trees and water. There's nothing here, right? There's no one here, especially in our space. So I'm at a complete disadvantage. Yet it still works, which is why it'll still work for you. But yeah, look, the most random seaside town, there's literally nothing here. And no one wants to do online business. I promise you that. And we're still cooking. We're still 100% cooking. So yeah, you don't have to worry about any disadvantages you've got. You can still absolutely kill it. Quick overview. We've got choosing a strategy. Everyone gives you their strategy, or often what they actually do, these gurus, they give you the easiest strategy, because if it sounds easy, it's easiest to sell your course on. I don't do any of that bullshit. I'm going to teach you every single strategy that I'm aware of, at least, so you can then choose one that works best for you. I will also go into which one I use and what my preference is, but I want you to make the choice for yourself, because different strategies will work better for different people, which is why following the guru bullshit doesn't always work, right? How would you actually message these prospects? So how do you actually outreach to them, the DMs, the emails, whatever you might be? We've got some real outreach examples that I've written, emails, and things like that I can show you. We've got a Loom video plan, so how to actually build out the Looms. We've got 2 different plans for different methods, and I've also included 2 examples of actual Looms I've sent. Your pricing / offer structure, so what do you actually, I guess, pitch or sell to these creators and coaches? Then finally, closing call strategies. It's all good having this whole plan, but once they agree to a call, you need to know what the fuck to say, right? So yeah, no messing around, we're going to get straight into it. First, we've got the outreach, probably the most important part in a lot of ways, and warm is always preferred. Some of you, hopefully, know what warm outreach is, of course, and some of you won't, I guess. But warm, I guess it's like outreach. Warm is more inbound than outbound, but you've got outbound, right, where you're reaching out to people. And then you've got inbound, which is like content and stuff that we will be getting into shortly. But warm is kind of in the middle. It can be inbound, it can be outbound. It's just some sort of warm connection. So it's still like kind of outbound in some sort of ways, but you have a relationship pre-existing. And there's tons of different ways to do this, so I can't really give you a brief example here. But we've got warm and we've got cold. So let me dive into warm first. I'm going to really briefly go over this because there's a lot of different strategies and I don't want to waste your time and bore you if you're not really interested in doing it. But let me give you a look. So first, leverage existing connections. So turn your current network, your current clients, people you're working with, whatever it might be, into a referral engine just by asking introductions to potential clients. So when you've worked with people, find people in their network that they're already working with, they're friends with, peers, whatever. They might even have them on IG. And you could ask them if they'd be willing to make an introduction. Whether it's you message the other guys from their account, if they're already signed on with you, you'll have access. You can use their account to do outreach and pay them for that. Or just ask them to add you to a group with the prospects. They can just create an Instagram group or something like that with you and the prospect, and you just give them an upfront fee or kind of a percentage referral fee of the upfront payment, or just a small revenue share as well. Obviously, revenue share you only want it to be doing if it's going to be a big client. It's going to be worth you doing that, right? Some pros, obviously it's a built-in trust factor. Instantly you're trusted because if they trust you, the new prospect should trust you as well. And then the zero acquisition cost, of course, because it's all pay on results like your offer is. But you are limited by your network size. If you've not got clients, it's going to be very difficult to do, and it requires consistent relationship nurturing. Next, networking with agencies or management for referrals. So very, very similar, but this time, instead of working with like our previous clients to find referrals, we're making and sort of structuring deals with like marketing agencies, content agencies, things like that are working with our ideal clients. So you might find like a copywriting agency, for example, that's working with info clients. If you go structure a deal with them, so like anyone they refer to you, they get an upfront fee, or it's a referral fee or a revenue share, whatever it might be, similar to the last one, they'll get that for every person they bring on. And you just create a simple process for the onboarding. So how do they introduce you to their clients, like a call or emails, whatever it might be. And you just go from there. But it allows you to tap into established client pools instantly. And obviously every time they bring people on for their agency, which is a big agency, so they're always going to be doing that, passively, they're going to be lead genning for you through ongoing partnerships. And yeah, and obviously if this agency is trusted, as soon as you work with them, you're going to kind of bring on that trust as well. All these people that are working with them are going to trust you too. So there's so many pros to this. The cons, obviously, reduces profit margins, but you'd rather split something that you've got rather than not have anything, right? And then relationship building requires some sort of upfront time investment. You need to actually outreach to these agencies, find them, get in touch, and strike a deal. Next, expanded through peer groups. So pretty much all this is, you can read this if you want, pause it, but just to give you a brief overview, this is what WOP actually did to sign a lot of their stuff. They picked a niche, picked like a sub-niche of that, found the guy they want to go to mainly, go to that guy, create some sort of like case study or plan with that person, and then just go through there and just rip apart the sort of peer group or the niche. So you find the guy, you look at all of his friends, people he works with in the same niche, and you leverage that one person to expand with the whole group. So you create a special offer, so it could be a really good deal, specifically for members of that sort of group. And I don't mean it has to actually be a group or community. It could just be like a group of friends, could be a peer group, they all have each other on Instagram, it could be anything, right? But you start working with the one guy, get him to share his results and stuff like that. You can even get him to sort of present opportunities to you where you sort of meet up with these other people. And again, you just give him a cut of the pie, you pay him, and you just leverage that to expand the whole community. And then next you move on to another community, do the same thing, then another one. It's a really, really good plan, to be honest, if you can get it down. But you've just got to find that one good client first. One entry point can lead to multiple clients in the same ecosystem, and group dynamics and social proof accelerate trust building massively. Because if I'd made 50k for your friend, of course you're going to want to work with me as well, right? There shouldn't be much selling needed to do. And it allows you to get really good deals as well. But the cons, it does require some sort of successful case study within the group first. I'm not saying you have to make them tons of money, but you at least have to have a plan that they believe in, where it's like, okay, I'm going to make money with this. I trust this guy. I'm now willing to get paid to bring him to my friends, whatever it might be. And another con, group dynamics can work against you if expectations aren't managed. But what I would say to you, if that's going to happen, don't do this business model, because you have to be good at what you do. You have to actually put the time and the effort in, because if you're shit at it, the word spreads fast. Everyone will find out. No one will want to work with you. So group dynamics can work against you, but they shouldn't, as long as you do it properly. Now we've got joint paid offers to get clients. So you strategically participate in premium communities where your ideal clients gather, positioning yourself as a valuable resource. So if you're targeting, I don't even know, if you're targeting appointment setters or sales guys or something like that who have offers and things, you can join like huge masterminds or communities and just give genuine value. And then you can just approach the owners of these things for some sort of formal partnership. It could even be like a community for coaches or a community for creators. It could even be a high ticket offer if you're willing to kind of pay that to get in. It just depends on the risk you want to take. But you jump in, give value to everyone in there, and then you just form some sort of partnership with the owner of that. Like, hey man, every person I bring on from your offer, I will cut you this amount in. And then it becomes a very similar thing to what we spoke about earlier with the agencies and management. You treat this like an agency or management. The owner will then bring people to you. You'll bring people to you yourself by participating in the group, giving everyone value. And then, you just strike deals with everyone in there. You get instant access to pre-qualified prospects, because if they're in like a high ticket or even a mid ticket or whatever for content or coaching or something like that, easy done. You've probably seen a lot of these, like, I guess, growth operators or whatever have their own coaching programs where they're coaching coaches, coaching creators on how to sell their own offers. Imagine you got yourself in there, strike the deal with them, and then worked with all the guys in there who can't manage to do it themselves and like, hey man, I know you don't have time to do it yourself, let me do it for you. And if you're allowed to do that because you've agreed with the owner of the group, it's a very, very easy way to land clients, especially if they actually trust you. And obviously they'll do that if you give them value first. And it positions you as a peer rather than a vendor. You're not always just trying to sell to them because you're actually in the group yourself. You give in value, all that type of stuff. So it becomes a lot easier to actually get clients on board. Cons, it does require a financial investment with uncertain returns. The bigger the risk, bigger the reward. I'm sure you all heard that. And you must provide value first before pitching your services. So if you're a bullshitter, you can't do this. But if you're a bullshitter, you shouldn't do it at all. I'm going to mention that again and again and again. But yeah, it's a very good method. Next, engage with content creators. You can build relationships with influential creators by meaningfully engaging with their content before proposing collaboration. There's a bit of a mixture between sort of cold, sort of warm, but it is kind of still a warm outreach because it's a long process. But you need to identify people in your space whose audiences match your ideal client profile. So just like we were talking about a minute ago with the groups, you're looking for the same type of people that run those offers. You're looking for creators who like teach creators or coaches, or teach other people like coaches you want to work with, or whatever it might be in whatever space it might be. You strike sort of partnerships with them, and basically their job is to bring you inbound leads through their personal brand, through their content. So you can meaningfully kind of engage with their content for 2 to 3 weeks, then just reach out with them with some sort of proposal, giving them some sort of kickback. So this could include offering payment for access to their private communities, proposing a revenue share for client referrals, or just suggesting some sort of mutually beneficial collab that puts you in front of their audience. So if they're teaching, for example, creators on how to start a school group, you strike a deal with them, and then anyone who can't actually do it themselves, they're DMing this creator all the time asking for help, he then refers them to you. I hope that makes sense. But the pros, you can instantly leverage this creator's existing audience trust, which is usually huge because people like that, you usually have a very, very cult-like following. And as soon as you come on board, that cult is going to follow you as well. And it creates potential for ongoing referral partnerships. Again, similar to the other things, it's going to be consistent lead flow from that point. Because if he's bringing in leads and they don't want to do it themselves, you've instantly got more and more clients. The cons, it requires genuine, consistent engagement for outreach. Again, bigger the risk, bigger the reward. And there's competition for attention from popular creators can be very, very high. It's going to be difficult to actually get there. Get in the sort of eyesight or strike a deal with these big creators, these coaches, whatever it might be. Next, the last one as well for warm, we've got mutual connection bridging, which is very similar to what we spoke about earlier, but incentivize shared connections on social media to facilitate introductions to your target prospects. So, you can pause this and read through this if you want, but the kind of best way to explain this, you literally can go on Instagram, find, a trading coach, for example. This is how I would do it. Then look at your mutuals. If you've got like a random mutual friend, and I don't mean this has to be someone like you're super close with, but if you're just mutuals with them, hit them up. Because what you have to remember, if you cold outreach to someone on Instagram DM, you get stuck in the requests. Who doesn't get stuck in the requests? Someone that they follow. So if this coach or creator follows someone that also follows you and you're friends with them, or you have some sort of relationship with them, hit them up. Give them some sort of offer structure, some sort of deal. Hey man, do you mind messaging him for me? Or do you mind just putting me in a group chat with X guy? And for doing that, you give them some sort of upfront payment, some sort of commission, some sort of revenue share, whatever it might be. So very similar to what we mentioned earlier, but rather than being like their friend, it's just a mutual connection on like a platform like Instagram, and you just get them to do the sort of work, the outreach for you, and you pay them for that. It leverages existing trust relationships, creates financial motivation for facilitating connections, but the cons, it requires research to actually find appropriate mutual connections, because it's not always easy, and some may hesitate to monetize the relationships, of course. They don't want to ruin it, they don't want to lose their sort of relationship with these creators and coaches, but I'm telling you now, a lot of people will for anything, especially if it's like a revenue share. Upfront fee is harder unless it's a big upfront fee, depending on how much money the person's making. But if you give them some sort of commission and you explain how much money this offer's going to make, they're usually willing to say yeah, and it's also less risk for you that way. Cool, that's everything warm. Now let's go all the way at the top really quick and straight in, no messing around. We got cold now. This is where it gets interesting. Obviously warm, let me just go back up again. Warm is always preferred. If you can do warm, do it. 100 million times over, 100 million %. But I know a lot of you don't know how to, and you don't have the connections, you can't build it out. There's definitely some strategies you can still leverage, and I would. But on top of that, you do have to do some sort of call to start off with. So let me show you how to do that. And this is where you actually get the real examples as well. So this is pretty sick. One that you've probably heard a lot of is this. The tripwire strategy, the bait and switch strategy, whatever the bullshit thing is people want to call it. You basically bait them in, right? So you start outreaching by asking prospects if they offer some sort of coaching, one-to-one mentorship. You can word it differently because people have a lot of built-up sort of resistance to this now because it gets spammed because every guru's talking about it. But it definitely works, right? You can reach out to them, ask if they have some sort of one-on-one mentorship. Instantly in their head, they're thinking, this guy wants to pay me. So if they see that pop up, they're going to open it. They're more likely to open that than a pitch, 100%, right? You use their response to pivot the conversation towards enhancing their offerings or introducing the idea of starting a mentorship or downsell leading to a pitch for your services. So, hey name, do you offer one-on-one mentorship? And then from that point, based on what they say, you change. So if they say, yes, I do, then you pitch them on, hey, have you thought about doing a downsell mid-ticket, da-da-da-da-da-da. Then you send them a Loom video over if they want it. You basically tell them, I've structured this out for you, how you could do it. Hit me back if you want me to send it over. And then you send it over. And in the Loom, you just break down how they could be making a lot more money by downselling people too. If they say, no, I don't, you explain to them how much money they can make with a one-on-one mentorship, the fact that you can build it all out for them, and then you send them a Loom over, showing them how you do it. Pros, it engages prospects with relevant questions, it gets them to open it much easier, and it tailors your pitch based on their response, so it's no copy-paste bullshit. Even though it kind of is, but you still sort of tailor it in some sort of way. Cons, it does require effective communication skills, because you do have to know how to pivot it correctly and actually speak to someone. It's not just a pitch. And there's a risk of misinterpretation if not handled well. And in my opinion, these are the ones I've kind of added before I record this video. There's lots of sales resistance because everyone's doing it now. So they have a lot of resistance built up. Like as soon as you ask that question, because their sort of barriers are open, they're just wanting to work with you. As soon as you try and pitch them, it's like, damn, this guy's trying to sell me. And it comes across that you've tried to lie to them, try to con them. So they don't want to work with you very much. It does work sometimes, but I have found that out a lot more recently. And lastly, it's used a lot. They're going to have tons of DMs doing the same bullshit. Do you offer one-to-one mentorship? Do you offer one-to-one coaching? All the same bullshit, right? Yeah. This is kind of how it would look. Do you offer one-to-one coaching? Da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, got you, man. You can for sure print the high-ticket offer, especially if you're already running up the school. Went through your shit, made a quick video breaking down how I do it. Cool if I send it over, bro. And then obviously from that point, you send the Loom and close them. So that's how it would look if you do want to do this method. And then I have included a Loom example as well. I'll be going over that in a moment once I went through these first few message examples. Next, you've got value-driven offer strategy. I'm sure some of you will have seen this as well. This is quite a basic one that a lot of people do. And it works a lot at scale, to be honest. Like the success rate isn't great, but you can scale that much that it does work. If you can scale, you have VAs and stuff. You just present a compelling value proposition that directly addresses a known pain point of the prospect. And if you're working with a sub-niche, it's quite easy to sort of have a copy-paste pain point that works. What's good name? I noticed a few areas in your funnel that could be optimized, and I believe I can help you add 20k per month through my unique offer. Would it be cool if I sent over some more info? It focuses on results rather than services, which is always the best thing to do. Creates immediate interest through certain claims. But the cons, it requires thorough research to identify relevant pain points. You can copy paste, but obviously when you first go to the niche, you do have to do thorough research to find out what's actually going to get their attention. And you must be able to deliver on the promised value, which is the hardest thing for a lot of you kind of new guys in here. You make big claims, don't follow through, and then you'll never land a client again if you fuck up that bad. Some examples. Yo, Alex, been watching your dropshipping content. That TikTok ads breakdown was fire. I was checking out your funnel and noticed you're missing a huge opportunity after your core sales. I can help you add 15 to 25k monthly, the high ticket mentorship component that won't mess with your current offers. Want to see how we can set this up for your audience? If not, all good. This could still be optimized, but yeah, this is kind of the example I'm going to give you. What's good, Michael? Your personal development stuff is hitting different, especially that mindset series. I notice you're converting those podcast listeners into buyers though. I've got a podcaster program pipeline, which is a great kind of name for a unique offer that could easily add 30k per month to your business. I can send over some ideas on how we'd implement this for your specific audience. Let me know if you're down. And lastly, hey Emma, just came across your Spanish tutorials. That conjugation, a hack video was genius. I noticed you've got tons of YouTube subs, but you're not monetizing them effectively. I think you could be easily making an extra 15k per month with the right extension model. I've mapped out how this would work specifically for your language content. Cool if I share it, no stress either way. Okay. Next, and the last for this type, I believe, let me just double check. Yeah, last for this type, we've got vertical video. Very, very similar. I mean, it's very, very different, but the type of message is very, very similar. You just use personalized video or voice messages instead of text to create a more human connection in initial outreach. You just record a brief video introducing yourself, mentioning specific aspects of the prospect's business, and explaining how you can help them achieve their goals. Alternatively, which is kind of what I would do more likely, is adapt any cold outreach strategy into video format for a more engaging approach. So all these strategies you just went through, you could just change these into a video and make them much more engaging, if that makes any sense. But it humanizes outreach and builds rapport quickly. They're going to trust you a lot more if you face on the camera, you're talking directly to them. It's impossible to be copy-paste because you're talking to them. And you can convert enthusiasm and authenticity effectively, as long as you can do that, as long as you're good at that. There's a lot of people that do this method, but then they're talking to the camera, hey man, I think you could make lots of money. Like, that's just bullshit. Don't do this method if you're going to speak like that. Cons, it's more time consuming than traditional text-based outreach. And prospects is quite a big downside. They can't preview the message without listening or watching, which is kind of a bad thing, right? Like if it's in the requests, you get like 40 characters in the request that you actually see. So if someone DMs me, I see like the first line of what they've put. Whereas if it's a video or voice note, obviously you don't get any sort of pre-idea of what they're saying, which is sometimes a good thing and it makes me want to watch, but often it's a bad thing as well because you get spammed with the video messages, voice messages, and if you don't know these people, you're not going to listen. So there is definitely pros and cons, as there is to every method. Now, what I wanted to get into, all these three methods lead into the Loom. So you can see all these three. I would do a very, very similar Loom strategy for all of them. So I wanted to go over that really quick. It looks a little bit something like this. Now, this is something quite commonly used. You'll have seen a lot of people talk about Looms quite similar to this. I might do it a little bit uniquely in the video, I guess, to what most people would do, but it's still pretty similar, right? You pull up their social profiles, you kind of put it in the Miro, it's up to you. Explain the current problems of their funnel. Explain the optimized funnel, so what would be better, how would it work. Craft an offer preview. Explain revenue goals with the offer. Explain roles and responsibilities, and then a brief overview of your no-brainer offer. If it's no-brainer, they're going to sign on, right? Yeah. So this is the breakdown, because my Looms won't always follow this breakdown depending on the creator, but take a screenshot of this, write this down. This is what you want to follow if you're doing these sort of strategies. And then let me just give you a quick look at how it works as well. I don't know if the volume will be on actually, but let me just... Would that current funnel look a little bit like yours? So we have... We have the welcome. I'm going to be going over what I think a perfect funnel would look like for you. Go over his profiles, go over his community that he only has a low ticket. I basically then say, who am I? I go through what I do. I run up info offers on a pay and results basis. And then I show him some results from me and my students and my creators. I explain that he has the same problem as most AI coaches and creators, and I show some examples as well who are all doing the same thing as him. His current funnel is YouTube to school. There's tons of leaks in there. Not everyone wants to join a school, and when they do, there's nothing extra for them. And they don't get it's very, very broad, right? They don't get any niche advice. So if they don't know where to go and have a roadmap, they'll just leave. So they even leak in once they get inside. So there's tons and tons of leaks. Now, I then go down, I show him more of an optimized funnel. Again, I made this in like 2 minutes because I wanted to be really quick, and I actually built this example out just for this video, and I got some examples of creators from my WAP OL. I got a few people to send me some examples, and I just built this out for them. But yeah, what was an optimized funnel? I'd tell them to do much more IG and the YouTube. I'd have lead magnets, so like free guides, blueprints, snapshots, because it's an AI community. From that point, we'd send them into an application. So we wouldn't just send them straight to the school, it'd be an application. They can join the school directly as well, but we'd push the application more. And then from the application, if they're unqualified, they go to the school. If they're qualified, they go to some sort of one-to-one upsell coaching. And we leverage emails, content, and appointment setters to nurture throughout. Like if people get a lead magnet but they don't apply, we just call them up, we text them, and push them through the funnel. We set up a team to do that, right? Which is obviously very hard to do without an operator, because they don't want to manage a full team, which is a good reason to get you on board. I show them some example funnels, things like that. What's needed from you? So this is a little bit different, something I like to do, kind of make it a little bit more funny. What's needed from you? You must find the nearest beach and chill there for a few days while I make you 40k. And then obviously I tell them, okay, now for real, I'm just kidding. You do marketing, obviously. Weekly calls with your students. Anything else can be outsourced, and I'll be slaving away to get it done for you myself. After that, it just goes through all the stuff I'll be doing, which is quite in depth, and I kind of went over it at the start of this video, all the responsibilities, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. And then if somehow this doesn't convince you to hop on a brief call, here's some things you can run without me. And then it just tells him some advice that he can just do himself, because you want to always act like you're giving value, not try to pitch him, right? That's a good way to do that. Then at the end, I just pitch him a time to jump on a call. Let me know if you're free at this date, this time, let's hop on a call. If not, let me know when works best for you. And I often also tell him that my calendar will be in the email, but I just don't like to push that. People like to try and just push like the calendar link, but big guys, 100k followers, don't want to book it on your random booking link, right? You pitch them first on a time so they can just reply yes. Keep it nice and easy and simple. But if they're not available, they can tell you what time works best for them, And if not, they can then just click on your Calendly and book in. It's completely their choice. And that's the key. Make it their choice. So the good thing about all these different strategies that I use this Loom for, they're very scalable. You can scale with VAs. So if you want to leverage VAs, it's quite easy if you're doing this sort of cold outreach, because the VAs can handle research. You just tell them if they've got a low ticket, we do this. If they've got high ticket, we do this. So they can handle the research. It's very simple. Initial contact and follow up, allowing you to scale your outreach while focusing on closing deals. So the VAs can identify leads based on your criteria and gather some sort of personalization information. Initial outreach, so they execute the outreach using your templates, ensuring consistency. And then the follow-up, VAs manage follow-up sequences and track engagement metrics. Obviously, the pros, it significantly increases outreach volume and response opportunities. It frees up your time massively for high-value activities like closing deals, and ensures consistent and organized outreach efforts. What I would say as well, another kind of pro, which might not matter to you right now, but if you already have a client on board, you can do this in the background. It's not time consuming for you. You can have VAs getting more and more clients while you're already working with someone. Some cons, it requires investment in training and quality control. It needs ongoing management to maintain standards, and there's potential for inconsistent messaging if poorly managed, of course. So you need to be on top of these guys. They need to be good at what they do, 1,000,000%. But yeah, you can definitely scale with VAs, 100%. You can pay them per message, you can pay them per hour. There's tons of ways to do this, but we can go back into that later on. But yeah, those three strategies. Now, let's go into some different strategies. We've got creative physical gifts. Creative physical gifts, you can send thoughtful, personalized physical items to high-value prospects to create reciprocity and to stand out for the usual bullshit digital outreach, the Instagram DMs, the emails. Just send some sort of personalized gift that ideally is going to align with the prospect's interests or their business needs, accompanied by some sort of handwritten note, preferably, that connects your services to their goals. Be very, very human with this, right? I've attached an example here, like Brownie God with like a UK company. I don't know if you guys have it, but it's just like personalized brownies. You could just get some cool ones with a handwritten note. That's kind of last resort. That's like a basic one. But preferably you find something that works for them, something to their personality, their business, something that makes sense of who they are, right? Pros, creates a memorable impression and builds rapport, triggers reciprocity, increasing response likelihood. If you get them something, they feel like they have to respond. And then it demonstrates genuine interest and research effort. But this is definitely not easy, and it's not going to be scalable. There's a higher cost per prospect than digital methods, of course, and it requires research and logistics management, of course, as well. And also, like, it's just not easy to get people's addresses. People have PO boxes, people have offices, people have business addresses. In those cases, it's better, but it's not always easy to do this, right? But you can ask for their address or somewhere you can send some stuff, but it won't always work. But if it does work, it's a cool idea. And if someone does have a business address, I would just go ahead and send it to them. Next, okay, these are the strategies I actually do. So quickly, before I dive into them, let me preview them both. We've got personalized pitching upfront value, and then we've got hyper-personalized upfront value outreach. So both very similar. And these are two things both that I do. So this first one, you use adaptable templates, sort of, that allow for quick personalization. I'm going to show you that in a second, but making it easier to reach out to multiple prospects while still addressing their unique needs. So it's like, hey, your name, I just came across your page and I love what you're doing, especially X. I noticed you're not currently sending any emails for your offers, so I took the time to write you a 7-day email sequence tailored to you. Would you be open to me sharing it? If not, no worries. I hope to hear from you soon. That's an example of an email, how it would look, right? And this is value, the 7-day email sequence. You can change this to whatever. It could be a VSL, it could be a landing page, it could be anything you've made for them. The pros, it saves time while maintaining personalization because you're still using some sort of template and you don't send it up front. And it can be tailored to multiple different audience segments. The cons, you risk of sounding generic if not personalized adequately. You don't want it to seem like copy and paste, right? You want to make sure it's personalized enough to be obvious you haven't just copy pasted some bullshit. And it requires discipline to ensure each message feels unique. It's very easy to just copy and paste some bullshit message, right? So you need to really believe in this method and understand that you have to actually make it personalized and everything like that to make it work. But I've got a real example attached here for you. Obviously, you can use this if you want. I would not copy paste this, but it's just a cool example. You've got name, just came across your school community and I love what you're doing, especially those Google Ads backend posts. Good stuff. I notice you're not currently running any high ticket offers alongside your community. I think you could easily add 30k to 50k monthly with the right launch strategy. And I've actually written a 7-day email launch sequence tailored for your audience that would help convert your followers into high-ticket clients. Would you be open to me sharing it? If not, no worries. Hope to hear from you soon, Mason. This is a perfect email. I wouldn't use the exact thing, but take this as an example and use it, something similar, and it'll print 100%. Next, my absolute personal favorite, what I do the most, what I tell everyone inside Operator Labs to do the most as well, hyper-personalized upfront value outreach. So very, very similar, but instead of just pitching, we're actually giving the value upfront. So you provide tangible value in your initial outreach by including specific actionable insights tailored to the prospects. So a very similar message to the previous one, but I'm sure you'll understand the differences in a moment. So, hey, your name. I notice you're not sending any emails before your trading program launches. I've written you a complete 7-day sequence with story hooks from your content. Here's a breakdown, Loom link. It's yours whether we work together or not. Let me know if you want me to work. Let me know if you want me to walk you through it. Again, this is an example, right? This could be changed completely. It's not always for trading people. It's not always 7-day sequences. This can be changed in whatever way possible. I will get into that soon. But the pros, it demonstrates expertise and builds trust. It differentiates your outreach from typical sales-focused messages. You've literally given the value up front. There's nothing else to go from, apart from if they want to work with you, they can jump on a call and they want you to walk you through it, which is obviously what you do on the sales call. So it's very, very different to what most people do. There is a lot of cons, but for me, it's worth it. It's time intensive to create personalized content for each prospect, and value may be implemented without further engagement if not followed up properly. But as long as you're good at your job, again, that's not going to happen, right? So you just make sure you do it properly and you'll be all good. And yeah, I love doing this shit because if you know you're better than most people at what you do, you've actually got the value to give people. This is the best way to do it. Prove you've got the value instead of just doing what everyone else does with some sales-focused bullshit. Remember, right? Your competition in this space is these guys pitching these 50% school group bullshit. Like, it doesn't work. It's complete BS. But you cannot differentiate you from them guys without giving upfront value, because just pitching the basic messages that people are pitching, there's no difference. Whereas if you give straight value and you kind of show your expertise through that Loom or whatever it might be, they're going to want to work with you. There's no longer a pitch. It's just like, oh, this guy knows what he's talking about. So next time someone else outreaches to them, giving them some bullshit, they're going to think, no, I don't want to work with him. I want to work with that guy that messaged me yesterday. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, that's the one I like to do. So we've got some real outreach examples for this one as well. First one, press 50K name. This is actually one I helped structure for one of my students. I helped him fully restructure this. This is a very like kind of Gen Z type one, but press 50K name, lol. I'm not BSing you. Obviously, we put the name in. Your name, what's good, man? Purposely, got extra O's, by the way, so they can tell it's not some copy-pasted bullshit. I was breaking down your funnel and thought, fuck, you would print with a mid-ticket downsell. You already have the Elite Roundtable. It seems to be flying. I've seen the good reviews on WOP. I think with the downsell, you could easily be bringing in, I would say, 50K extra per month. I've made you a 7-day email sequence for you to turn your followers into cash. Lol, again, just more humanization. Don't worry, it's not some copy-paste sales bullshit, haha. I've written it in your voice with hooks. You could literally fire this out and print cash in your sleep. Check it out. And then I've obviously put the Loom video here that the guy actually helped restructure this record. It's yours to use whether we work together or not. Probably best if we do, lol. But I don't care. There's plenty more sea in the fish or some shit like that. I'll run you through it and show you how we can implement this in our future launches. Let me know. Mason. Very cool message. Very, very simple. Obviously, this is only going to work for that type of audience member, for the guy in his niche. But you can quite easily convert this into a different type of speaking for someone else. I'm going to show you how to do that as well, so don't worry. But another outreach example, a little bit different, this one. Check this video, name. Hey, name. I was checking out your funnel and noticed you're killing it with your low ticket group, but damn, you're missing out without a high ticket offer. I've actually written you a complete VSL script for a high ticket program that could easily add 50K plus to your monthly rev. Here's a breakdown of what I put together. Loom, again, the video. The script is yours, whether we end up working together or not. If you want me to walk you through it, I'll show you how we could implement this and more for your next launch. Just say the word. Mason. Don't worry, like, this isn't the only call to action, by the way. I know these are very, like, soft CTAs. I do have a call to action inside the Loom as well. And I'm going to be going through an example of that in a moment. So, this Loom example is the Loom example for both these methods. So when you're pitching upfront value and you're actually giving upfront value, because obviously the Loom is the same, but in this one, you actually give the Loom beforehand. This one, you only give the Loom once they reply, but it's the same Loom. So how does it look? Again, focus on the structure instead of focus on my example. I know you'll want to see an example, so I've recorded one for you. I got one of the guys in OL to send me an example of a creator, and I recorded this in 5 minutes. So it's not perfect, but it's definitely good. It's definitely a good example. But yeah, focus on the structure. So you've got pull up their social profiles on like the actual social media or just on a Miro board. Show and explain the free value, which I'll explain in a moment. Explain the current gaps in their funnel. Explain the optimized funnel. Again, from this point, it's very similar to the other example, right? Explain revenue goals with the offer, explain roles and responsibilities, and then a brief overview of your no-brainer offer. So, Evan VSL. Let's have a look how this would look. And another bit of source as well. Make sure you call the Loom something cool that's going to interest them. Not something that could be copy-pasted, like, hey, free value or whatever. Don't call it anything like that. Call it their name. Make sure they know this is personalized to them. And then you also want to have their stuff in the sort of thumbnail of the Loom. So make sure this is the first thing. Because I want him to click on, see that it's his, and then when he goes on the video, he sees his name straight away. Because it's going to make him want to watch. Now, you won't be able to hear this, I imagine. So I'm just going to mute it and talk you through it. I'll keep this short and simple. So I've got his links right here. Talking through them that he's doing really well. Instantly, 17 seconds in, I could even do it shorter to be honest, but in this example, 17 seconds in, I go into the free value. So I've written him a full VSL. This isn't like some bullshit, by the way. This is a real VSL I've written for him. And don't worry, I know you're thinking like, oh shit, I cannot write a full VSL. It's going to be a waste of time. I don't even know how to do it. Don't panic. I'm going to show you how to do that in a moment, really quick. But I go through the full VSL. I show him like the top bit, like mainly I talk through it. And then I just skim really quickly through the bottom bit. I don't know how to copy and paste it. So I'm going in depth and explain how good it is. But then I just fly through the rest of it. Because I'm saying, like, if you want to get this link to the VSL, you want me to copy paste it to you, let's just jump on a call, I'll send it over, and we can personalize it a bit more, change some things around. And that's like a very soft call to action, right? So even 1 minute in, I've given him the source, and I've given him a call to action to get on a call with me. Great start. Now, I go back to the Miro board straight after that. Go back to his profiles, doing a bit more of an overview, and I start explaining some funnel gaps. As you see here, explain the current funnel gaps. He's not collecting any emails and stuff. Oh shit, this is going to take me to a random point in the video. Damn. My bad. Right. He's not currently taking any emails in. He's got no lead magnets. He's got a free Telegram, he's got a free Discord, but you can just join up. You just click it and join, which is not very good. So one funnel gap straight away, he needs to be doing that. He's also not got a clear funnel. Everything's free. He's got all his social media. He's got all this stuff. It's very, very confusing. He's not got a funnel. A funnel is something where like you have to go to one thing and then you funnel into the rest. He doesn't have that. So it's very hard as an audience member to actually buy from him. Like if I want to just give him my money right now, it's a struggle. I've got to go through all these different things. And he had this inner circle thing, but it wasn't visible anywhere. Like in his YouTube description, so you join the inner circle, but there was no link. So that was another gap as well. I know there was honestly tons of gaps with this guy, but I didn't really go over them. Some of them too in depth because, like I said, this was a very like someone sent me this guy, and within 5 minutes I recorded this Loom. But yeah, I talked through all that, and then who am I? Again, the exact same thing as last time. Explain who I am. Go through some results from me, my creators, my students. Then I show him Brez's, for example, because I already had this saved in Miro's easier. Show him how we would set up a landing page for him, how we would set up a Typeform application to have people apply, and then the optimized funnel. Again, this is the same as last time because I recorded these both examples. But I showed him how to do it, right? We'd have his YouTube and IG, we'd have lead magnets, then we'd have his application that would either qualify people to the one-to-one or disqualify them to the school. Same shit. Again, this could be further personalized, but for the video, I just thought, what's needed from you? Again, this is the same shit. And then roles and responsibilities, same shit. And then this part, I would have changed for him. You see the value at the end that he can implement without me. But I just copy pasted it. I didn't even remake this. But like in the future, I would just remake that for advice that he can do. But it doesn't really matter because I already went over the advice. I explained to him that he needs to add landing pages for his Discord and Telegram so he can capture emails. And then he needs to be doing email marketing sequences and things like that to push people in the offers. He needs a landing page. He needs a type form. I already went over all the value, but that's what you do. And all of this, you have to remember. Then I go back to it and explain a little bit more value further. Credibility before we even look at working with each other if you want to. But either way, let's jump. Here you go at the end. So I'm basically saying to him, like, look, if you want to work together, it's whatever. But either way, let's hop on a free call. I'll give you the free VSL script. I'll also, between now and the call, write you a 7-day email sequence. So I'm offering him extra value as well to sort of make sure I structure that, seal a deal with that call. And then I go over that. I'm going to explain how to sort of go about all these gaps I've found and how to actually structure it himself. And then at the end, I just say, and if you want me to do it for you and work together, that's cool too. But don't worry, it's not going to be some sales bullshit. I'm going to tell you everything. Then it's your choice whether we go forward or not. So it's very, very like passive. I'm value giving, right? Tomorrow, like 3 p.m. So here, tomorrow at 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. I'm free. So I can do, let's say, 3:30. And again, very, very passively, I'm giving him a time. So he can just reply yes. But I say now, if not, let me know when it works better for you. If not, let me know when works better for you, and I'll also attach my Calendly link if you do want to book in yourself. I've gave him the choice, because preferably a lot of big guys, they just want to be able to say yes and get the call booked in. But he also has the choice to book in himself with my Calendly if he wants. Now, what you're probably wondering, how do you make the free value? How do you make a VSL script? How do you make this? Because if you're doing outreach all day, how do you do this for them? Leverage AI. You can use Poppy, you can use Claude. So let me cut in actually now to another clip, and I'll show you exactly how I use Poppy to create free value for them. So this is Poppy. If you don't know what Poppy is, you can go, feel free to check it out. But pretty much it's an AI software. It has like ChatGPT, Claude, everything built in. But it's like a big whiteboard. It's kind of like a Miro board. It allows you to drag in content like YouTube videos, PDF documents, Instagram, TikTok, images, voice notes, whatever it might be, and sort of connect them to chats. So I've got these groups here, which you can see different things. So we've got 8 critical data points. I've also got these sections up here to help me write cold emails and cold DMs that I don't actually use, and like how I like to do outreach, so it can build me messages. I don't use it, but it's just to help other people, like from Operator Labs, understand how to do it as well, if they don't know how to do it themselves. But then the main section that I use here is this. So we have the creator's brand, which is obviously the guy that I've just showed you. So let's delete him out the way, because I'll show you a real example. And you just drag content in from the creator's brand, like Instagram Reels, YouTube videos, TikToks, emails, could be anything, right? Then we've got all the different types of value I give. So I might write them a YouTube VSL, and I've got like scripts for YouTube VSLs here, loads of content on how to create them. And basically, when I connect this to the chat then understands how to create the perfect YouTube VSL. I hope that makes sense. And obviously I've written this, so it creates it how I want to create it. Then we've got VSL frameworks with tons of different ideas for VSLs, my perfect video sales letter, then also advice from YouTube videos. Again, I can drag that in and it creates a perfect one. Obviously, it's not going to be exactly how I would do it, but that's why we jump on the call and I can customize it a little bit and obviously create real ones for him in the future. But it's just an easy way to create quick stuff that's very, very good. Launch email sequence framework, which is the one I was talking about earlier, like 7-day sequences. Again, the same exact thing. I can just drag that in. Then we've got some other stuff, newsletters, webinars, but yeah, I focus on the top ones pretty much. So, and also the 8 critical data points, it goes through the voice, the story, problems, goals, prevailing statement, main arguments, proof. You can pause this and screenshot if you'd like to, but it just pretty much goes through the different things that are going to help AI create. Now, let me just do me, for now. So I would come on YouTube, go to my channel, and then all you need to do is pick out some videos. So I'm just going to do this really randomly. Let's just copy this one in. Obviously, this is just an example. Sometimes I would add emails, I'd add extra stuff, but I'm going to keep this short and simple for you, because you might not even use Poppy. You might want to use Claude or something like that, which is completely fine. You can do very similar stuff with Claude. It's just obviously a little bit harder to get the transcripts and stuff. But let's just copy 2 YouTube videos for now. Put them in here. And then let's just grab, I haven't been posting much, but let's just grab some IG Reels as well. Again, these are going to be like random ones. I'm not too bothered, to be completely honest, because this is just for the example. But you want stuff obviously where the creator's talking a lot like this, like more personalized, talking a lot, so we can understand the value, can understand what the creator's talking about, all this type of stuff. The more the better. I'm going to keep this nice and short. Let's add one more of these actually. I'm going to keep this as short as I can. This one's good actually. How I make 10k per month again. Let's add this one. So yeah, usually I would fill this whole box, but for this example, this will do. Then all you do is you come down here, you drag it in, and then I would also drag this in because it's the different points for the AI to understand. And we pick out what we want to create. So for this, let's create a VSL. Let's create a VSL. You have to wait for these to load, but they're all loaded now. And then I've got my prompt saved here. I'll go through this as well for you. And every time you create a new chat, so it doesn't have any previous knowledge of any other creators. This is new every single time. Now, using the creator's brand, because that's the name of the group with all the content inside of it, using the creator's brand, create a detailed analysis describing my voice, tone, offer, and topics I discuss. Use the 8 critical data points. Let's send this first. It won't be perfect again because there's not much content, but it's fine. It's going to understand everything about me based on that. And then I'll write the next prompt ready. Now create a VS. In fact, let's think of what type of VSL. Let's do a cold traffic. Create a troll traffic VSL based on the VSL framework for a new high ticket offer I'm running for growth operators. It will be on a landing page with a type form application. I would always give it more context than this, but just to give you an example, obviously understands Operator Labs, you can see this is all about me. Bear in mind, I've only given it a limited amount of content. Straight away, it understands exactly how I speak, all this stuff. And then you just ask it to create you something like this. Obviously, I'm going slow for the video as well. This can be way faster and way simpler. But here you go. Here you go. Here's a full VSL. Full stack growth partner. I've got my name here. Take Eddie. All these different people. Harry. All these people I've worked with. This is for you if, however, I wasn't always successful. Again, all this stuff, right? This is all exactly written in my voice, exactly the way I speak, everything like that, which you've probably noticed. And it goes over very, very true stuff. Value-based economics, scalable systems architecture. Yeah, let's just wait for this to load up. But in the meantime, I can disconnect these. If I wanted to, then I could just attach this and create a launch email sequence as well. But obviously, you get the point by now. And by the way, as well, I do have an affiliate link for Poppy. I'm not trying to promote it or anything. I don't really care. But if you do want Poppy, you can save $25. And I also have it set up so once you buy Poppy with my link, you get all these like pre-built stuff that I've built out, the critical data points, all this extra, all the typing stuff here, all the advice, the launch email sequences, email writing tips, everything like that, you'll get straight away as bonuses. So if you want to do that, the code is Mason, but I'll also put the link below. You can just click on the link and use the code, and you can get Poppy. But trust me, you do not need Poppy. This isn't a sales pitch for Poppy, I promise you that. You do not need Poppy, but if you do want it, the link will be below. If not, you can use Claude. Just get the transcripts of videos. You can just use NoteGBT to get the transcripts of videos like this as well. Get their emails, download them as PDFs, put them into Claude, and just pretty much feed it very similar prompts, and it'll do the same sort of thing. It might not be as good, but it'll definitely still be good enough to use. But yeah, here's the fully fleshed out VSL. Then all I would do from this point, I would start here. You can copy it here, but it's like not very good because it's going to copy it as it's written. Better to copy it like this. The whole thing, copy it, and I would then place it in a Google Doc and then go over it in the Loom for them. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. Now, we've got that out of the way. Let me close that down. And let's get back to it. But that is how you leverage AI to do it, as a basic example. And I'm going to be making a full guide on that pretty soon as well, so make sure you subscribe and everything and stick around because you'll see that full guide. We will go much more in depth on how to use Poppy. Now, how to also optimize outreach with AI. That's how to use AI for the free value, but how do you actually optimize your outreach with AI as well? AI tools like Claude and ChatGPT, obviously Poppy as well, but you don't need that for these simple strategies. You can transform your outreach strategy by generating personalized messages tailored to certain niches, prospects, creating multiple variations of split testing different approaches, analyzing which messages perform the best based on response patterns, refining your voice and style while maintaining authenticity, no bullshit, and scaling personalization without sacrificing quality. You can just simply input your target audience details, desired outcomes, and examples of your voice to generate highly effective outreach messages that you can test and optimize over time. So again, everyone gives advice. I like to give some examples. So here's some ones that I've written for this video. So I'm sending this Instagram message to dropshipping creators in hopes to start a conversation with them regarding helping them scale their coaching/info product offer. Come up with different variations of the following message targeted at a 23-year-old Miami guru, relate to him, and be very casual/friendly. You're Jace, been studying our dropshipping school group, made a quick breakdown of how you can add a high-ticket offer to add at least 20k on your next launch, already mapped out here. This is very similar to the example I went over earlier, right? But then all it does, it gives me 5 different variations, and you can stop and look at these if you want to. But these are all variations that will work based on who he is, a 23-year-old Miami guru. And you can also give it way more information on the client or the creator to make it even more custom to them if you like. Now, this one's a little bit different, as you can see, because it's a very similar thing, training creators, but come up with different variations of the following message, target a 35-year-old, more professional creator, relate to him and talk like I'm in a bar. Because you still want to be very informal, right? I don't want to be, hey man, like a really professional thing. It's just, hey name, I was checking out your funnel and noticed you're killing it with your low ticket group, but damn, you're missing out, da 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 da. And then you can see these are going to be a bit more kind of based at 35-year-old guy. Again, you can pause and take a look at these, but just finish analysing your funnel. Gotta say, you're crushing it. But man, that's like building half the engine. Where's your high ticket offer? And then like look at the end, if you want to grab a virtual coffee and have me walk you through implementation strategies, just let me know. Like again, it's just very based on him. So this is Claude. Just leverage AI like this. You can literally use Claude for free, at least to this level. So definitely do that to make sure your outreach matches the person you're messaging. Cool. You've got your full outreach strategy down now. You know how to do it. You know the warm, you know the cold, you know the looms, you know everything. Please don't complain to me after this. If you want to see anything else, let me know. But this should be everything. I'm trying to go over everything in this video. But now you need to understand, where do you actually reach them at? It's all good to record this and message them, but where do you do it at? So you've got 3 different choices. You've got meet them where they're at, email, Instagram. That's what I would say. There's obviously more choices than that, but this kind of covers them. So meet them where they're at. Creators live, obviously, on different platforms. So I can't give you like one answer for all of this. But finding them where they're most active dramatically increases your chances of getting a response. Many have overflowing Instagram DMs, but empty Discord or Twitter inboxes. Less competition means way higher response rates. So quick platform options might include Discord, join their servers, school, participate in their communities, Twitter or X, engage with tweets, and LinkedIn, connect with personalized notes. Spend 5 minutes researching which platform they post most on frequently before reaching out. This small investment shows you've done your homework and significantly boosts your chance of success. So basically, there's 3 platform options, but this includes every other platform that isn't email, that isn't IG, right? I'm going over everything else here because if they're active somewhere else more than any of those places, you can work on targeting them there. Next, you've got email. Email remains highly effective for outreach, allowing longer form communication that feels more professional than social DMs. For maximum deliverability, it's a bit of advice here, a bit of sauce for you. Use a custom domain email, so like your name at yourbrand.com, instead of gmail.com or Hotmail or whatever the fuck you're using right now. This costs literally about $8 per month through GoDaddy connected to Gmail, like Google Business, and significantly improves open rates. Keep subject lines super simple. Using just their name often works best. Avoid cliches like quick question that screams spam. Please don't do that bullshit. Lead with value always. Follow up consistently if they're opening your emails. Use Streak to track this. There's a few other ones, MailTrack.io. There's so many different softwares. And remember that going the extra mile with personalization is what separates success from failure in the inbox. And obviously we've went over the strategies over here already, so just take them and use them as examples. Next, Instagram. Instagram DMs offer direct access to creators in a casual environment where voice notes and video messages add personality and kind of be more human to your outreach, as we went over previously. Keep messages concise and reference specific content they've posted recently to show genuine interest. The biggest drawback, your messages may get stuck in message requests if the creator doesn't follow you, significantly reducing visibility. To counter this, some sort of ways you can do that is engage their content beforehand, be more warm, I guess, use voice notes to stand out, send during their active hours, so check when they post, and follow up 3 to 4 days after. As messages easily get buried in popular creators' inboxes. So yeah, follow up after 3 to 4 days. I would be following up way more often than that. I don't know what that means. I think it means follow up every day for 3 to 4 days. But either way, yeah. Make sure you're consistently following up and check when they're active and be following up in those times. So you still have it popping up at the top of their screen. So hopefully they see it, especially if it's engaging. Now, outreach messages is just the start. The main thing for outreach, especially when using something like Instagram, is your profile. And my profile here isn't perfect. I'm not even verified. Let me just drag this in. This is just to show you what a perfect thing would look like because this is my new account. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. So, perfect profile. It isn't even this, to be honest, but this is just a lot better than this, as you can imagine. But mine's a bit hard because I'm also targeting like operators, info product agencies, and I'm just starting my content right now. So, this isn't perfect. But you need just cool stories. You need a bio explaining what you do, and you need to just look like a cool guy people want to work with. You don't want an empty profile. Imagine just the best advice I can give you about having your own funnel, having a cool profile, is just put yourself in their shoes. If you were the creator, who would you want to work with out of this choice? Obviously this guy, right? He's verified, he's got an active story, so he's definitely active on the account. Life, he's got wins on there. He's on holiday a lot, showing his lifestyle. He's got reels. And he shows what he does in his bio. Very, very simple, right? And yeah, and he's got some followers. He's not popping, but he's definitely legit. And hopefully you'll have some mutuals with him as well. But yeah, how would you actually optimize your Instagram profile for outreach? Obviously, you can see this example here. This is like perfect. It doesn't have to be like this, especially if you're starting out. You don't need this at the top, but this is a cool way to do it. What you do, some sort of call to action. You don't need a link, especially when starting out, but it's possible. Having a story live, content, wins, clients, life, my story, cars. Just have shit you're interested in. Be a cool guy. Like it says here, when creators check you out after receiving your DM, what they see on your profile determines whether they respond or they ignore you. I promise you, everyone you reach out to checks your profile. They don't just reply straight away. Don't look for desperate clients. Don't look desperate. Show you're already successful through lifestyle photos, content that demonstrates expertise, posts that suggest you're busy and in demand. The cool guy strategy. I don't know if anyone else says this, but yeah, just be the fucking cool guy. Have a profile picture, a clear face shot or lifestyle image that shows personality. A bio, be unique, not generic growth operator language everyone uses, some bullshit. Organize into categories like wins, lifestyle and process, this type of shit. And then curate these first 9 posts carefully because it's your first impression. And remember, creators hire the 20k per month expert or the $10 per hour Fiverr freelancer because of perceived value and authority. Your profile creates that perception before you ever speak with them. And you need to make sure it gives off this vibe. You need to be a cool guy, not just some desperate freelancer in their DMs. Now, you've got the outreach sorted, right? You've got your list, you've got your clients ready to reach out to, you've got your niche, you've got the looms ready. The key is in the follow-ups. It's all good outreaching, but I promise you, pretty much no one replies in the first outreach message. These guys are huge. They're not checking their DMs. So the key is always in the follow-ups. So here's some follow-up strategies. We've got multi-platform first. So switch platforms if no response of 24 to 48 hours. Moving from email to Instagram to Twitter based on where they're most active. Start with value-focused outreach. Then after 3 days, use a secondary platform with a gentle "did you see my message" approach. By day 4, try a third platform with a complete new value angle. Always tailor platform selection to their profession. LinkedIn for B2B, Instagram for creators, and check the active now status as well before messaging. But you can't always do that if they don't follow you back. And keep this in mind as well, because this sort of counteracts. This is why I don't do this strategy I spoke about earlier. What I prefer to do personally is use either Instagram or email, and then this comes in with the follow-ups. So instead of going to where they're active at, I initially send the value and outreach through email or Instagram, and then I use the multi-platform follow-up sequence to land them. So, I send the initial value, and then if they're more active on LinkedIn or whatever, I'll hit them over there. Did you see my email? I sent over a 7-day email sequence, whatever. Let them know I sent over some value. So when they go check it out, I funnel them into the other message. And this allows you to follow up on multiple platforms rather than just one. Value first. So offer personalized assets like quick video audits, funnel diagrams, Miro boards, anything like that provide immediate value regardless of whether they hire you or not. This is very, very similar to the kind of the Loom video thing, but what it means is more in the follow-ups. So as it goes through here, share relevant case studies using the saw this and thought of you approach without explicitly asking for a response. So you've already sent them value, you've already done everything like that. Now, for example, on Instagram DM, if you see a real target at a trading creator, you just shoot it over to them. Hey man, seen this, it made me think of you. This is some advice I would use if I was you. Straight, just pure value, pure advice. And by the law of reciprocity, he's going to want to respond. He's going to want to give you his time because you're giving him free shit and you're not trying to pitch him straight up. Do not explicitly ask for a response, and that's why you get a response. Provide one actionable tip with specific improvements, estimates framed as quick thoughts, rather than comprehensive analysis to maintain a helpful, pressure-free tone. But yeah, make it very, very simple. Don't sound like you try to pitch him. Always be giving value. That's just, in a simple way, what this says right here. Engagement. Consistently interact with their content by liking posts shortly after publishing, leaving thoughtful comments, and using their stories as natural conversation starters. Begin engagement 24 to 72 hours after your initial message. Maintain touch points every 2 to 3 days, and scale back to weekly if you don't see engagement after 4 to 5 attempts. Don't spam them, right? Finding the balance between persistence and respecting their space. And although this says like shortly after publishing, another cool strategy as well, I'm going to just drop in right now real quick. Go back to old posts. Like, if they've got a post from months ago that obviously isn't active anymore, like no one's commenting on that, no one's liking it, go down their profile, find it. If it's like somewhere cool, comment, oh, hey bro, I'm looking at going here. Where is it? Or how did you get here? Or anything like that. They could be in Rome next to the Colosseum, like, hey man, where's this? Obviously you know that. But it's a cool way to sort of get them to at least notice you and maybe respond to you. Just start asking questions. Pop up to their highlights on their stories and things. Hey man, where's this? This looks sick. I want to go here. Stuff like that. Very easy going to get into a conversation. Nurture them, then pitch. Again, obviously after your initial pitch. Psychology. Write follow-ups as if messaging a friend using casual language. Understanding that 97% of initial outreach is typically ignored, as I mentioned earlier, and most deals require between 5 to 15 touches to close. Remove pressure with phrases like, no rush, here when you're ready, while maintaining consistency. Top performers stay persistent, while average people quit after 1 or 2 attempts. This is exactly why you can't land clients. You need to be persistent, using an outreach CRM to understand and track everything, and following up consistently with every single person. Making each additional follow-up exponentially increase your chances of success. If you get consistent with this, it'll really work out. Now, advanced, the last thing, stand out in crowded inboxes by alternating between text, voice notes, and videos while delivering unexpected value. Sticking to one doesn't always work for the reasons I mentioned earlier, but if you can alternate between them all, that's the best thing you can do. Maximize visibility by following up when prospects are active online, reaching out after their content publications, and timing messages during business hours in their time zone when they're most likely to be checking messages. What we said earlier, if they're active, hit them then. But after all that, the best advice I can give you across the board for following up is use common sense, just be human and give value. Don't be coming on some follow-up vibe where you're just spamming question marks. Just give value and be human, and that's what's going to land you a client. And remember, like I said, to track everything in the Outreach CRM, and you can literally get one of these for free if you join the free group in the link below. So don't worry about that. No sales bullshit. Just join the group and get all of our free resources. Now, moving on. Inbound leads. We went over outbound, we went over warm. But inbound leads is very, very important. Maybe not for where you're at right now, but especially long-term for scaling, you want to understand how inbound leads works and how to do it. I'm going to give you a brief example. But attracting inbound leads is essential for building a sustainable client acquisition strategy. By leveraging organic content and paid ads, you can draw potential clients to your offerings without relying solely on outreach. So we've got building a brand and running ads. So building a brand, for example, short-form content, long-form content, newsletter, and then you're going to schedule calls, and then obviously close clients. Running ads, you can build a funnel, create a VSL, run meta ads, schedule calls, and again, close them at the bottom as well. So very, very similar, because you can still, if you have a funnel and a VSL made for the ads, you can still leverage that with your brand because you shoot it in your bio. So either way it works, right? But let's start with building a brand. Attracting inbound leads starts with a strong brand presence. Create valuable content on platforms like YouTube and Instagram, sharing tutorials, insights, funnel breakdowns, whatever it might be, that address common pain points to position yourself as an authority within that niche in that space. Use lead magnets, such as free resources, webinars, Google Docs, whatever it might be, to capture contact information like first name, email, phone number. Nurture these leads with targeted email campaigns that provide ongoing value and build trust. And you've got to look, right? I love cold outreach, but the results of cold outreach are consistent over time. In fact, they do actually scale down because it just gets more and more saturated. The results of building a brand are all the way up here. But it's very bad at the start, right? You're going to struggle at the start. But if you stay consistent, it gets very, very easy at the end. Which is why you should do both. You have the consistency of cold outreach, and in the background, you track your progress, you do content, and you build a brand if you're willing to do that. Next, running ads. Paid ads is a powerful way to attract inbound leads. Use platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Google Ads for targeted campaigns aimed at your ideal clients. Focus on specific pain points and craft compelling ad copy that highlights your service's benefits. Include clear call to actions to drive traffic to your landing pages or lead magnets, and monitor performance metrics to optimize your campaigns. I'm not going to go in depth in how to do ads and stuff. I do have another video on that you can check out if you want to. But yeah. Ads are very simple these days because you just go broad and Meta does all the work. All you need is some cool copy and some cool creatives. Literally, obviously, this is a basic example for a video, but I added the creative videos here, added some ad copy, and published them. That's as simple as it is. And all you need is a funnel like this. We will help you monetize. Obviously, you want to make this more niche specific, have a VSL view here, then have some sort of type form or Go High Level survey. This is all built inside Go High Level, by the way. And we have all these pre-built funnels into the account. I don't know if you've ever heard of my offer. I don't want to make this a sales pitch, but inside Operator Labs, we give you free Go High Level. You get it for free, which is usually $497 per month. You pay for our offer, which is a lot less than that. You get free unlimited accounts. And the best thing of it all, every account is pre-built with our snapshot, which includes every funnel automation pipeline, everything that we've built over 2 years of doing this. So this funnel and many more for this are included in your account. You can just plug in and use them instantly inside Operator Labs. And there's a free trial for that as well. If you want to check it out, click the link below. But yeah, I don't know this to be a sales pitch, but pretty much you can use ClickFunnels or Go High Level to build a funnel like this. But if you combine both organic and paid for a sustainable ecosystem, you're going to bring in clients very, very consistently. Plus, if you combine what we spoke about earlier, the outbound, the warm and the cold, and the personal brand and the paid ads, obviously you're going to get maximum results. Now, that might not be something you can do right now, but when you're scaling, it's going to be great. You don't need both, obviously, to succeed, but combining them creates the most powerful client acquisition system. Start with whichever approach feels most comfortable for you, probably cold, then integrate the other as you scale. Inbound brings you warm leads who are already interested, while outbound lets you target ideal clients directly. Together, if you do it all together, they create a consistent pipeline that doesn't rely on just one method of client acquisition. You get consistent great clients, right? And both leverage each other, because if you're building your own brand and you're outreaching, it still helps you because you build more social proof and you look more valid with more followers, more creators following you, other people working with you. So it kind of benefits across the board. But I am very aware not everyone wants to start off like this. So you can always start with warm and cold. And then if you want to go into inbound later on, you can do that. Now, next we've got creating your pricing / offer structure. So we've got some different pricing models. You can sort of use different ones of these together, but here they are. You've got strictly revenue share, which, as I mentioned earlier, is the main one people like to use, 10 to 30%. People go above that, people go 40, even 50%, but for me, you want to stick between the 10% to 30% range, obviously aiming at the higher end. 20%, sort of 30%, 35 maybe, is where I'd go with rev share. Profit share, you've got 20% to 50%. Setup fee, $500 to $10,000, depending on the situation. Then finally, if it's a monthly retainer, you've got $1,000 to $10,000. I pretty much always stay away from monthly retainers unless it's a client that I really want for a case study. But yeah, the main one is rev share. Profit share comes in when there's different things going on, like a lot of ads being run and stuff like that. You can then go to this strategy. But yeah, focus on revenue share, especially for where you're at right now. If you're a beginner in this space, just focus on revenue share. I wouldn't even be asking for setup fees. Only focus on this. But you can, and you should, especially when scaling, combine different pricing models in your offer. So some combination examples: 1K setup fee plus 20% revenue share, 3K per month retainer and a revenue share, but a smaller one, and then a 3K setup fee plus a 45% profit share. Obviously, profit shares will always be higher because you're only getting a percentage of the profit, right? How do you juice up offers and make it sound better where people want to work with you? You add guarantees, strong guarantees to enhance value. If I don't increase your offer by this %, you don't pay me, or I'll keep working with you for free until we do. Anything like that. Scarcity, communicate genuine scarcity, urgency, everything like that. You know, there's 2 spots left to work with me, this time limit, whatever it might be. Pricing psychology, higher prices can enhance perceived value. That's obvious. You have different offers to leverage different ones with each other, like the McDonald's strategy with their drinks. But yeah, that type of shit. Begin with done-for-you services to build expertise, which is what everyone focuses on in this space, the growth operating space. But with scale, you can add done-with-you and do-it-yourself options to serve more clients and maximize profits without overextending. So I'll go into these. You've got the core services done for you, right? This is what you should be doing right now. You shouldn't even be worrying about this stuff right now. But I want to give you a brief overview of how you can make a lot of money, literally like 7 figures in this space, easily, if you actually scale and put the work in. As a done-for-you growth operator, info product agency, these are the core services. A few examples: you've got the market research, you build out funnels, you do the copywriting for all the VSLs, emails, everything like that. The sales system build out, the back end build outs, the automations and things like that. The sales team placement and management, you manage all the sales guys. You can actually bring on a sales manager in the future if you want to, but starting out, obviously you can't do that. Content management, hiring and outsourcing is your job. Assistance with product and fulfillment's your job. And then you sort of get like a 1K setup fee or 5K setup fee, like it could be anything. And then usually a rev share. Next, you've got coaching implementation. So more of a done with you. You've probably seen a few guys in this space doing this. You have your own coaching program for coaches and creators. They pay you to work with you, and then you provide hands-on support, resources, and coaching for a number of days. So like usually at 90 days or 180 days. They get access to templates, SOPs, training resources, obviously like one-to-one or group coaching sessions, implementation support, and progress tracking. So they pay like 10k for 90 days access, for example. Basically, they pay, you give them the resources and the training they need to launch and sort of monetize their own coaching program without giving someone a revenue share, which works as well, especially when you're scaling. If you do this first and build up the sort of testimonials and credibility, you can then transition to this. So you can work with people done for you when they're a big client. But if you have smaller clients coming on board, you don't have to disqualify them. You just offer them coaching, and then you get a big upfront fee. So it's a really good way to scale massively. And then finally, licensing, even more scalable. You have access to pre-built SOPs, templates, and training materials for independent implementation. There's no coaching on this. They literally just pay you and get all the SOPs and everything. Customizable templates, SOPs, training, updates, and support. And then they pay like a 5k sub fee. I'm sure you've seen Gym Launch, like Alex Hormozy. That's kind of the stuff they did. They did the licensing model. Cool. Now, closing partnerships, the last sort of section of this signing clients. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you've been taking some notes. And I have been flying through it. My apologies, but I do like to just give this like no fluff sauce to talk straight through it as quick as I can while still giving you every bit of value. And I really do believe this is the best trading video, free value, free training, whatever, in this space on YouTube, 100%. Let me know if you disagree, but I really do. I'm going into everything in this, no holdbacks. So, an overview. Closing partnerships is about finding the right fit, not just making sales. Success depends on mutual alignment and the ability to deliver results. Your goal is to demonstrate value while qualifying if the partnership is right for both parties. You're not just desperate, right? You need to make sure it's right. This section covers both strategic frameworks and practical human elements, different things you can do. So, mindset. I hate mindset bullshit, but for sales, it's definitely a huge part. Firstly, be human. This is just a natural conversation between two people, not some robotic pitch. Stay confident. You're offering genuine value. If they make money, you make money. So there's nothing to be worried about. Be authentic. Talk like you chime with a friend at a bar, not delivering a memorized script, which is why you should never have a script. You can have some sort of framework, but never use a script. Remove attachment to yes. Focus on whether you can genuinely help them. The best clients are perfect puzzle piece fits. Adopt a helper mentality. You're solving their problems, not selling them. Remember that. They have issues. They can't monetize their audience. You can. You're helping them out. There's no sort of sales. You're not scamming them. And remember the win-win. A successful partnership benefits both parties. Again, going over it as well, stay confident. There's no need to be nervous because you're helping them, probably more than you're helping you. And from that point, based on your outreach, your follow-ups, the looms, you need to choose your closing approach. You've got one close strategy and two call close strategy. So first, one call close, most common I would say, a streamlined framework where you build rapport, gather insights, present your offer and close all in a single call. When to use? High commitment level shown during pre-call stage, tight timelines, client wants quick results, trust already exists, some sort of prior relationship or credibility. Pros, obviously it saves time, creates momentum with decisive clients, and it avoids loss of interest between calls. The cons, it requires a thorough pre-call prep. May overwhelm clients who need processing time, and it might seem like you try to sell them, and there's less room for building trust with uncertain clients. Then we've got the two-call clause. It splits the sales process into two calls. First for discovery and relationship building. Second for presentation and closing, actually making the sale, I guess. So when to use? Uncertain or hesitant clients, not ready to decide immediately. High complexity partnerships, requiring tailored solutions, and value presentation requiring additional preparation, so like MVPs, roadmaps, all that type of stuff, right? So some pros of this: obviously there's more time to build trust and credibility, there's opportunity to demonstrate expertise through prepared materials, and it aligns with clients who need time to decide. The cons of this: there's much more time intensive than one call approach, of course. Not only just the calls, you've got to be following up, you've got to be keeping in touch with them in between, and there's risk of losing momentum between calls. So that's the different two calls to use. We can go more into that, but yeah, I wouldn't worry too much. Basically, you do it all in one call, or you do it on two. You just split the sequence in two, which I'll explain in a moment. So pre-call prep, setting yourself up for success. You can't just jump into a call. You need to sort of do some sort of preparation, especially if it's a one call close. Research extensively, study the creator's brand, history, and current offers that they've already got, their funnel, whatever it might be. Identify bottlenecks, so note potential issues and opportunities before the call, have that set out already. Review their info, have their stats and background in front of you, ready to go as soon as you're on the call, you know everything. Create optimal environment, obviously remove all the distractions, this one's obvious. Turn off phone, turn on DND, close tabs, everything. Physical prep, have a pen and paper ready for notes. Pen and paper is always the best for notes on a call, because you actually look like you're doing something, not just ignoring them. Mental prep, again, some mindset bullshit, but it does work. Close your eyes, take 5 deep breaths, ensure you're well rested, fed, and hydrated, and it's just going to be setting you up for success in the best way possible. There's nothing else you can really do, right? Now, the actual closing call. So here's our pre-call prep. You now know what strategy you're taking. How do you do it? Firstly, stop panicking. When they get on a call with you, they're pretty much pre-sold from the Loom you sent. Otherwise, why would they be hopping on a call with a random? Always remember that. You just need to discuss the roadmap, details, and gain authority, and that's it done. Think of the closing call as more of a business partnership discussion. You aren't trying to close them on a high-ticket offer. Instead, you're pitching them on a crazy no-brainer offer, no cash up front. It just makes sense, right? If you were them, you'd take it. So here's the framework. Relationship building, 5 to 10 minutes. Again, you can pause it if you'd like to and look at it properly, but there's no script. Just follow a framework. Just start, be their friend. That's what this is. Set the frame, clarify what the purpose of the call is, outline what you'll cover, establish that you're evaluating fit on both sides. This isn't just some like sales call. You try and make sure this is going to work. Situational questions. So you can ask their current result to their transformation, experience in their field, current offers, peak and last month revenue, then their acquisition channels as well. Goal awareness, why they might benefit from working with you, financial goals, lifestyle goals, mission/vision for their education company. Problem awareness, current struggles preventing goal achievement, main business bottlenecks and how business affects personal life. Delivering value, so the strategy I went over earlier with delivering value, this is where you give them it on the call. So present promise insights, whether it's the VSL script we went over, the 7-day email sequence we went over, whether it's a Miro board breakdown, the roadmap, VSL analysis, email review, whatever it might be. If you didn't promise them value, you can skip this part, but I would always recommend bringing something up, just making it more value driven for them. Just fit something in. Customize recommendations based on what you've learned. Demonstrate expertise naturally by explaining the why behind suggestions. And focus on 2 to 3 high impact insights rather than overwhelming them. And then obviously connect each insight directly to their goals, what they want to achieve. This is going to help you with this is this, right? Commitment check, 3 to 5 minutes. Just gauge how committed they are to making changes. Determine if they're ready to actually act now. Are they ready to make this deal and get going? Breakdown. Analyze what they're doing wrong. Outline necessary changes. Explain your offer structure. And then obviously clarity, address questions and concerns, ensure complete understanding before going into your pitch, which is just where you present your offer, collect payment if you're using a setup fee returner, and then sign contract if ready. If not, you can get them to sign afterwards. If they've paid a setup fee or whatever, there's no worries, they're going to work with you either way. And to be honest, no matter what, if they're committed, they're ready to work, it's fine, but preferably get them to sign it on the call. Cool. Partnership contract. How do you actually make a contract? I get a lot of questions about this, so I wanted to include this in here as well. And again, we're literally going over everything, which is quite crazy. This video probably will be pretty long, but I just want to have no questions asked after this. This is like, if I had like a mid-ticket course, this is what it would be. I have a low-ticket offer, I have a high-ticket offer. Let me just be real. But my high-ticket offer, I guarantee you a client, I work directly with you one-to-one. It's no program bullshit. And my low-ticket offer, don't get me wrong, you get course material, you get all my SOPs, all my frameworks, but I'm selling systems at the end of the day. You get free Go High Level. You get everything in there. You get everything I've built out. You get everything my agency uses doing this business pre-built into your business. It's not some sort of course modules thing. And if I did have course modules, this is what it would be. This is the free version of that, right? So I'm just trying to give you everything in this video. So simplicity, don't overcomplicate the contract process, focus on clarity and mutual understanding, and remember, the contract is about protecting both parties and setting clear expectations. Key elements, you've got partnership terms, clearly define the partnership payment terms, scope of work, outline exactly what services you'll provide, or at least an overview of them. Payment structure, detail how and when the payments will be processed, who's getting paid and when. Duration, obviously the length of the partnership, that's very important, and the conditions for renewal. And lastly, and finally, and probably one of the most important ones, termination clauses. Define how either party can end the partnership if needed. Is there a time limit? Is there this? Whatever it might be, right? You need to have that in there. Content creation. like, it's so simple, right? You just need some sort of partnership agreement, that's all it is. Use an agreement template as a starting point. Consider using ChatGPT or Claude to help draft or customize your contract. And for most partnerships, a basic service agreement is sufficient. Focus on the percentages and deliverables. These are what matter the most. I've got 2 examples here. I've got my actual one I use in my agency, which is very, very long because we offer a lot of different stuff of bonuses and things like that. But I also have a very simple operating agreement that works perfectly, that I've always used previously to actually having the agency up and running. So I'm going to give you this for free. You can get my full agreement in Operator Labs if you want to hop in. But if you don't, that's completely fine. Hop in the free group, and I'm going to give you this contract that you can start using today. And you literally plug this into ChatGPT if you want. Get ChatGPT to fill it out, or you just fill it out yourself. Either way, very, very simple. But cool. Now, you've got the contract ready. You've got it made. How do you send it? Send the contract same day or during the closing call. Schedule a follow-up call for the next day to get started, and use digital signing platforms like DocuSign, PandaDoc, or GHL. I would usually stay away from GHL for this, but if you're in Operator Labs, you get GHL for free, so you may as well use it. But it's very expensive. It's just document signing, of course. Obviously, it's just for convenience. Keep the momentum going. Don't let too much time pass between closing and starting. It says here the next day, but max 48 hours. So I'm going to fit on the screen. But yeah, max 48 hours, 100%. Between the closing call and starting. You don't want to wait any longer than that. They're going to lose interest. You're going to lose interest. It needs to be quick. Now, some limited beliefs that you're probably thinking right now. No one's going to get sued over this anyway. While this may often be true, you still need a contract. A clear contract prevents misunderstandings and sets professional expectations. The most important aspect is clarity on percentages and responsibilities. This is something that both of you can refer back to in the future and remember the deal structure. And no one can argue about it because you both signed it. So if they're like, oh, but I thought I was meant to do this part, you were doing this part, here's the contract, let's check it out. Whatever's right is right. So you need to have it. Finding the perfect fit, culture fit, fun to work with, trusting, hardworking, ability to deliver. Can you genuinely help them achieve results? Financial qualification, can they afford your services? And then you've got red flags to watch for on the closing call as well. Unrealistic expectations, unwillingness to take advice, they want to take the reins on everything. History of frequently changing partners, and finally, excessive focus on price rather than the value they're giving. So, some limited beliefs you have in total about closing. I'm not good at sales. Remember, you're not selling. You're determining if you can help them. When you focus on genuine value and fit, the partnership literally sells itself. I'm so bad at sales, or at least I believe myself to be, but recently I've been selling so well because I believe in what I'm selling. I have confidence in my own stuff and everyone I work with stuff, and because of that, I sell very, very easily. I need to close everyone I talk to. The best operators, the best agencies are selective. Saying no to the wrong fit is just as important as saying yes to the right one. Your reputation depends on successful partnerships, not quantity. There's no point in saying, oh, I've got 10 clients if they're all doing 2K. You want 3 clients doing 50K, right? Creators will think I'm just after their money. When you lead with value and structure a revenue share model, you're demonstrating that you only succeed when they succeed. This alignment of interest builds trust. I don't have enough experience / case studies. Everyone starts somewhere. Remember, at one point I didn't either. This guy didn't either. This guy didn't either. So stop with excuses. Stop with the bullshit. Everyone starts somewhere. Focus on the specific value you can provide and be transparent about where you are in your journey. Many creators appreciate working with hungry, dedicated partners who are building their portfolio. And like I mentioned earlier, you can just leverage funnel breakdowns to show your value, your expertise. I'll get nervous and forget what to say. Prep builds confidence. Know your value proposition inside and out, but don't memorize a script. Focus on having a genuine conversation rather than delivering a perfect pitch. And remember, you're never going to fix this without having on calls. And what's the worst thing that can happen? Even if it doesn't go well, they just say no, you move on to the next. So just get on calls as many as you can. Cool, it's time for the sauce. How do you actually execute and plan 7-figure launches? How do you actually set up beta launches? How do you run them up? Let's get straight into this one. So, first of all, I want to go over, skip to launching and printing cash, right? If you want to, you can work with me one-on-one, get a guaranteed client, and have me and my team scale them with you in a partnership. So I get minority rev share, you get majority rev share, and obviously then the client's got a rev share as well. This means that you don't have to do anything that we talked about in the first half of this video. You can skip and just start your journey at this point because you literally get a guaranteed client and then we just start launching and printing cash together. So if you want to do that, you can just click the link below. But either way, let's get on to it. When you're executing 7-figure launches, we're going to go over client onboarding call, requirements to actually launch the offers, the beta launch strategy, the back-end system setup, different types of offers, crafting the offer, and then finally offer requirements. So, first with the onboarding call. The foundation for a successful launch starts with a structured onboarding process. You need everyone to understand where they're at, what's going on, and getting onboarded correctly. So why does it matter? It sets the foundation for your entire working relationship. It prevents buyer's remorse by reinforcing their decision. You need them to carry on believing and understanding why they've made this deal with you. You don't want them to regret it and want to go back on it, because that'll just never work out for either of you, right? It aligns expectations on goals, timeline, and responsibilities, which, trust me, is necessary. If you don't do this, it's going to really bite you back in the long term. And finally, it demonstrates your professionalism and expertise. Pro tip, if you schedule within the 48 hours of signing, you'll maintain much more momentum. You need to schedule the onboarding call fast, and then you can get started really quick straight after that. Now, in the onboarding call, you need to make sure you cover confirming the previous agreement, what you've actually talked about, what the deal that you've struck, current funnels or offers that are currently running, what are they selling, if anything, everything they know about their demographic and their audience, everything they know about their niche and their content, and then are people already interested in getting help from the creator? So people could be DMing them saying like, hey, do you do one-on-one mentorship? Can you help me do this? How do I start? These type of things. If people are asking those questions, then they already have interest built up. Define the roles and responsibilities between you and the creator or the client. What are you going to be doing? What are they going to be doing? And what are you both responsible for? And then finally, establish clear goals. Where do you want to get to? Where do they want to get to in the next 3 months, year, whatever it might be? So first, client responsibilities. We've kind of went over this at the start of the video, but consistently posting content across all their active social platforms, building social proof and trust on the platforms through their content instruction. No like bullshit entertainment content. They need to be given education, showing social proof, showing testimonials, reviews, results, building way more trust, right? Push all their traffic from the platforms into their new offer/funnels that you build, and then fulfill for the paying clients by attending one-on-one coaching calls or group coaching calls every single week. Very, very easy, right? Your responsibilities, got some examples here. You might not have to do everything here straight away, but here's kind of the basic idea of your responsibilities. Tailor content strategy for the launches that pushes maximum traffic and brings in the most revenue. Build and refine sales funnels to effectively convert traffic into leads and customers. Oversee the complete setup of backend systems, including a CRM, automations, and payment processing. Don't worry, we'll be going over all of that if you don't understand how. You'll be facilitating one-on-one coaching sessions or group calls, ensuring all materials are prepared in advance. So you'll just be there to help along, help people understand, help create the content for the calls, obviously any materials. It could be like kind of a little mini webinar. You could kind of prepare the slides, the Google Docs, whatever it might be. Manage audience interaction, social media, promoting community engagement and connection. So you could set up ManyChat call to actions in their different videos, in their bio, in their stories, to just drive more and more traffic and drive engagement and interaction too. Analyze performance metrics and provide the client with insightful reports on content effectiveness. You know, this type of content is doing really well. This isn't. It might be getting a lot of views, but it's not giving us any revenue. You need to really be able to track that and bring that back to them so they understand what to focus their time onto. Building out the full offer and product for launching. So it could be a community, a course, mentorship, could be literally anything. Whatever info product it might be, it's your responsibility to actually build that out, obviously with the assistance of them. Client support and management, you'll be onboarding clients to the offers, dealing with issues, and you'll be dealing with payment problems as well. And then finally, building out and hiring a full sales team for the offers and products. So that's the responsibilities. Next, you've got access and tech setup. So still on the onboarding calls, you need to sort of collect any necessary logins. So you can log into their Instagram, for example, gather brand and client assets, any images, logos, whatever you might need, and then assess tech stack needs. So with it just being a beta launch for now, you only need the minimum viable tech. So that might be Typeform, Go High Level, whatever it might be. We'll be getting into that very, very soon. But you don't want to get loads of logins and different tech for things that you don't really need. Just start with a really, really simple funnel, and then you can build out from there. And you can leverage platforms like LastPass because it allows you to get their login details without them giving you your password. It sort of creates like an encrypted password temporary so you can log in without knowing their details and changing it and stuff, just to make them a little bit more reassured and safe that you're not going to kind of run off with their account. Documentation and follow-up, provide a concise and clear onboarding document or overview, and then establish communication channels and set up check-in calls. So that might be WhatsApp, Slack, whatever it might be. Then you can set up just sort of check-in calls with them every week or twice a week, depending on the situation. And then just set up immediate next steps for you and for the client. Now, that's the onboarding call done. Everything's out the way. Now it's time to actually get into the launch with a beta launch strategy, You might have heard of this before as kind of like the cohort method, type form method. People call this anything, right? But pretty much it's a beta test of the launch. So you do sort of like a very small, minimal version of a launch, test it out, see how it does, then scale from there. So this is how you do a beta launch. First, purpose and benefits. Gives you client validation. Is the client's audience even worth your time? This person you've worked with, is their audience actually going to spend money and buy something? We'll figure that out quick with a beta launch, because if not, it's just completely waste of time. And like I said, here, time wasting. Save the time of setting up a full offer/funnel without knowing if they're even going to be profitable, if they're even going to make money. Market validation. Test your offer with real customers before full investment and setting everything up. Leverage. Generate them cash up front so you can take a higher rev share, or maybe add on a setup fee as well, because you're going to have much more leverage once you've made them some money. Real feedback. Gather insights from paying customers, not just opinions and market research from random followers. Social proof. Generate testimonials and case studies for your full launch. Initial revenue. Start earning while refining your offer. The best thing is when you get paid on the job. And then risk reduction. Identify and fix issues before scaling. So that's the purpose and benefits of actually doing a beta launch. Now, how do you actually prepare for the launch before? First, choose your offer type. So, you've got high ticket, you've got low ticket, mid ticket, whatever it might be. Things you need to consider: the niche that you're in, the demographic of the audience you're in. Is it kind of like a younger, maybe third world country TikTok audience? Because if so, that's going to massively play a part in this. What platforms are they on, and do they already sell anything? Always prefer high ticket for beta launches when possible. I do high ticket on every beta launch I do. You can launch like mid ticket, low ticket, but high ticket's a lot easier, especially for a beta launch. You get high quality participants who are more invested, more revenue with fewer clients to manage, better feedback from serious customers, and it's easier to scale down than scale up in pricing, much easier. And it sets proper value expectation for the full launch. So if you are doing a high ticket offer, it's sort of between 2K to 8K one time. They're going to get either one-on-one coaching or group coaching with some sort of guarantee. That's as simple as it is, right? They're buying access. That's all a beta launch is. They want access to the career. They don't want some bullshit 40-hour course. They don't want systems. They don't want anything. All they want is access, and that's what they get in these different coaching calls, whether it's group or one-on-one. One-on-one is always preferred, but obviously some creators aren't able to do that, or whatever it might be. So then we offer group coaching. Now, what goes into a high ticket offer? You can literally just set up a direct type form link, a landing page with an application, which is the type form, then finally a sales team and process. You can actually do the sales yourself at the start, which is what I recommend, but if you want, you can hire a sales team, and I'll get into how to do that later on in the video. It'll look something like this. So here's what Tomex helps us create a setup, very, very simple funnel with an apply now that goes to a type form. That looks a bit like this. This isn't a demo one that I made, but it's just very, very simple. You can make this in ClickFunnels or Go High Level. Obviously, I recommend Go High Level. It's much, much simpler. ClickFunnels is a great platform, by the way, but the price you pay for ClickFunnels, you can get Go High Level, which includes so much more. And obviously, you can get Go High Level for complete free if you join Operator Labs, the link below, but I don't want to call to action that. Too much bullshit. Just know if you want that for free without paying the $497 per month, you can just join Operator Labs and get a free trial. But anyway, when to consider low ticket. So that's high ticket. How do you actually know when to do low ticket? Creators with large established audiences who can convert volume. And obviously most of you guys when you're starting out won't be dealing with these people, which is why I wouldn't even usually worry about it at all. But if you do come into someone with a huge, huge audience who are going to convert so much volume, then you can consider low ticket or mid ticket. And when you need a higher number of beta testers for statistical validation. If your product naturally has a low price point, so like templates, small tools, obviously I usually stay away from this sort of stuff, but if you need to do that, then you can do low ticket. And when testing price sensitivity in a new market. Plus, if you're planning a high ticket upsell on the back end, though not ideal for beta testing, keep that in mind. Because I do this for a lot of offers, I start with low ticket, but as soon as they come into it, we're selling them, we're getting them on the phone, we're trying to pitch them on a high ticket mentorship. But obviously, you don't want to set up that whole process for a beta launch. It just makes no sense at all. So, what is a low ticket offer? You can do like sort of $97 to $997 one time, or maybe $30 to $197 per month. This can be changed. It could go even less than this or higher than this. It just kind of depends, but this is sort of the range we're looking at. And it's usually something that's hosted on WAP, School, or Discord. They get maybe some weekly group calls, which again is access. They get course or training content, and they get regular updates. Depending on the offer, the price, and the size of the coach or creator, They could get maybe just one of these things, or they could get all three. Obviously, inside Operator Labs, you get everything. You get weekly group calls, you get the course and training content, you get regular updates, and you got the pre-built systems too. But my offer is insane. But just trust me, that's not normal. A lot of people do just have kind of one of these things, maybe even just a paid community with nothing else in it. It just sort of depends on the situation. So you can't just take like these as granted. It just completely depends. This is how mine looks. It's just a WAP page. I haven't built out a funnel or anything for it. I used to use a funnel, but now it's just much easier to do WAP for the low ticket. I don't really care too much. It's $97 per month with a 3-day free trial. You get all these things. It's a big no-brainer offer, right? But again, it's a very, very simple setup. There's also the free group, and then you've got all the reviews, and then you've got the VSL and different testimonials and reviews and things like that. Very, very simple setup. Now, when you're doing low ticket, you need to choose a platform. If the group is just for a course, I'll likely use School, as it's very, very simple for this type of thing. If the group has lots of community parts, information, onboarding, things like that, then I usually choose Discord or WAP. And eventually, I want to fully use WAP over Discord. I've moved my offer from Discord fully into WAP, but some of the people I'm working with are still using Discord, but there is plans to change that soon. Offer structure. Create a simplified version of your full offer, so like 70 to 80% complete. All we're looking to do is bridge the gap between their current situation and the desired situation. So the audience might be at this point, and we're using the offer to bridge the gap and get them to this point. Price it at 30 to 50% discount from planned full price. This isn't necessary. If people are willing to buy no matter what, you can put this up. It just depends. And then you want to limit it to 10 to 20 spots to ensure quality feedback and create scarcity. Plus, include extra support and access as compensation for beta status. Because as it's a beta launch, they don't get what they might get in the full launch. They don't get all the training material, the course, the pre-built systems, like whatever you might be giving them. All they get is access. So for that, we give them a little bit extra support and access, maybe extra calls, a little bit cheaper. We kind of make up for it, right? And obviously, the simplified version of your full offer, whatever you plan to have in the future, just create a bit more of a simple version of that and then knock some discount off. And again, sell access. Everyone wants access. They're paying to talk to you exactly like this. Now, how do you price it, right? Value-based. Always focus on value-based. Price-based on the transformation value, not just cost of delivery, because obviously in this scenario that'd be very, very cheap. So we want to price it on the transformation that they're going to get by paying. Test different price points to the small audience segment and create payment plan options to increase accessibility. We just do this directly through WAP. Establish clear value comparison, so what they get versus what they pay. What they get should be always worth 10 times what they pay, which is what you get in my offers. You get 10 times the value than what you pay. Risk reversal strategy. Design appropriate guarantee for beta participants. So example might be this many dollars or this percent extra, and I'll keep working with you for free. Prepare trust building elements, credentials, previous results, creator expertise, like all these case studies and things like that. And develop responses to common objections before they even arise. Answer everything before they even bring it up, so they're ready to just pay. And then you want to send them over a roadmap before starting anything. So once you've got this whole beta launch plan that we just went through, everything's ready to go, you need to put it out into some sort of roadmap to show the creator or coach, get them on board with it, have them sort of tick the boxes, agree with you, maybe bring you some extra ideas as well. That would look something like this. This is just something I brought from one of my other videos on my board. This is exactly what it looks like. You're going to show them how you're going to get traffic, nurture, and close, break down the full funnel for them in a very, very simple roadmap. This could look as similar to this or as different to this as you please. Now, how do you actually process payments? There's so many different options for processing payments. This isn't just like a very, very simple answer. But what I use personally is Fanbasis and WAP. Very, very simple platforms. You can see how simple they both look, honestly. WAP looks a bit more complicated because I actually use it. There's a lot more stuff inside there. But Fanbasis, yeah, same thing, but very, very similar, very, very simple. And it's just great, honestly. Obviously, these are demo accounts, just Operator Labs and my agency, V2. Plus, with both of these options, you can finance for high ticket. Plus, you get less chargebacks and problems because they handle that for you. And you can pay out the team from the dashboard. So whatever money comes in, you can just start paying that out to the sales team, to yourself, then the creator or coach can just cash out the final amount rather than have them cash out through Stripe or whatever and then pay you your cut. So just much simpler that way. There's so many benefits to using these platforms, But you can also use things like Zelle and stuff just for like 0% fees. It's just a nightmare when you look at a scale. When you look at a scale, you want to have platforms like this on board. And it's very, very easy for you to get paid too, because you can just get paid from the dashboard directly. And if you're logged in, you're admin, you're handling everything, you can just pay yourself out before paying out the creator or coach. So it just keeps it very simple. Now, the application system setup, so the type form. All you need to do is collect the name, number, and email. This could be at the beginning, or it could be at the end, either way. Collect their IG username. It's a cool place to just kind of check back in with them. Collect their age and their location. We're going to use this for financing through Fanbasis and WAP in the future. 2 or 3 niche related questions, so like what's your experience with X? What's the biggest problem you're facing with X? You can get as creative or as not creative as you want with this. Then finally, some sort of budget related question. So what are you willing to invest to learn X or get to X goal? With usually 4 different options. And again, you can get more creative with this to make it less kind of budget based, like make it more simple and like, you know, how long have you been working? How much are you earning monthly? Like you can ask in any sort of way. You can ask very clear or very subtly, because some people don't want to answer budget questions. It just sort of depends. And then this is kind of how it will look. You have contact details, short answer, number answer, multiple choice, long answer, multiple choice, just to show you in case you want to do it. And then we set up some sort of logic. So if they are qualified, they can just book a call straight away. Landing page setup, very, very simple. I've used Brez's for an example. I just pulled this from my existing Miro board from his funnel breakdown. You've got hero text at the top, which is here. It's very, very small in this funnel. Subtext, again, you can see that. VSL, obviously here, video sales letter. Button to apply now. And then wall of testimonials, you can see he's got way more below this as well. VSL setup, call out the ideal customer, benefits of watching the VSL at the start, client storytelling, pitch/offer, what is the actual offer, then obviously objection handling of like kind of any objections that might already come up, handle them before they even come up, right? And then you can just go high level for this, or you can use these special, I guess, hosting platforms. VTurb is literally made, and Vidalytics is literally made for VSLs, and they got Wistia as well, which is great. But honestly, most of the time I just use GHL, because obviously you get it free inside Opera Labs and it's really, really simple. But if you're looking to scale with some sick stuff, these platforms are the best. Next, we got CRM setup. The main one I use, and I'd recommend you use, is Go High Level, the same platform we just talked about. But there is other options like Close, which works great for basic operations and sales teams. And you can even use Notion too, which is free, so that's great as well. You have to pay for like Teams and stuff, but just starting out, that's free. But the main one I use is Go High Level, because it just works across the board. It's got a very, very simple setup like this, all the pipelines, but then they also link to the automations and stuff, just to make it very, very minimal, the work, because I automate everything based on forms and stuff. If you do want Go High Level's best plan without the $497 per month price tag, like I said earlier, you can join Operator Labs and link below. It's my low ticket, by the way. This isn't some high ticket course bullshit. If you join Operator Labs, you're going to get full unlimited Go High Level access, literally unlimited accounts included, plus my custom built snapshot with all the workflows, funnels, and automations I've developed over 2 years of running successful beta launches. And if you prefer to work with me one-on-one, you'll also receive free unlimited Go High Level access as well, and my pre-built snapshots as part of our partnership. So either way, both links are below. You can jump in and work with me one-on-one directly, and you'll still get free Go High Level. Or if you just want the course material, the weekly calls, and the Go High Level, you can jump in Operator Labs. Now, back to it, right? Pre-launch marketing. How do you actually market pre-launch, hype everything up? Massively hyping up pre-launch isn't necessary if it's going to be an ongoing thing. You can just launch and proactively market through organic, and possibly paid as well, usually meta ads. But if you're doing limited spots, which I recommend for beta launches, then I'd recommend building it up before the launch to maximize the revenue, use scarcity, urgency, build FOMO, I guess. We're going to use the tactic of whispering, teasing, and shouting. As soon as the plan is in place, start promoting by whispering and teasing, and you can do this as late as 1 week prior. But obviously, as soon as you got the plan in place, I would instantly start whispering and then teasing. So you've got Instagram, you've got email, and you've got YouTube. How do you whisper, tease, and shout across these different platforms? The goal is to get people excited and collect as much data as possible, their first name, email, phone, and whatever extra that you want. Set up a wait list and leverage lead magnets to build the lead list before the launch. So if you want to look at this, some examples as well. You've got high engagement, hard to consume, low engagement, and easy to consume. And then obviously high leads, So we're looking for a lead magnet that's sort of high quality lead with high engagement, but obviously that's also going to mean it's hard to consume too. So it sort of depends. You need to weigh up the pros and cons of each of these boxes. But usually I'll aim for kind of a online training, webinar, email course. Then sometimes you have kind of ebooks, case studies, resource sheets. But it just depends, right? Because these ones are going to be much lower quality leads than these ones. But if you need more and more data, it's going to be a lot easier to build up a lead list by using this. Now, I hope it makes sense. You can pause and screenshot that if you'd like to understand it a bit further. Use ManyChat and landing pages to automate the process, plus add all the leads to a CRM. So once you've got the lead magnet made and set it up, connect it to some sort of funnel or something like that, and then set up a ManyChat automation, which you can literally get by joining Operator Labs. We'll give you all of our pre-built ManyChat automations. Or you can just build them yourself. They are pretty simple. When someone DMs you a keyword, you're going to give them the certain free lead magnet thing, and then ManyChat can nurture them as well to get them to join your product when it comes out. And you can also add tags to them, which sends them to your CRM, like Go High Level, pretty simply. So, whispering. How do you actually whisper on the different platforms? The goal is to plant subtle seeds about an upcoming project, but don't let anything out, right? So don't reveal any specifics. Create curiosity and anticipation through vague hints. Been working on something game-changing behind the scenes. Can't wait to share what I've been creating for the past 3 months. And if you're struggling with X, I've got something coming that might change everything. Even just like this, I'm dropping something exciting real soon for you lot. Then, after that, we've got teasing. Reveal more concrete details while building excitement. Show glimpses of the offer and set a certain launch date. Share behind the scenes screenshots or images. Here's a sneak peek of the framework that's helped my clients achieve X result. Mark your calendar, date, something big is coming. And then obviously just provide valuable content related to the upcoming offer. Finally, we've got shouting. We're getting close to the launch now. Full promotion with clear CTAs. Create urgency with deadlines and leverage social proof to drive maximum conversions. So you've got things like this, right? Applications are now open. Click the link to apply. Share testimonials and case studies from previous clients or beta testers. Only 24 hours left before applications close forever. We've already accepted 15 participants. Only 5 spots remain. All this type of stuff is what you're going to be posting on launch day and up to launch day. Now, everything's ready. The pre-launch marketing is ready. How do you actually execute a launch? The fastest way to validate your offer is through a streamlined beta launch. Focus on clear messaging across all your primary platforms, whether email, Instagram, YouTube, or existing communities. Set up a simple tracking system to monitor applicants and conversions, and handle sales calls yourself initially to gain invaluable market insights directly from customers. This hands-on experience will prove crucial as you refine your offer and eventually scale your operations. If you do want/need a team, we will go over that shortly, so don't worry. But I always do recommend for everyone inside my programs and who listens to me, start on your own because it's going to build your experience. You can't hire for a job that you've never done yourself. You don't even understand what makes someone good or not. But if it's necessary, then you can do that. And we will go over that soon. So, for email, you want to use an email launch sequence. A strategic email sequence is your most powerful launch tool, hands down. These emails guide prospects from awareness to application, addressing objections and creating urgency along the way. The right sequence can dramatically increase your beta conversion rates with minimal additional effort. It's very, very simple. You've got pre-launch, 1 or 2 weeks before, warm up the audience with valuable content, launch open, announce the beta opportunity, details and application process, objection handling, address top concerns through stories and examples, social proof, share testimonials and results from previous work, then final close, create urgency as the deadline approaches. And all I would do if I was you, leverage AI. Use AI tools like Claude or Poppy to quickly generate email drafts. Provide the AI with your offer details, key benefits, and customer pain points to create a complete email sequence in minutes. If you don't want to pay for Poppy, it is pretty expensive. You can just jump in, even the free version of Claude, and start out like that. And all you have to do is use different frameworks and videos, and then also add in the creator's voice, as you can see these lines here. And it's going to create perfect email sequences for you. And if you want all my pre-built sequences, if you just get Poppy, you're going to save money and you get all my bonuses. So click the link below to get Poppy as well. Use my code. You'll save some money and you get all my bonuses, which is every framework for making emails, VSLs, everything like that. Next, you've got a YouTube launch sequence. YouTube offers unique advantages for beta launches with its longer form content and high intent audience. Viewers who watch videos about your topic are often actively seeking solutions, making them ideal beta candidates. So you can have a YouTube VSL, a 7 to 10 minute video, sales letter explaining the offer in detail. Obviously hide it in a certain way, so YouTube VSLs look like this. How AI is going to make me $500,000 this year, just copy me. Smartest route to 10k per month in 2025. You sort of disguise it by a pop-in video. They get tons of views. Look at that, 5.3x, 3.6x. But then it's basically just a big VSL of you trying to sell them something, and they make a lot of money. Next, you've got an announcement video, shorter video, 3 to 5 minutes. That's going to do not as well, but it's going to be literally clear call to actions, and the offer is in the description. Community posts. Use like Instagram stories. So on YouTube, there's like a community section and you can do community posts. So post similar stuff that you would be posting over on Instagram. Post teasers, testimonials, and countdown updates. Pin application link. You ensure application link is pinned in comments of all the videos, especially the ones that you're posting at this point. End screen and cards. You can also do this. Direct viewers to the application page throughout videos. And you can also even just set up these to go to your YouTube VSL to drive all traffic to a longer video that's going to sell them like this with the offer in the description. Okay. Next we've got Instagram, the Instagram story sequence. Use story sequences to drive applications and purchases through your beta launch. Post 3 to 5 consecutive stories with hook, story, proof, call to action structure. You've got the launch phase applications. So A, initial sequence announcing applications are open. B, case study sequence showing previous results. And C, final sequence creating urgency before the applications close. And then finally, the enrollment phase conversions. D, sequences target accepted applicants who haven't paid yet. Always direct viewers to DM a specific keyword or click an application link. And pro tip, use the close friends feature, which I think is kind of dead right now, I'm not going to lie. But if you can, use the close friends feature for higher visibility with engaged followers. You can watch this video if you want to learn everything about how to use Instagram story sequences. You're going to get all my templates. I'm going to show you exactly how to leverage them. And yeah, give you some examples and templates too. Plus, you can also do DM setting. Manually contact interested followers and nurture them. Answer questions, then send them to the application or book them onto a call. You can also leverage ManyChat to automate this and nurture leads straight from Reels, posts, even their bio or stories with comment CTAs. Just make sequences that look like this. Okay, that's Instagram, email, and YouTube. Next, all we've got is the community launch sequence. Existing offers and communities that the creator or coach runs have the most aware, ready-to-buy audience out of literally everything. As long as the offer or community is actually good, the audience should be very, very high intent. So, special announcements in Discord or School with member incentives. Host Q&A sessions for members, kind of like a hidden webinar. Then offer early access to existing community members and get them inside the offer early. Now, beta launch is ready to go. You've got all these different systems to launch it. You need to make sure you've actually set up tracking systems, because if without tracking systems, the launch is not going to do very well. And even if it does, you won't even know, right? So, create a basic spreadsheet to monitor applications, calls, and conversions. Focus on key metrics, so the application rate, call show rate, close rate, all this stuff. Start with a very basic, mostly manual setup for the beta launch, then improve with scale. You can add Looker Studio, you can add automations to fill this out with Go High Level or Zap, things like that. But honestly, for the start, I would just do this manually to keep it nice and simple. So, the sales process, I want to break this down for you lot as well. So we went over the application setup earlier, which is in Typeform. Now, from that point, you've got either qualified or unqualified leads. Let's start with qualified. They're going to get directed straight away to the call booking page. So here's mine on, for example, Calendly or cal.com. You can use Go High Level's calendar as well. It's completely up to you what you use. Then from that point, do they book a call? If not, we're going to wait 10 minutes, and then the setter or you, we're going to WhatsApp/text them. If they still don't book a call, message them again. And if they still don't book a call, we're going to dial or call them, then add them to an ongoing sequence. And we can actually continuously message and dial them too, if you like. But either way, that's all to get them to book a call. And if they book it straight away, they'll still get sent to the same place, the thank you page, which is going to be just a page with like a kind of VSL thanking them, things like that. You can maybe even try and upsell them if you want, but at that point, the video should just be to nurture them further before they jump on the call. So, other ways to nurture pre-call, you can add them to a WhatsApp group with the closer and the setter. You can send over pre-call assets like a pre-recorded podcast, some case studies, things like that, and then dial them pre-call as well. Check in with them, make sure they're going to show up, check their budget, things like that. Now, on the call, obviously there's two choices. They either close and you onboard them, or they don't close. And if they don't close straight away, they're going to give you a deposit, which means you're going to schedule the next meeting on the call and take a non-refundable pot deposit of $500 plus, then add them to a post-call sequence with nurturing assets, case studies, results, etc. Or you can follow up. So you're going to schedule the next meeting on the call or schedule a follow-up text, then a post-call sequence with nurturing assets, case studies, results, etc. If they don't close, you're going to give them straight away into a post-call sequence with nurturing assets. And if they don't show up at all, you're going to email them and WhatsApp/text them to reschedule a call, and then again add them to that exact same sequence with nurturing assets, case studies, results, etc. And that is the sales sequence. However, if they are unqualified for the high ticket of cost, they're going to get directed straight away to a low ticket offer page. Not everyone does this. Some people just have it submit and then just go to a thank you page if they're not qualified. But I prefer to actually just direct them straight to a low ticket offer page, so we're getting that extra cash and selling them on something else straight away. Now from that point, they're going to either sell on the low ticket or obviously not sell on the low ticket. But we have something extra too. When they're redirected to the low ticket offer page, in the back end, we can check their form completion and check the requirements for financing. So what country are they in? What's their age? Because if they're 18 plus in like the UK, the USA, Canada, etc., then they will probably get accepted for financing. And if that's the case and the requirements are hit, reach out to them, call them, text them, and book them on a call from your end. However, if not, obviously we just focus on the low ticket. So if they sell, we put them in a one-time upsell, and then we also add them to an email sequence. Then finally hit them with a thank you page. If they don't buy the low ticket, we instantly just add them to a low ticket email sequence to sell them on that low ticket. And then WhatsApp/text them to nurture and sell on low ticket. This isn't required, but just to bring in the extra cash, you can set that up too. From this thank you page, once they've bought the upsell and possibly the one-time offer too, we hit them with a thank you page. Then we can get them on a booking calendar, or the setter can just call them and book them in from the back end. Then either they book in the call or they don't, and again it's the same sequence as last time. WhatsApp, message again, dial or call them, ongoing emails. And if they do book a call, again they either get closed and onboarded, or they don't get closed, and it goes through the same things: deposit, follow-up, no close, no show, exactly the same as before. So that is kind of the sales sequence and how it works on a kind of a basic overview level. And it looks a bit confusing, but trust me, it's really, really not. So that's the process. Now, how do you actually approach the sales system? You need to handle the initial sales calls yourself, if you're able to get invaluable market insights. Consider adding a team members only after establishing a proven sales process. I recommend doing it all yourself, at least in the first launch. Then after that, you can look at hiring. But again, if you need to or you want to, you can hire a team from the jump. But remember, beta launches should be simple and fast. The goal is validation and initial revenue, not perfection. Everyone spends way too long, especially people I'm working with inside OL. They're trying to perfect every launch, taking way too long, literally 1 or 2 months, and I'm launching within 7 to 14 days and making way more money. The best thing is just launch quick and get everything working. You can make it perfect and get everything working for the next launches in the long term. Now, pre-call research. So, the sales approach, you've got everything ready, you've got everything set up, you decided whether it's you or a team. Now, how do you actually sell? You need to do some sort of research before each call. This is obviously for you or the closer if you've got one on board. Firstly, review the application responses. So analyze what they've put into the type form to identify key talking points. Note the certain pain points that they've put, so highlight challenges and goals mentioned by the applicant. And then prepare personalized talking points, so tailor the conversation based on their responses. You don't want to follow some basic script. Make sure you're talking about things specifically guided to them. Next, you've got sales call structure. Never follow any sort of script, but if you do want a structure to follow, I would look at something like this. Your connection for 2 to 3 minutes, just build rapport with them. Situation, 5 to 7 minutes, understand their current challenges. Goals, clarify what they want to achieve and in what timeline. Problem, dig into what's holding them back. Transition to offer, present the beta as their solution, so your offer is the solution to all their problems. Then finally, commitment for 3 to 5 minutes, secure their participation with clear next steps. It looks a little bit something like this, my sales framework that I've got here for you to use. You can literally just join the free group and I'll just hand this over to you for free. So check that out. It's my actual agency sales framework. Then we've got objection handling, prepare responses, anticipate common objections and prepare responses. You might have price concerns, focus on the ROI and transformation value, time concerns, emphasize implementation support, skepticism, share specific results and testimonials, and then comparison to alternatives, highlight your unique approach. Why is it better? Why do other people's approaches not actually work? Then again, I've got another sheet for that from my agency on objection handling. So if you want, you can join the free group or the paid group and get that and check it out. Okay, that's everything. That's everything you need to know for a beta launch. Now, this is the actual 14-day beta launch timeline. You can make this shorter or longer, whatever it might be, but on a perfect basis, it will be around 14 days. And this is how that timeline will sort of pan out. You've got days 1 to 3, planning and prep. So day 1, you're going to finalize the offer, define the exact beta offer component deliverables, set the beta pricing, create clear transformation promise and outcomes, and determine the sort of limit, whether it's 10 to 20 spots, maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less. Then finally, finalize the guarantee and terms. Again, remember the current situation to the desired situation, bridging the gap. That is the offer. Day 2, create application system. I recommend obviously using Typeform, so it looks a bit like this. Build Typeform application with qualification questions, current challenges they're facing, previous solutions they've tried, goals they want to achieve, an implementation commitment level, finally their budget range. Then you're going to leverage setting up conditional logic to filter applicants, create acceptance or rejection email templates, and test application flow with team members. That is very, very important. I went over how to do these different things earlier on, but we'll get much more in depth into the systems later in the video, but this is a broad overview of how I would do it. Day 3, set up the backend systems, connect the payment processor, whether you're using Stripe, WAP, Fanbasis, obviously I recommend these two. Prepare the content delivery platform, set up communication channels, whether that's Slack or Discord, maybe even WhatsApp, whatever it might be. Create the feedback collection system, test all technical integrations if you're using something like Zapier, and then prepare tracking dashboard for launch metrics. I would literally just use WAP. Set up systems like this. Look, you can literally accept financing on there, PayPal, crypto, bank, card. You can do everything, and they're actually adding more and more stuff currently too. Now, next you've got days 4 to 7, pre-launch marketing, hyping it up. Days 4 to 5, the whisper phase, as we went over earlier. Share content addressing pain points your beta will solve. Post subtle coming soon hints on social media. Engage with the audience comments to build interest. Prepare your audience with valuable, relevant content. And send something is coming email to your list. And again, I'm dropping something exciting real soon for you lot. Day 6 to 7, the tease phase. Announce the beta launch date and concept. Give them a brief idea of what's going to be going on. Share benefits and transformation possibilities you're going to get from here to here with this offer. Release more detailed information about the opportunity. Build anticipation with countdown posts, day 1, day 2, whatever it might be. Send email explaining the beta concept and upcoming application. I wanted to mention as well, you can actually use the Instagram countdown system as well for that. Send email explaining the beta concept and upcoming application. I went through that. Then use Instagram story sequence, teasing the opportunity. You can use our story sequence templates that I went over earlier as well. Now, here's a brief overview of the pre-drop system. You've got teasing on Instagram stories with something like this. And then 24 hours pre-drop, you're going to post something else like that. I'm dropping a program tomorrow, sign up here for early access. Also add scarcity, so on another story you could add limited spots. If you want early access, you need to sign up with this form, which is obviously the type form. You can leverage ManyChat to automate this whole thing. Add them to an SMS email list builder, another ManyChat system, mentorships, one-on-one coaching, free lead magnets, consulting, whatever it might be. Add the prospect to the pre-drop list, market research form. Then you've got the wait list, early access, comes back to the market research form, which looks a bit like this, but we've already been through this. And no matter what, it all gets added to the CRM or database. So yeah, leverage all this different stuff, build up the SMS and email list, use ManyChat, set up all these different stories and systems, and it's very, very simple. You're going to have a big pre-drop list, you're going to have a lot of market research, and you're going to leverage all of that to plan and set up the launch. Now, days 8 to 10, application and selection. So you're going to open the applications, launch the application form with clear deadline. This is closing on this date, and be strict with that. Post Instagram story sequence announcing applications. Send email to your full list, obviously the client's list, with application link. Go live possibly on social media to answer questions. That could be Instagram Live, TikTok Live, a full live stream if they want. This isn't necessary, but it's really, really good sometimes. Leverage scarcity by emphasizing limited spots, and then begin tracking application metrics. You can just do that directly on Typeform, but you can also attach it to Google Sheets, Looker Studio, things like that. Day 9, continue promotion. Share the application numbers, so spots filling fast. Make sure you're honest about this, but if it is actually filling fast, make sure you're honest about that, push it out, share the application numbers, create more scarcity, more urgency, and more FOMO. post case study Instagram story sequence, address common questions publicly, send reminder email to non-applicants, and share testimonials from previous clients and students, build more social proof and trust, then create fear of missing out, FOMO, by highlighting interest level. Going on to day 10, closing the applications. Final promotion, you're looking to get like 50% of the applications in this last day. Post a last chance Instagram story to create urgency. Last chance email, send a final reminder email before closing applications. Actually close them at the announced time, be strict with that. Then automated review, automatically using logic, qualify applications, redirect qualified ones to book sales calls, unqualified applicants receive downsell offers, they're sent to a downsell page, whatever it might be. Okay, that was a bit of a tongue twister, but that's the first 10 days of the beta launch. We've already went over this in depth, which is why I'm kind of speeding on and rambling through it, but I just wanted to give you a brief idea of how it would lay out in 14 days. So, days 11 and 14, enrollment and launch, and obviously this isn't strict, it's just to give you an idea. You've got the sales call bookings, so qualified applications, after filling out the type form, they'll be redirected to a calendar booking page for sales calls. And then you've got pre-call nurturing, so implement automated emails to prepare applicants for the call, including what to expect and how to prepare. And obviously you can also add extra assets like a WhatsApp group, a pre-recorded podcast, case studies, value, anything like that to the pre-call nurturing as well to give them the highest chances of closing. Days 12 to 13, you've got the actual sales calls and payment processing. Conduct calls with qualified applicants, present the offer, address obligations, and secure payment. Expect 25% of sales during these days. Finally, welcome information. Upon payment, send welcome details and access to initial resources. Prepare orientation materials for new participants. This should be automated, right? We use WOP a lot, so like as soon as they pay, they get inside the WOP that gives them the links and different access and the call bookings that they need. But you can do this on Fanbasis, you can do this directly through Zelle or Stripe or something if you would like to. Whatever it is, just make sure when they pay you have something set up to deliver the product for them so they don't feel like they're being scammed. Day 14, final enrollment and launch. Last chance reminders. Today's the deadline. Only X hours left. Final call closing tonight. Post a final Instagram story to recreate urgency. Expect up to 50% of sales on this final day. Close enrollment at the announced time. Be strict again. And then finally, send welcome emails, provide access to the beta program, and schedule a kickoff call or some sort of orientation video. That could be a kickoff group call or one-on-one call, by the way. So that's the full beta launch timeline. That's kind of how it would go. Obviously, people can book anytime during the launch because as soon as the application is done, they can book. So it's not exactly true these days, but it's just the easiest way to lay out for you lot. And then over the last couple of days, we're going to be doing all the sales calls, the sort of offer or product opening, the product closing to bring in all that revenue. Now, pro tip, document literally everything during this 14-day process, whether it is 14 days, longer, shorter, what works, what doesn't, and questions that arise, plus conversion metrics at each stage. This data is invaluable for optimizing your full launch. And remember, the goal of a beta launch is not perfection, it's validation and improvement. So embrace the feedback process and be transparent with participants about the beta nature of the program. That's why they're getting it for so cheap. If they waited to be way more, they'd get less actual direct access, things like that. Plus, if you want a full custom-built launch process and plan for you and your client, I know a lot of people struggle with what to actually launch. If you want to work with me one-on-one, me and my team will personally help you with what funnel to use, building out the back end, how to actually launch, and my copy and paste SOPs. I'm actually doing this right now with my student Tamek, and we're due to do 6 figures in this launch. If you just want my pre-built templates, funnels, and SOPs as well, you can just grab them inside Operator Labs. But if you do want to work with me one-on-one, the link is below. Now, no more CTAs, let's just get straight onto it. The part you've all been waiting for, you know how to sign clients, you know how to find them, you know how to actually launch for them, but how do you actually scale clients and how do you actually scale offers? That's what we're going to be getting into right now. So, scaling clients and offers, we're going to go through the software stack, every software you'll need to start using now. Client retention strategies, how to actually keep your clients for the long term. Upselling, downselling, and cross-selling to make that extra revenue. How do you actually expand your offer types? Marketing strategies, leveraging data and analytics, building a killer team, and then finally automation and systems. We're going to run through all of this now, and that's the end of the video. That's literally everything that you need to know about starting an info product agency or growth operating business and absolutely killing the game. So, software stack, we've got tons of different stuff here. Let's start CRM. You've got different options. You've got Close, Notion, and you've got High Level as well. Close, very, very simple platform. It's great for sales teams. I just don't like it as much as something like Go High Level because it's not as robust. There's not too much stuff going on. But if you're running a really, really simple team, really simple system, Close is perfect because Go High Level can be a bit confusing for a sales team if they're a beginner and it's something brand new. But Go High Level just allows you to do much, much more. Now, if it is a very, very simple process, very, very simple team, you can actually use something like Notion as a CRM because it's super easy to use and it's also free until you start building out a team and publishing stuff. It's completely free. So that's also a good place to start. But eventually, I would look at Go High Level as like the ultimate CRM to use in the info space. For emails, you can use different things. My favorite sort of just email software is probably ConvertKit, but Beehive and ConvertKit are pretty much the same. ActiveCampaign's a little bit different. It's a proper sort of marketing software that you can do emails with as well. And then lastly, of course, we've got Go High Level here too. ConvertKit and Beehive are more of newsletters, sending weekly emails, having sequences, whereas High Level is more of a automated system. You can send regular emails from there too, but I prefer it for just more of the automations and stuff like that. And then I stick to ConvertKit for more of the manual weekly newsletters. SMS, I put Brevo here, which was previously Sendblue or Sendinblue, but I don't really use it, to be honest. I just use Go High Level. I suppose I add an extra one there. But yeah, for SMS, I use Go High Level. I sometimes integrate different softwares and stuff for A2P and Sims, but yeah, all in all, for SMS, emails, CRM, I'm using Go High Level. Copywriting, you want to use something like Grammarly to just spell check you and stuff like that, and then Claude or Poppy or both to actually write the copy for you, utilizing AI, as I went over earlier in the video how to actually use Poppy, so hopefully you understand that. Payments, you've got WAP and fan bases like we went over earlier. You can pay out your team from the dashboard, you can accept financing, they'll fight your cases for you. They're just perfect platforms. Then we've got Wise, Zelle, and Gusto. I use these more for paying out the team, especially over in the US. I know a lot of people use these. Wise, international. Zelle's more of a US thing where kind of like bank transfer, you can send money without fees and so it's just super easy to pay your team. And then Gusto's a proper payroll software to pay everyone in the team too. Next, you got funnels. ClickFunnels and Go High Level. I'm sure you've heard of both of these. ClickFunnels, super, super easy funnel platform. Super easy to use. Really, really good, to be honest. I'd actually say it's better than Go High Level for funnels, but I just use GHL for funnels in most cases because it's got everything else on there. So it's just super easy to set up funnels on here, integrate with everything else. And the price for ClickFunnels is the same price for Go High Level anyway, so you may as well jump in there. Webinars, Webinar Jam and Zoom. I pretty much always just use Webinar Jam, to be honest, but if you want to, you can use Zoom as well. You can look into that. I'm probably going to do some more videos on webinars too, so let me know about that. But yeah, Webinar Jam I would use because it can integrate directly with Go High Level. Community, if you're setting up any sort of low, mid, even high ticket really, you're going to have some sort of platform to host it on. So high ticket, you can host on like Slack, WhatsApp, something like that. But an actual community platform to use would be WAP, School, Discord, and maybe even Circle as well, which is a bit of an underrated one. But yeah, my preference is always WAP. Calls, how do you actually take the group calls, the one-on-one calls, whatever. You've got Zoom, you've got Google Meet, and you've got Cal.com. Google Meet, honestly, is alpha. I like to use Cal.com for some of my personal meetings because it's like an all-in-one software. People can book and go on the call, all-in-one software. But yeah, for most of my group calls and one-on-one calls, sales team calls, I'll use Google Meet. It's just really, really easy. And who's not got a Google account, right? Forms, we've got Typeform and Tally, which are kind of direct competitors. I'll always go with Typeform, to be honest. But Tally is kind of similar. It's just more of a simplified version. And then Go High Level I've added as well. But Go High Level's forms are much, much different. It's more of back-end forms. Very simple forms. They're not like page by page like Typeform and like Tally are. So it's not really a direct competitor, but you can set up forms on there too. Automation, we've got some different options here. We've got Zapier, we've got Pabbly, we've got Make, and we've got Go High Level. Most of you lot, if you've already been in the game for a while, you've probably heard of Go High Level, you've probably heard of Zapier, you've probably heard of Make and maybe Pabbly as well. But I would just say you've probably not got experience with them because I know most people in this game kind of keep it really, really simple. They just use GHL and just use Zap, which is cool. Zap, Pabbly, and Make are very, very similar. Make is like completely customized. You can do a lot more stuff with that. Pabbly, even more customized than Zapier because it allows you to use much more webhooks and stuff and play around with it. And just allows you to do much more without being too difficult to use. But Zap is definitely the simplest platform. Pabbly is cheaper too if you're using a lot because you can just you basically pay for unlimited. It's like $200 or something like that. And you get unlimited use. Whereas obviously Zapier, you pay for like monthly plans depending on your credits and stuff. It's just a little bit different. But yeah, pretty much Zapier allows you to integrate one platform to another. So if someone fills in my form in Typeform, then they get added to my Go High Level CRM. Something simple like that. Contracts. Everyone signs a contract. You don't always need to do it, but if you've got some sort of guarantee, I recommend every offer you do, you have a contract with it. Don't worry, it can be really, really simple. I think we went over that earlier, so I won't go over it again. But you've got different options. You've got something like PandaDoc or DocuSign. Very, very similar platforms. Don't worry too much. Just choose one. Or you can use Go High Level, obviously, and integrate it with everything else. Not as good, I wouldn't say, as PandaDoc or DocuSign, but it does work absolutely fine. Call recording. You want to be recording all your sales calls so you can track them, see how good they are, create SOPs around them, everything like that. You can just use something like Read AI or Fathom. I'll always go for Fathom, to be honest. Their free plan is better than anyone else's paid plan, honestly. So yeah, I would always just download Fathom. It's super easy to use. It's super straightforward. Call booking. Call.com, like I mentioned earlier, you can book and go on the call on Call.com, which is pretty cool. We've got Calendly as well, and then we have Go High Level Calendar. Calendly, I would say, is the best. Cal.com's free plan is pretty much the same as Calendly's paid plan, so Cal.com is sick as well. But Go High Level works the best in most cases just because it integrates so well with the rest of the platform and other platforms too. Communication, like within the team, we've got Slack, we've got Discord, Loom, Miro, Notion. So I actually use Discord for my agency, but most people, and I recommend you probably as well, use Slack. It's just super, super easy to use. I just like Discord because we have quite a big sales team, so we all jump on calls together, check in. There's a lot of stuff going on, and we have multiple offers at once. But Slack does the job in most cases. Now, these are more for coordination and planning and stuff. We use Loom to record SOPs, put them into Notion docs to sort of teach the team. And then I also use Miro boards to plan roadmaps, explain, things like that, right? Marketing, this is a bit of a random section with some different examples here, but we've got ManyChat, which I'm sure most of you know. It's an Instagram bot, so if someone comments something on someone's Instagram post, it'll send them an automatic DM and send them something or lead magnet and stuff like that. So we use that massively for marketing with our clients by setting up lead magnets, setting up automated nurturing sequences, things like that. Hyros, this is used for paid advertisements, especially on Meta, for like advanced tracking and things like that. vidIQ, marketing on YouTube. It's going to help you pick out keywords, create good content, find outliers, find good videos to create. So you can help your client with like content strategy and things like that. And then finally, Go High Level is just fire for marketing. You can use all of the automated sequences, social planner, whatever you want to use. You can use Go High Level for marketing in many ways. It's pretty much a marketing platform, but obviously it's all in one. So yeah, pretty fire. But I use pretty much all the sequences and stuff straight through GHL. Now, that's pretty much everything. Obviously, most of you will have realized Go High Level was mentioned a lot because many of the tools you need can literally be replaced by Go High Level, which, shameless plug, you can access for free through Operator Labs. So if you do want to get started with Go High Level, just join Operator Labs. It's free for 3 days anyway. You'll get unlimited access. Plus, you'll also get, which is a perk because usually you wouldn't, you get my custom snapshot with all the workflows and funnels that you need to scale your agency or growth operating business. Plus, if you want to work with me one-on-one directly, you'll get free access to Go High Level as well, and my pre-built snapshots. So either way, you're going to get free access to Go High Level, so you can check those out if you'd like to as well. Anyway, moving on. So that's all the software. Now, client retention. As I explained, building long-term partnerships with clients is essential for sustainable growth in info product agencies. And rather than focusing solely on one-off launches, prioritizing client retention allows you to cultivate loyalty and trust, reducing the constant need to seek new clients, because that's the worst part of the business, right? Everyone hates outreaching and finding new clients. So why aren't you just setting up the right strategies and the right systems to, once you have a client, keep them? People are complaining about outreach and stuff, but as soon as they get a client, they lose them after one launch. It doesn't make any sense. Satisfied clients are more likely to return for additional services and refer others, creating a complete cycle of growth. You have consistent clients coming on board, consistent revenue coming in. It just makes so much more sense. Regular check-ins. You're going to have consistent business reviews with your clients. So schedule regular check-ins to assess their satisfaction, progress, whatever they're thinking about the whole thing that you're setting up. Prepare an agenda to review the different KPIs from the sales team, the back end, successes, and obviously areas for improvement as well. You might have some tips for them based on their marketing, their content, and they might have some tips for you. This isn't working, I'm not happy with this. Highlight the value delivered previously and discuss new collaboration opportunities, maybe new offers, different stuff you can do. And then to identify the new opportunities, just use check-ins to uncover challenges and present tailored solutions to those challenges. And then finally, align offerings with the client's evolving needs to reinforce value. So yeah, but all in all, just pretty much be checking in regularly with all the clients. Everyone you work with, you need to be consistently staying on top of them, because again, they're not a client, right? They're a partnership with you. You're working directly with them on a partnership. So it needs to be treated like that. You have check-ins consistently, be always talking to them, always checking in, making sure everything's going good. Value delivery system. So you need to be creating value consistently, ongoing value creation, deliver exclusive content, resources, or training sessions very, very regularly. Keep everyone happy, right? Develop a content calendar to share insights and updates relevant to your clients. Plus, you can also implement a rewards program for active engagement as well, if you would like to. Feedback loop implementation. So a pretty simple one. Just use surveys or interviews to gather client feedback on experiences. Honestly, this can kind of be done in the check-in calls. Analyze feedback for trends and communicate changes made based on client input. Just track everything, right? Get feedback on everything and iterate and improve based on that feedback. Community engagement. So this is pretty obvious, but you need to foster a sense of community in everything, especially to sell. So you can create dedicated forums or groups like Discord, Facebook for client interaction. And you can also encourage the sharing of successes, case studies, testimonials, and best practices among clients. Live Q&A sessions and webinars. Host regular sessions for clients to ask questions and receive insights. Use these opportunities to introduce new products and share success stories. So, as well, another very, very important thing is proactive problem solving. You need to always be solving problems on the spot, not waiting for other people to solve it for you, not just sat wondering. You need to be solving everything actively. Early warning systems. You can monitor client engagement levels to identify potential issues early before they even come up. Then also use CRM tools like Go High Level to track interactions and flag disengaged accounts. Responsive support. Provide multiple support channels, so email, chat, phone, for timely responses. I would also have something like Slack or Discord as well. And finally, create a knowledge base for common questions to empower clients. You can create a proper knowledge base, but honestly, Notion docs and like Loom videos should be enough for stuff like that. Now, upselling, downselling, and cross-selling. Very, very, very important. Once you've done the beta launch, right, it's very simple to just keep doing the same thing, but that is not how you scale. You need to learn how to upsell, downsell, and cross-sell. And after the beta launch, you need to scale with more launches and more offers, as well as, of course, improving the current offer and keeping that going too. But some ideas you can have is a low-ticket downsell, mid-ticket downsell, high-ticket upsell, time-frame upsell, and software cross-sell. So let me get into some of them and how they work. It's pretty self-explainable, but a low-ticket downsell, it captures hesitant clients by offering an affordable alternative. So they might be hesitant or they might just not be able to afford it, let's be honest. The original offer might be a high-ticket course at $1,000. It's more of a mid-ticket, but whatever. The downsell offer for that would be access to a community or maybe a mini course or something like that for $97 per month. So for example, for me, I have my one-on-one partnership offer, which is insane value for high-ticket. But my downsell is Operator Labs, where you get all my pre-built systems and things like that. And I go strictly with the rule that your offer should always be worth 10 times more than people pay for it. That's the best way to sell. So I think that Operator Labs is easily worth $1,000 per month, and my high ticket is worth thousands and thousands and thousands, right? So that's kind of how I work it out, and that's probably how you should do it too, because then you're always going to have the best value for that price, so people are going to stick around. It keeps clients engaged in your ecosystem, allowing for future upselling, and obviously you're still getting cash. You're collecting the most cash possible, because even people who can't afford your current high ticket programs, you're still having something to sell them on the low end, and then slowly you nurture them till eventually they can buy that $1,000 program. Mid-ticket, very, very, very simple and very similar to the low ticket, but the mid-ticket downsell fills the gaps between low and high-ticket offers when high-ticket prices increase. You can do it without them increasing, but mid-ticket offers usually come in when the high-ticket goes up. So the high-ticket offer might have been $4,000, but now it's going up to $6,000. So we introduce a mid-ticket offer, because obviously the high-ticket is one-to-one. We introduce a mid-ticket offer, which is group coaching, priced at $2,000. So now all those guys that couldn't afford that, never mind this, right? They don't want to pay $6,000. They can now come pay for this. It captures clients who can afford more than low ticket, but not yet high ticket, ensuring they remain in your ecosystem. And again, if you help them make money on this sort of group coaching program, eventually they're going to upsell and want to buy the one-to-one anyway. So you can't really lose, right? High ticket upsell. You can offer upgraded experience after initial commitment. So you might have the initial offer at a course at $1,000, then your upsell could be a high-ticket coaching program at $5,000. Clients who see results are more likely to invest in premium offerings, which again is why your offers need to be incredible. They need to be worth 10 times more than you're charging. You need to make sure people get results. But you could also do, by the way, a high-ticket upsell on a high-ticket product. Because if you, for example, have right now, let me just draw this down. If you have a 4K product, which is one-to-one coaching, all you do, next launch, you have the exact same 4K product, but now you've got more case studies, you're bigger, you can grow this further. It's now group. So instead of the one-to-one, you've sold the 10 spots, the second launch, it's now group. You're keeping the low price, but it's not as good, which means that these guys were lucky to get in, right? But then you have a second offer, an upsell, for, let's say, $7,000, I'm making this up, which is one-to-one. So now this has moved to this, and although this is still high ticket, there's now an upsell even higher. I don't know if that makes much sense. So you can always have a high ticket upsell to a high ticket offer, and then obviously you can have high ticket upsells from low ticket or mid ticket too. Next, which is related to that, the time frame upsell. So this is always used, pretty much always, in high ticket offers, but you extend client engagement after the initial program ends. So you probably noticed that most high-ticket programs have some sort of roadmap, have some sort of days, right? So it might be 90 days, 180 days, 60 days, whatever it might be. So say the initial program is 90-day coaching for $3.5K. All you have to do is once that's finished, obviously completely nurture them, get them results throughout, and then at the end of the 90 days, you reach out to them and upsell them, and then additional 90 days for $2.5K. You could even be less, or could be even higher than that. But yeah, usually you give them a good discount and get them in for another 90 days. It's an easy, cost-effective way for clients to continue their progress, and very, very easy for you to collect that extra cash. Now, last but definitely not least, we've got a software cross-sell. This is only worth it if you're massively at scale, but pretty much you introduce a software that complements your services. Now, I kind of have this with Go High Level. Obviously, it's not my own software, and I'm not trying to white label it or anything like that, but I include Go High Level with my program, I guess, and I give you all the pre-built systems because it just makes sense. But I could easily go out there now and make some sort of AI software. We're actually working on a few things to include in my low ticket or my high ticket, and I could sell that separately and cross-sell it. So when you pay me, however much you pay me, I could then upsell you or cross-sell you on my software. And it's a very, very good marketing model. So the core offer could be a digital marketing course, but then the cross-sell could be a software that scrapes social media for potential leads priced at $497 or $97 per month. It enhances client experience and creates a recurring revenue stream. Especially for high ticket, right? Because if you get someone on high ticket, that's it. They pay you once. Unless you get them on the time frame upsell, they pretty much just pay you once. So if you start upselling them and cross-selling them on things like software, it's going to keep you bringing in that extra revenue consistently from them. Now, expanding offer types. After you successfully launched your initial offers, your beta launch, things like that, it's time to scale, of course. And the way to do that is by expanding your initial product offerings. Whatever your offers were at the start, it's now time to expand. Diversifying your services not only meets the evolving needs of your clients, but obviously it also enhances your revenue potential. And that's kind of what we went over a little bit here. I'm going to dive into a little bit more now as well. So, diversifying. You need to identify market gaps. Conduct research to find unmet needs in your target audience. What are they struggling with? There might be tons and tons and tons of trainings and courses on different stuff, but they're all still struggling with outreach. So you find a product and make a product, an offer to help them with that, right? New offer ideas, it could be an online course on outreach. It could be a coaching program on outreach or personalized or group coaching. It could be a membership site, like some sort of subscription-based thing, access to exclusive content like Patreon or whatever. If everyone in the niche or market is doing group coaching, you can have less, that's the key, social proof, and a smaller following, which makes no sense, right? But do absolute numbers with a personalized one-on-one offer. And let me explain why, right? That's why I'm offering a complete one-on-one partnership as my high-ticket offer, because all my competitors do basic group coaching with a course, and you literally get that with my low-ticket operator labs, which is quite funny, right? But these guys are all charging like $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for some sort of like group weekly coaching with some extra videos in there and stuff, which again, you get with my low-ticket group. So I decided to do a one-on-one partnership. And I've put all my time in my product. I've not put all my time into social media, creating content. So I do have a smaller following by far. I've got a lot more social proof now than a lot of guys. We're building it up massively because I've been working with tons more people. But I've got my own results and I've got results of people I've worked with. I'm building up the social proof, but I've got a smaller following. However, my high ticket can absolutely pop because it's completely one-on-one. I'm putting all my time into people, and people trust me because my low ticket product and my free product are better than their high ticket products, right? So you can only imagine how good my high ticket product is. And that's all you need to do. You can take advantage of that and diversify your product offerings depending on whatever gaps there is in the market. In my market, there's a gap of actual one-on-one. Everyone pitches it, but no one gives it. It's always group. So I close that gap. Now, testing new offers. Pilot programs, this is very, very similar, by the way, to like a beta launch, but now you're just doing it for different offers testing. Test new products with a small group of clients to gather feedback. So you can gain real-world insights on client interactions, refine the product based on client needs, and build anticipation among early adopters. And a good way to do that is the pre-sale campaign as well. Launch campaigns to gauge interest and validate pricing before full launch. Whether it's an email list, an Instagram story, whatever it is, you use that to launch a pilot program using a pre-sale campaign. You can literally assess the demand for the new offering, test pricing strategies to find the best fit, and generate early revenue to offset development costs. It makes a lot of sense, right? And you always need to be testing. It's not just a beta launch you need to test. You need to be testing consistently to find out what works, and then you just scale further and further and further. Which, now we're on that subject, vertical and horizontal scaling. Vertical scaling, for example, develop high-ticket versions of existing offers, so premium coaching, more one-to-one instead of group, whatever. Provide more personalized support and additional features to enhance the client value, and of course, charge more, make more money. But you've also got horizontal scaling. So instead of just charging more and upselling them, you can create complementary products like tools or services or softwares that enhance existing offerings. So address adjacent client needs. So if you're teaching them outreach, but they're also struggling with service delivery, you create something to help them with that, right? You expand your service portfolio. Right. That's quite a lot of info we just like flew through right there. But expanding your offer types, upselling, downselling, and cross-selling, and then we also went through retention as well. But now we're up to marketing. One of the biggest parts that people always neglect, right? Because it's the creator's responsibility, coach's responsibility. And it definitely is, right? But if you've got the choice here to just let the coach or let the creator do their content and do whatever they're doing and make 10k per month, or help them make 50k per month, what are you going to take? You're obviously going to help them, right? So just stop relying on like, oh, that's their job, and just put some fucking work in, put some time into it, and actually make shit happen. If there's ways for you to strategize and help them scale, then do it. Like, why not, right? Effective marketing strategies are crucial for promoting your clients' offers and ensuring their success in the marketplace. And this section that we're going to go through now outlines key tactics that can help your clients establish authority, attract new customers, and drive sales, because obviously that's the goal, right? We all try to make some money. Firstly, we've got content marketing. Obviously, pretty self-explanatory. You're going to hate me for this, but create valuable content. Help your clients create high-quality content that addresses their target audience's pain points. This includes educational content, how-to guides, engaging videos that provide actual insights, and personal human content, just to build that human touch, personal touch, so they actually know, like, and trust them and want to buy from them. There's tons more stuff I could add there, but I want to keep it short and simple. Encourage clients to showcase success stories through case studies, testimonials, social proof, all this stuff, which builds credibility and demonstrates the effectiveness of their offerings. Finally, ensure that content is shared across multiple platforms to maximize reach and engagement, and encourage repurposing content into different formats to attract a wider audience. You can also now get clips and stuff on board, all this different stuff to scale the content massively. You just can't let them get lazy with it. Make sure you're in control, be an authority, tell them we need to do this, we need to post this type of content on these platforms consistently. And as I mentioned earlier, you and the client both need to understand that it's the client's job to bring in traffic through content and marketing. But you can assist them by funneling and strategizing. By the end of the day, it's their end of the deal. But you must keep them accountable and keep them consistent, which goes into consistency. You need to emphasize the need for clients to maintain a regular content schedule to keep their audience engaged and informed. And if you don't post for a month and then launch a high-ticket offer, do you really think people are going to buy? I mean, we went through this problem ourselves very, very recently. But yeah, make sure they stick to what they're doing already. They don't get too buzzing with the money that's coming in and stop posting. They need to be consistent. You can help your clients develop a content calendar to plan and organize their posts across various platforms, ensuring a steady flow of content. And you can also encourage a mix of content types, including tweets, X posts, videos, emails, social media posts, different reels and things like that to cater to different audience preferences. That's completely up to you. Just figure out what works, what platforms they're biggest on, and take full advantage of them. Send out emails, post on Twitter, post on Instagram, YouTube, whatever it might be. Wherever their audience is, you need to be posting there. So, content frameworks. It's all good telling you to post and help your client post, but what do you post? How do you do it? I'm going to show you. Stop panicking, right? First, Instagram, probably the main one, apart from YouTube, I guess. Profile optimization. Complete your bio with a clear value proposition and add a link to your main offer. Always have one offer, one sort of funnel, right? Use a recognizable profile pic, so like a logo, I wouldn't do. A personal brand photo, which that more means like a raw, authentic face shot, headshot type thing to enhance brand recognition, and include relevant keywords to improve discoverability. Very, very boring and overlooking thing there, but I will go over that a little bit more in a moment. Posts, you can aim for 3 to 5 posts per week, including a mix of images, reels, carousel posts. Just be consistent and include stories literally every day too. That's the best thing for nurturing. It's all good getting reels popping off, bringing new audiences in, but stories are the best thing for nurturing. Content types, share educational tips, behind the scenes content, client testimonials, and human reliable content. Make people know, like, and trust you. That's always the goal here. Engagement, use Instagram stories daily to share quick updates, polls, and interactive content. Keep at the front of their mind 24/7. That's the goal of IG stories. Engagement strategies. You can respond to comments and DMs promptly to foster community interaction, collaborate with influencers to expand your reach. You can also just utilize ManyChat, which we went through previously. But if you use ManyChat, it's going to help you a lot with responding to comments and DMs automatically. But yeah, I don't really want you to follow much advice to the profile stuff. I just want you to have a clear profile picture, whether it's like a lifestyle shot or just like your face. In the bio, be creative, tell people what you do. Obviously, this is for the client, not for you. And then post cool shit, be a cool guy. And then if you do that and you post a lot, people are going to want to buy from you. YouTube, very, very different platform, but also very, very similar. Profile optimization, create a compelling channel description that outlines what viewers can expect. You can do all the bullshit, your channel banner, your logo, everything like that. That reflects your brand. Ensure links to your website and social media are included for easy access. I had nothing to put here, let's be honest, right? YouTube is a channel, it's not a profile. It's very, very simple. If your content's good, your profile's good. That's how it works. Focus all your time in the content. Still have a raw sort of headshot or what do you even call it? Kind of raw headshot or lifestyle image as the profile picture on YouTube, so people still know, like, and trust you. And then in the banner, you can just put a cool photo there, or call out your target audience. You can probably check out mine. I don't know if I'll have changed it by this point, but mine just literally calls out my target audience. Nice and easy. Content creation, upload 1 to 2 videos per week if you can. It should definitely not be lower than 1 video per week if you're a creator. Like, why not? Even if you're a coach, right, and you're getting 300 views, you should still be posting consistently. Focusing on tutorials, case studies, and live streams for Q&A sessions or product demonstrations. The live streams thing, I know not a lot of people do this. You've probably seen Cardinal Mason doing it, he pops off with it. It's such a good strategy on all platforms, so if you can, definitely utilize that. Optimize title, discoverability, and tags for SEO descriptions, and then we've got discoverability too. But yeah, use vidIQ. If you haven't seen it before, it's a Chrome extension, it's also a website. Make an account, check it out. You can use keywords to create titles, descriptions, all that stuff. And also when you upload a YouTube video, it literally plugs in and helps you fix everything. It kind of gives you a score on how good it's going to do. It's not always accurate, but it's pretty good. Content types. Again, very simple advice here because there's not much I can tell you, but how-to videos, success stories, industry insights. Just look what other people are doing in your niche. Do what they're doing, make it better. And then also find what people are doing in other niches, convert that to your niche, and it should do pretty well. Encourage viewers to comment and ask questions in each video. Just push the engagement as much as you can. Encourage likes, comments, and subscriptions at the end of each video. Also have some sort of call to action too. And respond to comments to build community and encourage interaction. I would also say, if you can, add in lead magnets in YouTube videos as much as you can with like a funnel in the description, just so you can capture some sort of email, phone number, name, just so you can push offers and things to them through email rather than just YouTube videos, because every YouTube video is not going to get 1 million views, right? Some are going to do well, some are not going to do well, whereas with email you can get in front of them directly no matter what. Twitter and X, use a clear profile picture, again very, very similar to the other ones, and header image that represent your brand. Concise bio, be very personal on this one. It's less of a professional platform. highlighting your expertise and include a link to your main offer. Use relevant hashtags to increase visibility. Tweet 3 to 5 times daily. If you're looking to grow, by the way, this number should be way higher, and you should also be replying, reacting, interacting with other people on their tweets too. If you just stick to your tweets, you're not going to grow. You need to be going out there and commenting on literally everyone's stuff with actual valuable stuff. Share quick insights, tips, and industry news. Use threads for in-depth discussions on relevant topics and engage followers with polls to encourage interaction. Quick tips, threads, and retweets of relevant content. For engagement, you can literally just use polls and questions to encourage interaction, get people speaking to you, increase your engagement, increase your views, I guess, and that was going to do very well. Engage your followers by responding to comments and retweeting relevant content, participating in Twitter chats or trending topics to increase visibility. With Twitter, you just got to be chronically online, let me be honest. You just got to be grinding that shit out and just be as active as you can. That's the best way to get big on Twitter. And just give free shit away as well. TikTok, use a catchy username and a clear bio that highlights your niche. Include a link to your main offer or website to drive traffic. Also attach your Instagram as well so they can funnel onto that. And ensure your profile picture is eye-catching and reflects your brand personality. Aim for at least 5 to 7 posts per week. Very, very raw, easy videos, stop panicking. Creating short, engaging videos that showcase tips, trends, behind-the-scenes content, whatever it might be. And if you can, go live occasionally, because lives on TikTok pop off and it's really good for nurturing. Interact with your audience in real time and boost engagement. You can showcase tips, trends, challenges, BTS content, whatever it might be. There's so many things you can do with TikTok. I'm not going to stick that to you. If your creator or your client is popping off on content, you don't need to tell them what to post. It's more just helping them with strategy and what platforms to focus on, things like that. And for engagement, you can use things like popular sounds and trends to boost visibility. Engage your followers by responding to comments and creating content based on their feedback. This interaction helps build a loyal community. What I'll say as well about TikTok, be as consistent as you can. Like, I don't mean about posting, obviously you should be consistent, but I mean more as in like your types of posts, what you're posting about, keep it consistent, right? That's the best way to build a following pretty quick. Facebook, ensure your business page is fully filled out with contact info and a compelling description. Use a cover photo that reflects your brand and current promotions, and then regularly update your page to keep it fresh and engaging. Obviously, these are all tips and tricks for the sort of creators and clients, but yeah, you need to sort of apply these for them and create strategies and SOPs around them. Content creation, 3 to 5 posts per week over on Facebook, including a mix of articles, videos, polls, literally whatever you want to engage your clients or creators' audience. Use Facebook Live for the same reason as the other ones, for Q&A sessions or product demos to create real-time engagement. And for the content types, you want to mix educational content, client success stories, and interactive posts, again, to make your audience know, like, and trust you. That's always the goal here. We're going to use the 7-11-4 rule. In fact, while we're on this point, let me just show you that. 7-11-4 rule in marketing suggests that before a customer makes a purchase, they need to engage the brand for 7 hours, have 11 touch points, and interact across 4 different locations or platforms. And as you can see, engagement, touch points, locations, and platforms. You can go check it out for yourself, but it's pretty much the best way to push someone into buying and making them know, like, and trust, so you can make that cash, that revenue. Create and manage a Facebook group. This is pretty much essential for a lot of the older guys on Facebook. Obviously, that's when you want to be doing Facebook. You don't want to be working with these sort of 20-year-old creators on Facebook. They're good for like IG, TikTok, YouTube, things like that. But if you have got older clients and like real estate, trading, things like that, you can go on Facebook, find them, launch on Facebook using their profile. Obviously, utilize other social medias too. But if they have a pop-in Facebook group, it can absolutely slap. So yeah, create a group for them, build a community around your niche, encouraging discussions and interactions among the different members inside that Facebook group. But yeah, that's kind of some different tactics for some different platforms. I know there's more platforms than that, but I wanted to just give you a brief idea before we get into lead magnets and lead gen. Lead magnets are valuable resources offered to potential clients in exchange for their contact information, their data. They are an effective way to build an email list and nurture leads. You can build an SMS list as well, whatever you want to call it. But there's different types of lead magnets. They come in various forms, each designed to provide value and attract potential clients by addressing their specific needs and interests. So some examples here, we've got ebooks, webinars, checklists, and free communities and courses. But I've also built this, I showed you it earlier on, but you can take a screenshot of this. You've got high engagement, high quality leads, hard to consume, low lead conversions, low engagement, low quality leads, easy to consume, and high lead conversions. So as you're noticing, the ones that are easy to consume and have low engagement and low quality leads are these ones. But this means you're going to get tons of them. You're going to get tons and tons of leads, but they're just going to be bad leads. If you want really good leads, you're going to go for these. But you're not going to get many of them, right? So you need to work out where you want to be, right? I would probably focus on more of this area, but you need to sort of figure out for yourself on what would work best for your niche and your client. Landing page optimization. Obviously, this is crucial for effectively converting visitors into leads by clearly showcasing the value of your lead magnet. You can't just have it there, give it to them. You're not going to get anything for that. You need to create dedicated landing pages for each lead magnet, ensure the pages are visually appealing, and clearly communicate the value of the offer that you're giving them. Use persuasive copy and a simple form to capture contact info, and that's as simple as it is. You can use funnel building softwares like ClickFunnels or Go High Level, or you can literally just use something like ConvertKit, which is an email software, and they have landing pages built in there. They're very, very simple, but they'll work fine for something simple like this. This is built in Go High Level, but it's again really, really simple. This just opens a pop-up form, and then we've got some information about the lead magnets, an image of what it is, a title, a subtitle. It's just very, very easy. Now, paid ads, another way of lead gen. LG. Paid ads is a powerful tool, of course, for promoting clients' offers and reaching a wider audience. With the right strategies, you can effectively drive traffic, generate leads, and increase sales, which is yes, pretty mad. And I've actually had a lot of success using paid ads in the recent months. So when you're starting off with paid ads, if you've never done it before, I would always recommend starting with Instagram, because you can start with Instagram boosts, which is very, very simple. It's not my favorite. It's not the best thing to do, to be honest, and it's actually frowned upon in a lot of instances. But if you're just getting started, it's perfect to make some extra money. Use your Instagram boost feature to run certain reels as ads, whatever reels it might be. This allows you to promote engaging content directly to your target audience. You can just use like random reels that are already popping off, but me personally, I like to follow frameworks for this. So some of the reel frameworks I like is the comment reel framework. Encourage viewers to comment on the video to increase engagement, but you get them to comment some sort of call to action, so ManyChat can DM them afterwards. So get them to comment some sort of call to action to get a free resource, and then straight away they're inside your funnel. Very, very similar, DM me reel framework. Get them to send a DM for more information on exclusive offers. Again, utilize ManyChat. Finally, follow me reel framework. Encourage viewers to follow your account for more valuable content. And all you need to do is have another bot like ManyChat or something similar to DM them as soon as they follow you and get them in your funnel. So no matter what, even though it's a very, very simple Instagram boost, the goal here is to get them in your funnel. This target approach helps increase visibility and engagement, driving traffic to your clients' offers, and it's very, very easy to get started. Take a look, I've got a full Instagram boost guide here. If you join up in Operator Labs, I'm going to give you this full guide, plus a lot more too if you want to check it out, but honestly it's not that important. Instagram boost ads are very, very simple to run. You're going to have Instagram boosted reels following the framework. Boost the reel, don't change the audience settings. If you've got a very, very small audience, I do actually recommend you change the audience settings. Just fill out who your ICP is, who your ideal customer profile is. But if you have any sort of semi-decent audience, just boost it, because all it's going to do is find your audience and then send it to other people similar to them. Your ICP will resonate with the reel and therefore follow you and call to action. So we've got different choices here. Send them a DM because they follow you. They come up with a CTA and initiate conversation, or they DM you a keyword and initiate conversation. And no matter what, the goal is to get a call booked. And that's how they work. Now, once you've sort of worked with Instagram Boost, you want to scale further, the best next thing is Meta Ads. Meta Ads is absolutely popping. It's definitely my favorite. Start using Meta Ads to reach a broader audience after mastering Instagram Boosts. Begin, definitely, with retargeting campaigns to capture warm leads who have engaged with the client's content already, making it easier to convert them into sales. So all you need is consistent, fresh creatives, which sounds simple, it's really not, but you can utilize ChatGPT's new feature, you can utilize Canva, things like that, and also get the client to be making video creatives and stuff as well. Regularly update your ad creatives to keep them engaging and relevant. A/B testing. Test different visuals, messaging. Literally, if you had like a Canva ad right now, you just change the headline a couple times, save it, and test them against each other to find out what resonates best with the client's audience. Performance optimization. Meta ads, optimized delivery based, on performance, so use insights to refine your campaigns. Honestly, Meta's really good now. You can literally just go broad, change the creators, and it'll do most of the rest for you. But anything you can change and optimize, obviously do so. And then after successful retargeting, expand to prospecting campaigns aimed at new cold audiences to grow your reach and attract new clients. Pretty simple. And yeah, I have experience with ads. Even look at my low ticket ads. Really, really simple, but I have tons of different ads that I've tested. And then it's literally very simple creatives like this. I have some cooler creatives, but yeah, very, very simple to set up. I can do a full video on that if you want. But yeah, it's cool. Then you've got Google ads. I don't really play with Google ads and YouTube ads too much. They are good. They do work. But I wouldn't be using these until you're at massive scale. So you can utilize Google ads, YouTube ads to reach potential clients actively searching for solutions in your niche. So this platform allows you to target users based on their search intent, making it a powerful tool for lead gen. You've got search campaigns, you've got YouTube ads, and you've got consistent messaging. So create targeted search ads that appear when users search for relevant keywords related to your offers. This captures high intent traffic ready to buy. Leverage YouTube ads for video ads to engage users visually. Use skippable ads, bumper ads, or in-stream ads to promote your offers effectively. Obviously, just use every type of ad they've got, pretty much. Then consistent messaging. Ensure your ad copy and visuals are consistent across both Google search and YouTube, plus every other platform to reinforce your brand message. But that's pretty much it for paid ads, to be honest. Once you've got everything running organically and running paid ads, there's no reason for you to not be utilizing and leveraging different data analytics and all your KPIs, because leveraging data and analytics is essential for making informed decisions that drive client retention and revenue growth as well, which is obviously the most important about business. By tracking key metrics and understanding client behavior, you can refine your offerings and enhance overall satisfaction. So like I mentioned, KPIs, key performance indicators. You need to first identify the KPIs, like the client retention rate, the upsell conversion rate, and the customer lifetime value. Then you can set up dashboards, so use Go High Level and Google Sheets to track results in real time. Then utilize something like Looker Studio, which I've been loving at the moment, to visualize the KPIs and create reports for easy analysis. Plus, regularly review metrics to identify trends and areas for improvement. Obviously, whatever's kind of dipping right now, whatever's bottlenecking, just fix it. And it's much easier to do when you can see visually the different things that are bottlenecking. Whereas if it's just stuck in a Google Sheet or a Go High Level dashboard, it's going to be much harder to actually pick out and fix. So get everything done, make sure you're actually tracking the KPIs, set up dashboards, then have the dashboards integrate with the Looker Studio. It's going to be so much easier to visually see, like this example, whereas on Go High Level, it's going to be in pipelines like this or in your dashboards. And then obviously you've got an example for a tracking sheet here too, like a sales tracking sheet, which is exactly the kind of thing that you'd be using. You can get, by the way, the tracking sheets and the Looker Studio template inside Operator Labs as well, if you do want to jump in, but yeah. Customer segmentation. It's always good to segment clients no matter what, even if you're just doing like low ticket or mid ticket. You need to segment into your high value clients, your mid value clients, and your low value clients, because then you can tailor messaging to each one of them. So customize marketing messages based on the client segments to increase engagement and conversion rates for their audience. You don't want to sell all these people on the high ticket when they can't afford it, right? So you can utilize things like tags and segments in Go High Level and ConvertKit to segment these people and sell them different products, nurture them differently. Performance analysis. Analyze feedback, use surveys, use interviews to gather insights from clients about their satisfaction and their needs. And by this, I mean the people that are paying your clients, their audience members, their customers. Identify common themes to inform service improvements. And then at the end of that, you just need to refine your offerings. Adjust products and services based on performance metrics and client feedback to enhance value for their customers. And as you can see, I've just got like an example download here. But you got like, this is like a type form: views, starts, responses, completion rate, and average time to complete. It's going to give you all the data, and then you can literally check the responses, check the summaries as well. Building a killer team, one of the, if not the most important part when scaling your infoproduct agency, your clients' offers, whatever it might be. You've probably seen and know people as well, the biggest guys in the info space have pretty bad offers and pretty bad systems, but they've built killer teams, so it literally scales infinitely. Building a strong team is absolutely essential for scaling your info product agency effectively. While a full team may not be necessary until you begin scaling, having the right talent in place will enhance operational efficiency and ensure clients receive top-notch service, which is very important when we're doing these info product partnerships with these huge creators and coaches. So, what are the main roles when hiring a killer team? I want to focus on closers and then setters and dialers. Focus on hiring a closer who can effectively convert leads into sales and a setter/dialer to qualify leads and book appointments. This is the biggest needle movers, I guess. The biggest needle movers are the things that bring in the most revenue. And if someone's closing more than you possibly could, they're bringing in more revenue, it makes sense to hire. The same thing goes with the setter and dialer. Getting them on the calls, nurturing, it's bringing in more money, right? Customer success managers can also be hired, but they're definitely not needed until you scale significantly. You need to be at a certain level before you even look at hiring for roles like that, because they're so not important. You can do them yourself and have other people on board, like the setter, like the closer, helping on board people. And then obviously it's up to the creator and the coach to help fulfill too. But at a huge scale, when they can't do that, you can then bring on customer success managers and people like that. Training and communication. So personally, training with SOPs, I would use tools like Notion for documentation and Loom for video to create standing operating procedures, SOPs, that guide your team. So it looks a little bit like this. Here's Tomex that he set up. You got closer SOPs, and then usually there'll be some text underneath this, and you would go over it in the Loom. But obviously this one's over Go High Level, so it's explaining on there. Communication, you can just utilize Slack or Discord. I personally use Discord, but Slack's very, very useful for most agencies at a smaller level. For seamless communication among team members, ensuring everyone stays aligned and informed. It's just very simple, very quick, very easy. If you add Slack to Loom to Notion, that's pretty much as simple as the back end gets. Plus, you can pretty much run all of that for free. Keys to success for closers. So all a closer needs to bring tons of revenue in for you is firstly an irresistible offer. That you need to ensure the offer is compelling and provides clear value to the potential customers or clients. Full belief and knowledge. You can't just go hiring people. The closers must have complete confidence in the product and understand its benefits thoroughly. Solid lead flow. Consistent and high quality lead flow is crucial for success. Without leads, even the best closers will struggle, 100 million%. How do you actually find sales reps, right? It's all good knowing how to actually have a successful closer, how to actually train them and everything like that, but that's no good if you don't actually have sales reps to train and to get success with. So you can utilize Twitter and X to engage with potential sales reps through industry-related discussions, job postings, just threads, things like that. Instagram, use social media to connect with sales guys, sales professionals showcasing their skills, jump in with other people in the space, maybe DM a few guys who run sales programs, and then you can go directly to the sales programs or existing groups, tap into the existing programs or groups where skilled reps gather. Also just check in with the owner or just check in with some people in there and try and get them to work with you. Personally, I literally work with the same teams of sales reps consistently, which eliminates the need for constant searching, and I place these teams on all my offers for streamlined operations. So yeah, I've got a pretty big sales team that we place on offers, so I haven't found myself looking for sales guys in a long time. Plus, it's quite an easy referral system. Once you get a good team of sales reps, they'll bring you more and more sales reps when you need them. If you work with me, of course, one-on-one in a partnership, you'll gain access to all my agency teams and the best sales reps that we can place on your offers, ensuring you have the right talent to drive your success. I don't want to stick over that too much, but I did want to mention that briefly. You literally get access to all of our teams if you work with us. Last but not least, we've got automation and systems. Automation and systems are essential for scaling your IPA. They streamline operations, they save time, and they improve the client experience. I'm sure everyone's buzzing about AI and automations at the moment, so you need to learn how to utilize them when building an info product agency. So, how do you actually implement effective automation and systems to keep your agency running smoothly and scaling? You need to identify repetitive tasks. So map out your current workflows to identify tasks that are repetitive, time-consuming, such as maybe onboarding, follow-ups, reporting, outreaching, whatever it might be. Focus on automating client-facing processes first to improve the overall client experience. If they're getting on board and it's taking too long, they're having to wait for an onboarding call to get added to different groups and things, that's not going to go well. You need to automate all this different stuff and only keep manual the very, very necessary stuff. So you can then put your time into other things. And it's just more streamlined for them. and it makes the clients happier if they join and get instant access. You need to implement automation tools, which is pretty obvious, but you can use things like we were talking about earlier, like Go High Level, but you need to also use integration tools. So you can use tools like Zapier or Pabbly to connect various applications and automate workflows. So for example, automatically add new leads from your CRM to your email marketing platform, trigger follow-up emails based on client actions. So if they complete a course module in school, you're going to send them an email, things like that. Then you've also got email automation, set up automated email sequences for onboarding new clients and sending reminders, call bookings, things like that. This ensures consistent communication and keeps clients engaged throughout their journey. Here's an example of platforms like that. You've got Pabbly, end of day closer, end of day dialer, new appointment discard notification, unqualified type form, end of close form, tons of different stuff. Zapier for Operator Labs, you've got joined warp, left warp, payment failed, new sub account. I use Pabbly mainly, but yeah, you can use either of those, and they just literally look like this. You add in the first thing, so the trigger. Then I've got a filter to make sure they join the right warp, and then if they've joined and they've paid, then we add them to a pipeline in Go High Level. But yeah, I can literally show you how simple this is. You just literally go create, go zap, and then you just do whatever you want to do. But it can literally help you. You can literally talk to AI that'll help you. Like, people struggle with all this different stuff. I'm going to have to be careful. This is a client account. But this should be pretty simple. You can do like lead connector. This is obviously Go High Level. They just have a different name because it's grey labeled. Oh, in fact, I don't want to sign in here. But either way, right, you sign in, you choose an event like pipeline stage. Then as soon as the pipeline stage changes on Go High Level, then you could do something simple like send an email, or you could add them to a platform like Kit to send emails, things like that. It's completely up to you. But it's a very, very simple platform to use, and you can just ask AI to help you do it. So there's not too big of a deal. But you can also get our pre-built zaps and videos on Zap inside our groups if you want it. But honestly, it's not necessary. You could quite easily figure this out yourself. There's tons of videos online, and you can literally just ask AI. Create SOPs, create standing operating procedures. So you need to first develop the SOPs. Create SOPs for key tasks to ensure consistency and efficiency across the team. This documentation should include step-by-step instructions for common processes such as client onboarding, content delivery, support responses, and the best practices and tips to help team members execute tasks effectively. And again, like Tomek's example, you literally just have a Notion like close your SOPs, the different titles, and then have different looms and then explanations below the loom. You need to consistently review and update the SOPs as well. So just schedule some sort of review system. So every week, 2 weeks, every month, 2 months, whatever it might be. Review the SOPs based on the team feedback, operational changes. Like if things change and you have all the SOPs, if you then hire all team members, they're going to do the old way, right? So you need to make sure you're consistently updating them, keeping them relevant and keeping them effective. You need to also encourage team members to contribute to SOP updates, ensuring that the documentation reflects current best practices. If you've got a closer popping off compared to everyone else, get them to help you create SOPs for the other closers, and it'll help you scale massively. But one of the most important things is the client journey automation. So you can have automated onboarding, develop automated workflows for onboarding new clients that include welcome emails, introducing services, and providing access to essential resources, plus initial check-ins to ensure clients feel supported from the start. Plus regular check-in reminders, automate reminders for regular check-ins to maintain client engagement and support. This can include scheduled emails to check in with clients at key intervals, example, 30 days after onboarding. And then you've also got automated surveys to gather feedback on their experience and identify areas for improvement. Now, pretty much at the end here, implementing automation systems, as most of you already know, saves time and improves client experience, making your agency more efficient and scalable. And with the right setup, you can focus on growing your business and saving your clients. Remember, right, you need to be working on the business, not in the business. So you need to hire the right teams, set up the right systems to do everything else for you in the long term. So you can be sitting back, sipping a nice drink on the beach and having all this stuff going on behind the scenes. But until then, don't think this is shit's easy. Trust me, it's not. It's grind mode. It's a war. But if you put the work in, make that money, eventually you'll get to that point. But honestly, this shit is fun, so you probably enjoy it anyway. But I wanted to go over, because if you made it this far in the video, then you're probably already running some sort of info product agency, growth operating business, or at least you feel like this is something that you could do. You recognize the potential in this business model, and you're probably committed to learning the strategies needed to succeed in this space. You've maybe been watching the bullshit for the past year. You finally realised it's not going to work. You need to find out the real ways, the real strategies, and here they are. If it is, then listen closely. Take action now, literally right now. Choose at least one strategy from this video and implement it this week. Track your results, document what works, share your success, inspire others and reinforce your progress. Choose a strategy and stick with it, and then consistency wins. Just be consistent. Do the thing, do the thing, do the thing. Every time you wake up and go to bed, just do the thing, right? As many of you already know by now, I have recently just opened spots to work with me one-on-one, so I can scale and work with more clients. But the best part is for you, right? This is your opportunity to work directly with me and my team one-on-one, leveraging systems and processes refined through years of successful launches. My agency signs too many clients every single month, and I'm looking for people to work with me and build and scale info products for these clients. Plus, we're looking to really turn the cogs, gears up, and sign way more clients. We've built the systems too. We've hired VAs. We set up the different ads and things like that. So we're looking at bring on way more clients, but until now we've not been able to. So this is the reason I've opened all this new stuff. You're going to get the opportunity to work with real clients, implement proven strategies, and generate revenue without worrying about client acquisition. Plug into our established system with a proven track record. We're literally going to hand you a client, right? You're going to get a guaranteed client, full one-to-one access with me, and free unlimited Go High Level. Yeah, just literally click the link below. But when you partner with me, and remember partner, right? You're not some mentee. This isn't something where you're just part of anything. You are partnering with me. You're not just inside a WOP or a school. You are a direct business partner. You're going to have my phone number. We're going to work together. And you're going to receive a guaranteed client to work with from day one, full one-to-one access to me for strategy and implementation support, free unlimited access to Go High Level, $497 per month value, my custom-built snapshots with all the workflows, funnels, and automations that I personally use. And you're also going to get access to my team of experts, my sales team, everything like that, for additional support as well. Now, if you're ready to scale, but you're not looking for something like that, you're not looking for a full partnership, you're not looking for a guaranteed client, then Operator Labs gives you access to full Go High Level, unlimited again, my custom-built snapshots with proven workflows, weekly group calls for ongoing support, a private community with exclusive courses, and a lot of people popping off right now, funnels and automations developed over 2 years of successful launches, plus it's perfect for agency owners and operators who want to scale independently with proven systems and community support. Best part is you can literally jump in the WOP right now, no sales calls, and get a 3-day free trial. Completely free for 3 days, jump in. If you don't like it, you can always cancel and leave. So I always recommend hopping in Operator Labs. And if you're just starting out, you can literally just join our free community. No paywall, no nothing, just literally join up. You're going to get access to valuable resources and my starter course, a supportive community of growth operators, and it's just perfect for those just jumping into space who want to learn more before making any sort of bigger commitment. Let's just help you make money before you end up spending anything, right? Click below and join today. That's literally everything. So I appreciate you all hopping in and watching this with us, boys. It's been a very, very long one, very, very interesting one. Look how much shit's been in here. It's actually absolutely crazy, right? But yeah, I'm hoping to do a lot more results with some of you guys in a partnership to all of this. We're going to be absolutely printing some straight cash. We'll be printing like me and Tomek did. And yeah, appreciate you boys watching. Peace the fuck out.